I'm gonna let people up on stage. This isn't really gonna be a long space. Like this is truly to get a monologue off, but I'm gonna let people up on stage. I, this is I'm going on a walk, and I was consuming some of the rhetoric and well, really the opinions post situation that happened yesterday, and I have some thoughts um, that I could probably share after like sitting and thinking about something at the moment. Um, and it'll be my last set of shared thoughts until a video drops. So I have to do a follow up about this because I'm actually very interested in this. Um, the reception behind this is very strange to me, like extremely strange to me. Um, I mean, we're seeing two things in real time. We're seeing uh uh you know huge sports organizations like biggest in the nation, the Yankees, paying some sort of respects to a Charlie Kirk, half mast flags for extended periods of times. Um, and then also people being fired in real time, in real time. Like there were a couple people that worked in like uh, the government, maybe for like the city of or the county of getting fired for their comments about this situation. TMZ apologizing for laughter in the background, and South Park removing the episode from cable television about this situation. I'm really just so shocked. Um, I saw Hassan clip, and I saw everybody's stuff. I'm seeing stuff from left leaning people, which again never call never people use have to use these words right. These left leaning people aren't radical. They are not radical because I'm seeing everybody give certain sentiments and situations. Um, but I am seeing something from Hassan that I thought was very interesting. It was one little small tidbit. He was like, uh, these publications, these major news networks and stuff like that, they're even afraid to say that what he said was controversial. Controversial. Controversial is like a cover up word of all. Controversial is at least like trying to be fair and bring the conversation to the middle about somebody. Controversial is the smallest thing you could say about Charlie Kirk. Really, for real, for real. They won't even say that anymore. They used to say when people passed away, he had some sort of past. At some point, somebody would say that. They won't even acknowledge that he said some stuff that was controversial, y'all. That's intentional. That is extremely intentional. The reception from bigger and higher people about this man's assassination is extremely intentional. They are trying to tell you that his words and his voice should be normalized, and this is how you should feel. That's super duper crazy. That's really crazy. They can't even say that it was controversial. Now, I will say this about people on the internet, and this is why I'm not like consuming some of these people that don't like because they just don't know. Like respectfully, I don't care what DDG has to say about Charlie Kirk. I know DDG doesn't know Charlie Kirk. I know for a fact DDG does not know who Charlie Kirk is. He's never sat down and watched anything extended of him even once. I don't care what Black Max has to say about Charlie Kirk. I know Black Max has not watched anything about Charlie Kirk for an extended period of time. I just know that to be true. I just know that to be true. So this whole like paintbrush over feeling, you shouldn't celebrate somebody's death. These people that are giving that same sentiments, you're aligning with the same people who made fun of people's death in the past. But I don't even listen to them. Like their points don't even matter. It's some of these people who are genuinely afraid to say what they say because of who he is and what he can. You talk about free speech. That's the most interesting thing about it. You mad about free speech? It should go both ways. If you're mad about this man dying and getting assassinated based off of free speech, quote unquote, and then people are getting fired because of free speech, why are you not going up for them? Why are you not going up for them? Or are you going to use the same excuse? That's the in real time hypocrisy from some of these people, from like a Stevie Knight. That's the real time hypocrisy. That is the real time hypocrisy. Oh, it's free speech. I mean, he shouldn't have had to die over free speech. People can't say what they want to say. First of all, that is such a 2023 tired ass talking point. That is a 2023 tired talking point. Free speech, free speech. That's not how we know that's not how free speech works. And some of these people, and I'm pointing it back to Stevie Knight, some of these people, oh, you gotta watch what you say, or you get punched in the mouth, or you get shot. That's just the reality of the situation. That's just reality. And you may not agree with it being shot, but there's no way you could be a champion of free speech and be okay with these people being fired for their comments while you're running around like it's okay. Oh, it's not okay for Charlie Kirk. It shouldn't happen for Charlie Kirk. These people got fired. It's okay for them. You're a walking hypocrite. All things are possible. I am just sitting here this morning looking at how these people, who I know for a fact have no clue about who Charlie Kirk is, are getting bitched into making certain responses based off of who he is, the figure. To be quite honest with you, not a big enough figure for the United States to be doing some of these things. If I'm not mistaken, we did not go half mast when like career politicians have been murdered in recent times. We have not gone nationwide half mast. This company did this company did that. We have not done that when career politicians and journalists have been murdered nationwide. That's crazy to me. That's extremely crazy to me. Crazy. Mm-mm. Sash, good morning.
Good morning, man. It's really crazy out here in these Twitter streets, man. In these internet streets today, man. Like, I agree with your sentiment. I really don't understand why they're saying all this shit about free speech.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Heath. Somebody's talking.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Stash. Go ahead.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, bro. I don't understand why people are making this such a huge fuss about this free speech shit. Like you said, but then they're saying, "Oh, he got killed for free speech. Nobody should be getting killed for free speech." But then when we saying, "All right," I mean, I guess, but I don't get no like. I'm not sad that this nigga died. Then we the bad people. But it's like, bro, this is free speech. Either we gonna fight for free speech or we not gonna fuck with free speech. Either we gonna fight for free speech and be against hate speech. We got to come out with some type of compromise because, yeah, bro. I
I
don't know.
mean, I agree. I don't think you should be demonified or looked down upon because you don't care. I don't care either. Fuck them. I'm all. That's all fine. But there's people who are, in my opinion, there are people taking this shit way too far, and I feel like those are the people that people are really like talking about. When it
Like
gets
you
to
talking
the
about the people in terms of celebrating and stuff.
when it gets to the point of people saying, "Man, fuck his kids," what his kids got to do with it? Like, I don't. Why are we bringing his kids into this? Fuck his family. All right, but like, leave it on him until I see a clip of his kids saying some of that hateful shit. Until I see his family also saying that hateful shit, leave them out of it. Like,
Now
you
his
can
now
hate
his
that
now
nigga
his
and not be
his
evil.
now his wife was on that same type of time. Just to
No,
be
yeah,
clear.
his wife, I've been saying his wife, like, she a grown ass woman. She see what he been doing, but the kids, they ain't got nothing to do with it. But you a grown ass woman. You hear this nigga, you know exactly what he do every day. Like, ain't you not
There are
you
people who's
complicit
just
with
taking
this?
it too far. But I mean, I feel like I'm in an awkward spot because at the same token of I feel like it's kind of evil. It's nasty to take it as far as you're taking it. But the clips I'm seeing of people on the timeline also shedding tears. Imagine if that was that was your father and you were 12 and that's what you just man shut up. All right, that nigga was a piece of shit. All right, like let's stop trying to heroify this nigga. Like please, stop trying to find the bail to take. Let's stop trying to find the silver lining. This was an evil ass nigga. I don't want you sitting here getting mad at niggas for being for not caring what happened to him after the shit he was saying, after his last breaths, the last words he uttered. Stop it. I'm not for that. Like y'all can miss me with that tap dance and shit.
I think people were saying like
Dang,
from
Jackie. Let
his
DM go.
family.
Jackie,
Ooh,
Jackie, Jackie.
ooh, my
DM,
bad.
DM was before you. DM, go ahead. Heath. You also killed him. DM, go
I
ahead.
just wanted, I just wanted to point out that this is a non-governmental official who was assassinated, and I do agree. Like the people coming out with opinions, saying these things that you don't need to have an opinion on this. You can stay silent. He was, for all intents and purposes, just a regular citizen. The same day there was a shooting in Colorado, a school shooting. Three injured, one is confirmed dead, but I'm not sure if it was on a victim or the suspect. Just whoa. For them, for the for the response to be from a government, the government to respond to put the flag at half mast is something. Wow. How important was Charlie Kirk? How influential was he
It's
for
it's
them to be
the
doing this much?
it's the ideology as opposed to the person, which I think that people really don't understand. I don't think that there's any other way to put this. Like not even trying to be funny. If think about if they were like in the government, we putting the flag at half mast because Kevin Samuels died. Like that doesn't make any sense. That's not
I,
that's not a normal
I,
thing.
I think it's worse because he was one hard Hitler away from being a Nazi. He was a white nationalist, white supremacist. He was one hard Hitler away from being a Nazi.
Yeah, and that is fair. Go ahead, Becca.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were saying like fuck his family and fuck his kids because people are trying to use the family and kids for sympathy. They're trying to be like, well, don't be mean, don't be mad. He had a family. What about his kids? And it's like, I don't care. Like he didn't care about George Ford's kids and his family. So don't bring up his family and his kids and expect me to change my mind and be like, oh yeah, you know what? Like I do feel bad. Like I'm gonna feel. No, I don't care. He didn't care about the kids that was dying in schools because he was like, uh, shooting deaths is like it has to happen for us to have our Second Amendment right. I don't care about his kids and I don't care about his family because he wouldn't care about mine. So that's all. I
What?
just wanted to respond.
I don't understand. I don't understand the thought process of somebody saying, "Well, he did it, so I'm gonna go about it the way he went about it." That's why he got fucking shot in the throat. Is because of how he thought and went about things. So be better than that nigga. The point is to be better than him. Why?
I
Why?
understand that.
Why are
Like you
so
want
many
to.
people running to this elementary school thought of? Well, he did it, so
It's
I'm
I
gonna do
don't.
it. That's so weird. And I'm not saying you, Jack. Again,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
speaking to you. I'm speaking through you because
yeah.
that Queen's flip space earlier, the plethora of playback rooms I've seen since it happened, just a lot of the talking points since then. I just hate that.
I feel you. Like I understand. Like we want to be better. Like we should be better. But when somebody is just like despicable as him and like I think it's just because somebody that people are trying to use empathy for a nigga who never had empathy for anybody. And it's like, well, what about the empathy now? And it's like, why
I,
why why do I have to drudge up some empathy when I've been trying? I've been trying to like and I've been trying to tell this nigga about empathy from the beginning. I don't know, I forgot his quote, but he didn't believe in empathy and he just
yeah, he said
said
it was a social construct. He said it was a social construct.
and it's just like
that has
why do
made
I have
society
to
weaker.
drum this up now? And why are y'all trying to use this? Like it feels like it's being used against me now. When I've been trying to be like, what about the kids? What about the kids? And then as soon as this white nationalist dies, you want to use empathy. Now you want to say like, what about his kids? What about? And it's like how? Like it's kind. I understand. Like I should be bigger, but it's really hard to be bigger when I've been watching kids die overseas, like beheadings of little kids, and then like kids being shot here, and I've been having empathy there, and I've been begging you to be empathetic. And then when this nigga dies, now you want me to be empathetic. Now you want me to be empathetic for a nigga who never cared. And it's like
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't ask somebody to be empathetic. Fuck that shit. Fuck the empathy.
that's
Don't
what
do
I
it's
do.
that.
just like.
Fuck that shit.
That's what
I do
it
just want to
feels
ask.
like.
Oh
Go ahead.
no, you go. You go. You go. You go. It's fine.
Okay,
I
it
can
just
wait.
feels like that. It just feels like now it's just like niggas want to be like, what about his kids? What about this? What about that? And it's like, I've been trying to get you to be, what about this? What about that? For the last fucking couple of years. No, it's fuck them. Now we both on the even playing field. Now it's something you care about. You want me to be empathetic. I don't have it. I don't want to have it. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be. It is what it is. Like no, it's fuck the
Also,
kids. It's fuck
also,
the family.
I want to add something to Jackie's point too. All the people that are like in an uproar on Twitter have been posting George Floyd AI edits for the past 6 years, 5 years. Like
I
niggas
do
got
just want to
George.
ask. Oh, you go. You
You can
go.
go. You can go. You can go.
Oh. Damo, I just want to say, don't you think what you're doing is a bit of a false equivalency when you equate that how people respond to the people responding in such celebratory fashion towards Charlie Kirk being assassinated?
What?
Do you think it's like a false equivalency is going on here where I forgot your specific words. Do you mind repeating about how people being so celebratory towards Charlie Kirk's passing is like them not being the bigger person?
Well, the points I had were essentially the people saying the reason they are being celebratory, the reason they are championing it and going as hard as they're going. Let me let me say, you want to get a joke off? Cool, get a joke off. He was a piece of shit. I said this on my stream earlier. You want to get one joke off? Okay, you get a joke off. Deserved. He was a piece of shit. Karma's a bitch. You went out the way you should have went out. Two jokes. Okay, two jokes. Three jokes. We're beating a dead horse. The third joke, we're beating a dead horse because there's a bigger conversation in my mind, which is someone was assassinated for free speech in this country and is being celebrated, and that's crazy. So that's a conversation to be had. But y'all still trying to get these jokes off. Like cool. After that point, we still dragging it. Just like the niggas posting George Floyd AI edits for the past 5 years. Those niggas are weird and disgusting. I'm gonna look at you as weird and disgusting, gang. Like I
Let-
don't.
I want OG to go. I disagree with what you said. Again, there are some false equivalencies in there, but go ahead, OG Harps.
Uh, Hi everybody. Thanks for allowing me to speak, Omar. I think I don't really have much in the way of quote unquote we need to have empathy and whatnot. Like I don't expect a lot of people to care about a lot of things because everybody has their own separate lives. But I think when, especially you, Omar, like I did watch your video, frame the conversation around how large he was. I think we're really missing like how big of a figure he was, especially for young people. He was extremely impactful, and I do think he is a part of the reason why Trump was even elected, um, because of the youth, his impact on the youth necessarily. And I also think, Omar, that you did mention how, he did all this for some clicks because he's not a politician or he's a civilian, but he, like, I firmly believe like that he had his reasoning for this was to achieve like political um, support, power, like to have his people be elected, and I think he did in a way succeed. So I would I would say I just disagree with with the sentiment that he's not like a large figure in this.
Let me be
He was
clear.
a very large figure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me be clear. Nobody's saying that he isn't a large figure. He has 4 million subscribers, and he can gather that type of crowd in real time. The sentiment that's being shared and expressed, at least from me, is he's a large figure. The things we are doing for this figure are things that are unprecedented from where he stood. Lowering flags and stuff is generally reserved, not even generally, it's really reserved for those that are political in the sense of, hey, I am a politician, not somebody who has voiced certain opinions, who has lobbied for laws and stuff like that. We're talking about somebody who actually has been sworn into some sort of office. We're talking about South Park, who historically speaking does not remove certain things, stands on what they believe, et cetera, now bending based off of what somebody has said. We're talking about TMZ giving up follow-up responses. We're talking about in real time movements for people to be fired. This isn't even like a day or two later, because I could even understand that.
Mm.
We're talking about the night of or the next morning. That's stuff that just does not happen for even somebody of his stature. It'd be different if the president, if Trump, for all intents and purposes, if the President Trump got assassinated at 11, and
Hmm.
somebody made comments at 12, and they got fired at 1, I wouldn't be saying anything. But for somebody who is a big figure, but from the stance that Charlie Kirk sits, for that same chain of events to happen, that's different. That's a different thing.
Okay, so I would only say that as far as the whole politician thing, having it only these a lot of these measures only done for politicians. I understand that, but can you not see that maybe it's kind of the way that he was killed, like from like literally politically, it was a political assassination, to where like some people may look at it as a bit more, I don't like tragic, as if like a politician died with like in the
Like
comfort
I
of their
like
own
I
home.
like I said,
Go
there's
ahead.
not even politicians who, like, I'm talking about career politicians who have been even murdered in the US that have gotten similar treatment as this.
But
Okay,
those career politicians
it's fair.
aren't even making that type of impact with the youth.
That's irrelevant. They're a public
It
What the
is.
servant.
fuck? What did you just say, dumbass nigga?
That's irrelevant. We're talking about public servants who generally get some sort of, and I'm talking about career public servants, not just like in a local level. We're talking about people who serve nationally, not getting the same treatment as, and this is where it's going to be a little disrespectful for those that care about that, but for a guy that made YouTube videos and clips to get his shit off. We're talking about people who have been, and again, I'm not somebody who believes in all these, well, believes in it is like, is it real or not? No, this is real. But this is somebody who has sworn their life to public service in the way of being Congress people, in the way of being senators, et cetera, and they don't get the similar treatment at the bare minimum, similar treatment as a guy who made YouTube videos. Is that crazy?
Bro, it's not about the YouTube videos.
It is a little crazy. I ain't gonna
It's
hold
I
you,
not
bro.
about the YouTube
I
videos.
I understand. I do understand like not
What?
being a person who's in like office necessarily, but I think that you should look more of him as like an extension, because he did know a lot of these people. He met with the president. I believe he said he
Man,
flew onto the first
I
one.
know that if you don't,
Like,
if y'all want me to stop downplaying, I'll stop downplaying. I understand he has political ties. That does not make him greater than people who are career
That
politicians.
also doesn't
I
make him a
That
politician.
is
Like,
true. That is true.
are we
Ain't no
gonna
front.
hang the flag half mast if Joe Rogan dies, nigga? Like what?
And we
well,
should not.
I don't I but right, I
No,
understand that.
but these
I
niggas
don't
are
think
like,
anyone's
yes,
gonna
we
hang the flag.
should.
Did they fly at half staff for that other person who died a couple weeks
Nope,
ago?
nope,
But
they
I
didn't.
No,
So
Hey,
I
he
at
think
the
closer
the
at
closer
the
way
to
end
that
of the
Trump,
day,
Holla, they even they
bro.
didn't do it
Omar,
for
let me
the
talk, bro.
Democratic
I gotta
lawmakers.
still. I gotta put my 2 cents in, please.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I'm gonna just go back to the whole original, like just the plot. So I personally think that anybody celebrating this type of bullshit or this type of just like anybody celebrating that, they're sticking their head. I ain't gonna lie. There's really nothing to celebrate about it. I'm not gonna get on the people who are, getting their jokes off. Like I understand he says some pretty vulgar things, and I'm not gonna hold people against that. But I do hold people against just like repetitively doing it and just not stopping. Like, what are we doing? It just really does raise the concern in just our people. in today's society. But I want to kind of just like address this and the fault of it. Obviously, there's a blame to it. You can say the shooter, whatever. But the real like, and I'm sorry for the background noise. I'm at work. You already know what it is, bro. But just basically to wrap it up, this whole thing is on Trump. Like real talk, y'all probably already noticed, but this already on Trump. Honestly, like if it wasn't for him just bringing the people around him, like not even the people around him, just himself, like the type of person he is, and even his own people just turning on against him is just not right. Obviously, he's not fit at all to be a president. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of shit going on weekly, and nobody wants to hear this. Nobody. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I appreciate you, Omar.
Um, I might disagree with some of them points. Go ahead, Jackie, and then Courtney can go. Oh, well, D Taylor, Jackie, let D Taylor go first because he had his hand up first, and then you, and then Courtney.
No,
Okay.
I got what I wanted to say off that. Y'all just championing a bum. That's all it is. Like we y'all can have the sympathy. Actually, fuck the empathy. Honestly, the nigga deserved to die. I'ma just say it. Like
Come on,
you spread you
bruh.
spread you spread hate like that. There's only
And
one option.
okay,
And guess what? Guess what? My grandma always told me this. Pastors don't get assassinated. Only politicians do, and that's for a reason.
okay, that's fair, but we got an amendment that lets us do or say
That
what we
that
gotta
that
say.
allows this, nigga. That
So it's
allows
like,
this.
yeah, I'm agreeing
But we also have
with what you're
amendment that you
saying.
could tote any gun you want, nigga.
You are absolutely correct.
And what you're saying isn't
And and
true.
all
What you're saying isn't
and
true.
also if I tell a nigga
Pastors get
if I
assassinated all
tell
the
a
time.
nigga that your existence is useless, like you should not exist, eventually you gonna get boomed by one of those niggas or by a nigga
I
that
think
feels
I
that
think
you
it's
are
just
literally just
more.
speaking out of your
And
ass.
and y'all gotta stop
And,
bringing up the
and I,
amendments. The amendments protect.
It's free
Hold
speech.
on, no,
It's
no, no,
free
no, no. Listen,
speech.
listen. The amendments protect you from the
What does that
government,
mean?
not other people.
And again, even then, we need to make the distinction
I
between
mean, you
hate
just
speech
really
and free
said no.
speech. If I say I hate all
Yeah, I'm
Jews and
about to
want them to
say,
die, there's a difference. That's not free speech. It's hate speech. It is
but that's
hate
free
speech.
speech. But we're stomping on the
But
First Amendment,
regardless
guys.
of
Come
it,
on.
and
The
you're
First
right, you're
Amendment
right, you're
protects you
right.
Regardless
from
of
the
it,
Regardless,
government,
it's
nigga.
not
still
other
the first,
people.
bro. It's still the First Amendment, bro. That's just
No,
it's hate
no,
Regardless
that
speech.
is
Jackie,
not.
you're
Yeah,
No,
cutting me
it's
off.
hold
That's
not.
up.
hate speech.
The
No, it's
hold up,
not.
but
You
hit,
cannot
hold,
speak
but
freely, hatefully of
but
someone.
So
Charlie
what
Kirk
he's
was
saying
not a.
isn't free speech.
No, Charlie Kirk was not a victim of his First Amendment right being obstructed. The government did not come in and stop Charlie Kirk from doing what he did. A civilian broke. Well, we don't know who it is to be honest, but a
We still don't know what
yeah,
the
but a
fuck. See, that's the other fishy part about this. This is the other fishy part. Is why I think Trump behind this
Oh my
bullshit
God, yeah,
because
get
it's
this
like,
nigga
how
out
No,
do
of
we
we
know
got
here.
who's
this.
good
We
and
got
Please,
evil?
this.
let's
Okay,
let's
okay.
We
know.
got
All
this
right,
Let's
all right.
stupid
let's stick
ass
to another
nigga up
topic.
here.
No,
Let's
bro.
The
keep that
niggas
one in the
sniping
Trying
from
to,
200
bro,
yards away.
listen,
You
bro.
know how hard it is to find a nigga, especially when
ho-
keep that in the
everyone's just
no,
bank.
running in panic.
Nigga,
Like,
nigga.
come
Keep
on,
that in the
bro.
bank,
hold up.
please.
First of
Point
all,
Please, please, please.
exactly. Point
two
exactly.
hundred.
You
Point
acting like we
exactly.
playing a fucking Agent 47 mission, nigga. Like, come
No,
on.
200,
So
200
you tell
yard.
me where you find niggas like
No,
that? Where do
and
you
this is
find
the.
niggas
Have
like that,
y'all ever
bro?
been? No,
Military.
y'all
A
have.
veteran. You know
Bro,
how
you do
big
not
our
please,
military is,
yo,
nigga.
yo. Please. I'm gonna need the people who aren't informed about guns to shut the fuck up. It is not hard to find a person that can shoot decent range of 200 yards, bro. That's
Thank
not
you, thank
crazy. That
you.
is
And
not
and
Thank you
this,
very much.
this crazy
Thank
thing.
you.
That is
To
not
the
a
neck,
such
to
crazy
the
thing,
neck,
bro.
bro.
I promise
niggas,
you it's
no
Bro,
not.
that's
offense,
a pro. That's
no
a
offense. There
pro.
is
That is
nothing to
not a
do in
pro,
Utah,
bro.
nigga.
That's not a
It's
I'm
pro.
about to
in
say
Hold
Utah
up.
where
a
First,
pro would be
hold
Utah
up.
is an
500. A pro
openly
would be
carry
Jesus
state.
500.
So
That's
Christ,
Damo
bro.
talking. Aight, deep.
Do you think the average person in Utah in an open carry state
Don't be
doesn't have the
shooting.
ability to hit 200 meters, 200 yards of a
You're
sitting
talking
still?
about people. You're
Of
talking about people that live in these
My
big ass,
fault, brother. I'm gonna
live
answer
with
that question.
these
There's
big ass
background noise.
yards
Hold
and
on. Give me a
fields
second.
and woods behind their house. Go hunting.
Like
Niggas is
it
shooting 200
bro,
yards,
bro.
bro.
it would be different if the nigga got dropped off in like Chicago.
Hold
Like
up. Let me
I give you that. Like, oh,
let,
it's kind of hard finding someone that can shoot 200
hold up.
yards because we don't have like
Let me give
like
you an example.
rifles.
I was in Kentucky one time. I seen somebody pull a rifle out, come sit on the porch, and they hit a turtle head that was peeking out of the water from almost 100 yards.
Now, correct me
They
if
can
I'm
do
wrong,
that, bro. They
because I
can
don't know
do
the
it.
logistics. Listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but
There are
in
shooting
order to
ranges
have
in order for
those
people
type
to
of rifles,
practice. It's not out of the realm of
do you have
possibility.
to have like you have to have special permission from the government, or the government has to check up on it or check up on you?
Let me say this. Let me say this. This is slowing down the conversation. The
Thank
gun,
you.
you can go buy a gun, gang. This is Googleable stuff. You can just go buy a gun. I, I hope this didn't even come off rude, but that's slowing down the conversation. This is it's actually not crazy for any of this to happen. That's not crazy.
Nah, it's you gotta call them dumb because nigga, you know where we
Gun
live.
shows exist. Like
Like you
you
know
don't
where
need the
we live,
government.
right? Like
But
what,
there's certain specific type of guns in order to
No,
have.
the
nigga,
gun
what?
shows exist.
No,
I'm telling you,
I'm
I'm
telling
there's
telling
you
you.
in
wait,
the
hold on,
No,
hold on, hold
South.
on, hold on,
you're
hold on.
Nigga,
literally wrong.
I'm telling you
You're
as a nigga
literally
that lives in
wrong.
There's a
Chicago where
You
every
reason
gun is
why
damn near
you
people are
banned,
just
nigga.
lobbying for gun control because there's guns that are specifically military grade are readily
Dog, you can
available to
go get a
anybody to
rifle.
get
He
a
wasn't shooting
gun.
niggas with three. He wasn't shooting niggas with military style ammunition, gang. Like you
How do
could
you
go
know that?
buy
How do
a
you know
five
that?
five six from the store. I live in Alabama, bro. Open carry,
It depends
no
on the
permit
type of
state,
gun
gang.
he's
Like you can go
using,
get a
though.
No,
gun. Like
no,
it's
no
Hold up.
not.
offense. That
If it
no
was a
offense.
if it
No offense. That nigga did not hit Charlie Kirk with no Glock, nigga. Come on,
hold up.
be
Like, come
better.
on,
Like, what are
but
we
you could
talking
go
about?
buy a
Like, y'all have
rifle.
to
You
like
go
what?
buy a rifle out the gun store.
You can
Like,
Oh
buy
yeah,
a
we know
rifle, but
that.
you cannot
This
buy.
this bookie nigga
Bro,
slow.
no
That's
one's
all it is.
neglecting that. Nobody's neglecting that shit. No one's neglecting you can buy a gun. But bro, and for some
you gotta
guns,
stop. You
for
gotta stop. You gotta stop.
particular
You just gotta
guns,
stop.
Nigga,
You
you
gotta
nigga,
can
stop.
nigga,
You
buy.
gotta
nigga,
I'm
you
stop.
telling
you are
you.
talking about weapons of mass destruction. Nigga, you're talking about like an RPG or a fucking minigun,
The
nigga.
reason why you even think it,
Nigga, for a silenced
you
pistol,
it
gotta
nigga,
wasn't
stop. You gotta
silence,
stop. You
do
nigga.
we
gotta
have
Until
to?
stop.
we
You gotta
heard the
stop. You gotta stop. Listen,
I'm
Bro,
letting
we don't know that. How
Bookie,
we know that?
let me and again, I know, baby. We just know a little bit more. We've seen a little bit more. The rifle has been recovered. You gotta stop. This is not Call of Duty. This isn't some big and this is the difference. I assume that you don't live in a what's it called? What type of open carry
A
state?
pro gun
Yeah, you don't live in a
area.
pro gun state, and it just yeah, I can hear it in the way that you speak. Um, but like the rifle has been recovered. There's been no reports that this is some insanely crazy type of rifle to even be talking about. You got to stop. You really got to stop. It's just he bought a rifle. He shot the man in the neck. You got to stop. You got to
uh,
stop.
I'm I'm letting you know this, Bookie, right now. The guns you use to hunt deers and shit, you can use to hunt humans, nigga. It's not
You can
that
get that. You can get that off with
crazy.
yeah. You can get
I
that
could
off with
grab that
a.
bitch from Walmart.
Look, I ain't know the type of rifle he used. I just thought
You
niggas
thought the nigga
use a
pulled out a
fucking, I don't
fucking
know.
rail gun,
But
nigga?
Nigga
that's
thought
the
he pulled out a
thing.
50 cal.
Niggas
Like, what are you
niggas ain't
doing,
even
gang?
think all that. I just,
Nigga thought he
bro,
was set up
ain't no
across three
way, ain't no
rooftops with
way
a rail
niggas
Wait,
ain't
gun.
Omar,
just,
did you already cover that
bruh.
he's gonna get rewarded with the Medal of Freedom?
Oh yeah, that's weak.
Oh, I didn't know
Bro,
that.
he getting what?
He
What?
getting the Medal of
Charlie
Freedom
Kirk
for
is.
his actions.
For what,
But you
bro?
got to understand who's president, though. Donald Trump, a
That's
large
exactly what I
reason
want to
of
know.
They're
why
besties,
he is
nigga.
elected is because of the work that Charlie Kirk did, bro. Like, that's it sounds crazy
For the
to
younger,
y'all, but to
yeah.
them, he's like a big reason why he's elected.
It's just
I
I
saw a
do want to
nigga
ask real
earlier
quick.
compare that
Oh,
nigga to MLK, bruh. That shit was crazy.
I just wanted to ask real
That's
quick.
crazy,
Niggas
bro.
nowhere near
Nigga
MLK.
getting medals. He not doing. He didn't do shit. Nigga getting
Is it
medals.
I'm about to
Let
say
him
they didn't
talk.
nigga they didn't even half mast the flag for what's name McCain when he died, nigga.
The Minnesota politicians they didn't.
Like
is
what are we
this the,
doing?
British
is this the
man, go
first
ahead and say what you're gonna say.
is this the first political assassination that didn't directly involve like an actual politician?
I'd
Martin
say
Luther
so.
King was not a
Nigga said
politician.
British man.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Martin.
on the white side, on the white side, then I guess on the white side.
But the answer still is no, because like journalists get murdered all the time. So the answer is like 1,000% no.
Yeah, they had that one dude
No.
like that got boxed up and was like found in the trunk. Like people have died.
Boxed up.
Yeah, it was like in the 80s or
was that
90s,
in
I think.
Chicago, wasn't it?
Oh, I was about to say, nigga, that happened recently. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, that was in Chicago a while ago, wasn't it? Oh, one of them
And
states.
let me
All
say this
right,
to
let me get
anybody
away
up.
from that
Let me
nigga.
say this to anybody in the audience. I didn't plan on being in here that long. I like walked to the gym and just sat down. Um, I want to make it a open space. I'll clear the stage if you are more like, hey, this is a more empathetic outlook for Charlie, or this is why this situation leans this way, and people shouldn't be like demonizing him and the people who are celebrating deaths. I want to hear more opposition as opposed to anything. I want to have that conversation.
I got
To be
something
quite
on
honest.
that. If you can hear me.
Go ahead. We won't jump down your throats. For now,
No,
I'm
no,
letting you
I
stay on the
don't. I
stage. Go
don't.
ahead.
I don't watch politics. I don't do politics. I don't even vote. I think it's all bullshit. I think it just divides people. But I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was until like 2 months ago. Until my dad sent me a terrible NBA take he had. So that's all I knew of him. I didn't know he was a political figure until he got shot yesterday. And I just want to know what the fuck type of shit was he saying that got people so fucking mad? Like, I looked him up, and it don't look like he's done anything illegal. It don't look like he's any affiliate of any white supremacy group. Maybe I just don't know shit.
He
But
he is the white supremacy group.
That's what I was just
is
gonna
he?
say. He is a
Yeah.
white nationalist.
Yes,
Like
yes, pal.
Bruh,
he
bruh.
thinks
Hey,
the
bruh, bruh. I'm
You
gonna need you
U.S.
to
choosing
is
you
go
a
choosing to
look
white
you choosing to
state,
look
not
through
see
white
it
some
on purpose,
tweets,
country.
bruh,
bro.
bruh.
Okay. Nigga first 5 tweets is retarded. Automatically. Just go to
Okay,
his Twitter.
stash. No, but
My bad, my bad, my bad,
on a serious note
my
though,
bad.
like, I mean, you just haven't done enough research, to be quite honest with you. He's a part of like, he's founded Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA has done a lot of work into getting like some of the rhetoric around slavery specifically in textbooks rewritten to make it seem more like optional. He's definitely one of the leading voices in like DEI being bad, and even calling DEI like reverse racism. Very much a champion of um,
The
uh,
ice red, like
yeah, yeah, the deportation stuff, the stuff in the Middle East and in Israel and Gaza. Uh,
If he was alive today, he would have had a tweet about Muslims. FYI, he's that type of guy. He would
yeah,
have definitely got a tweet due to it being 9/11. He's that type of guy. He also can't seem to let George Floyd rest in peace. But you know, the hypocrisy in this country is something, man. And I'm losing followers, but I don't really give a fuck. Like, it's the selective. I hate when people like it's like people try to guilt trip you into and you know what? I've been trying so hard to like really empathize, but then it's like every time I try, it's like I see a tweet or him saying some of the most outlandish racist bullshit. So it's like, man, what the fuck? And
You
that's what
don't have
a lot
to.
of people are just on here seeing the tweets. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Twitter. If you see a large group of people like on this app like doing the memes and all that shit yesterday, 9 times out of 10 that person was a terrible human being. Like, yesterday on Twitter was one of those days that's gonna go down in the history book. Like, for the shit that was the memes and all that type of shit, they don't just do that for anybody. And to try to guilt trip everybody and be like, oh yeah, you guys hate is hate. And I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna mute up. If you lead with hate, hate will come back and find you. So don't lead with hate and then be surprised when it follows you back.
let Showtime go.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'll let you go after that.
thank you. I appreciate it. The only pushback that I have is most of the people that are complaining about the guy saying all the terrible things that he said. I highly doubt the reason he was assassinated had to do with any of those things. He wasn't killed because he was a racist or he said something anti-black or Islamophobic. I highly doubt that. So I think that it should give everyone pause when a person is assassinated in front of, like, I don't know how many thousand people, and the assassin gets away. I just think we should have a little bit more critical thought and kind of put the whole thing in perspective, on like a broader perspective. That's my only pushback.
Did he have critical thought when he consistently went out and said George Floyd died of an overdose and not a police officer putting his knee on his neck? Did he have critical thinking of that when he sent out those tweets, bro?
But didn't the
No, no,
coroner
I
say
think
that though?
I think he's saying like
No,
critical
the
thought
coroner. I
about
want you
what
to actually go look up the coroner report and what the actual truth came
I
out.
think he's saying
Oh,
more
okay.
critical thought about like why this thing was carried out, not
I
challenge
mean,
to
that's
Charlie Kirk.
obvious.
But
Yeah, I mean,
but my rebuttal to that would
that was a
be
straight hit. Like that person, if you do your homework on that to hit somebody in the jugular vein, if him he was dead on impact. Like that was like a lot of people don't even people keep saying military. The military snipers don't even get trained that good. Like that's somebody who's been in like under some
no, that's not
like
true. Hey,
high
Yeah,
you
that's
level.
not
you
true.
you can take soccer
You
mom
could
and let and one time out of
you could
one
go talk
time
to
out of
anybody in the
however
military and
many.
they'll tell you that everybody can.
I've seen people here in Tennessee be able to hit shots like that on deer from 200 yards away. Like
Through tree
But
it's
that's
not that
lines.
not. But
hard.
that's. I don't think y'all understand how precise that shot was, and
No,
that's
I
like
You
do
no
know
what
how
what
You
no
don't
precise the shot is.
understand.
you're
I know how
That's
hold
not
up
even
precise
Absolutely
that
it's
not.
a
shot
precise.
difference
is.
from hitting
hold
a
up
deer
no
and hitting a
I
jugular
have a
vein.
question.
no you're
I have a
calling it
question. I have a
you're calling
question.
it
Serious.
precise because of what happened, but you have no clue about what the setup was. Just because it hit his jugular vein, they could
So
have meant
let
to
me
hit him
ask
in.
you
Hold up.
something:
So if they meant to hit him in the forehead, would you call that precision? No, you wouldn't. You don't.
who goes into a assassination attempt with one sniper bullet?
Okay, I got a question. How do we even know
There,
the bullet hit him in the first place? Because I've seen the
Bro, that come
bullet
on, bro.
vest
You can
theory
see how
too.
Please,
his
I ain't
we
gonna
life.
getting off
lie.
You
we
can
getting off
see
No,
his
no, no,
topic.
no, no,
fucking
We
no,
getting
bullet.
off
no, no,
topic.
no.
Please, Omar. Mute
I'm
space. Mute space, please.
Like, there's no way you watch that video and think that shit fake, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no way.
The man got shot in his jugular, started leaking immediately. Probably, and people that were there who stopped the bleeding probably prolonged his life a little bit, but that he got hit, bro. That's neither here or there. To the man that said about the way he died, the people who shot him, I honestly believe that type of shot, like somebody is like, it's not just a random person who can do that. Someone who has, I wouldn't say military experience, but obviously has experience shooting that type of rifle. So, um, I mean, we still don't even know who did it, why they did it. Um, but
If that boy on the roof hit Donald Trump, y'all would be calling it a military operation because he did it.
no,
Yeah, and he was
I don't.
and he was half a centimeter away from doing
But
it.
I'm
So
not saying. I don't think it's a
you
military.
can't you cannot say because of what happened the person was elite. You cannot say that.
I'm not
You can
saying
take
that either,
But you
though.
don't
I'm not saying
understand
that.
that's the difference
What I am
between an
saying is
elite sniper.
that person understands the gun that they were using and they were trained in using it. Doesn't mean you're in the military.
that,
Like the man who
but
said,
that's not
like the man.
necessarily true
That
though.
shit was
So
deeper than, bro. Like,
Y'all,
I
y'all,
don't.
so
y'all have seen somebody pull up to the basketball court that never shot a basketball, shoot, and
okay.
it looked
Bro,
like
you
it go
can't
in.
I'm
compare
not.
shooting a
So,
So
basketball to shooting a
again,
sniper from a
Please,
50
please,
caliber
Omar.
again,
from
Off the
I'm
topic.
not gonna
I
I'm
would say
not gonna compare.
a assault rifle with a
I'm not
scope is easier to hit a target than a
I'm not
basketball goal.
going
What do
to
y'all?
On
And
compare a man.
everything. Niggas is
this is
crazy.
the
I'm not gonna lie.
problem. Y'all think,
I'm not comparing a guy shooting a 20-foot jumpers who has shot 20-foot jumpers before to shooting a rifle. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to compare
Hey,
the
and
I'm
two
that's
gonna
the
need you
because
to
they're
problem,
go
not
do
the
and
your
that's
same.
the
homework, Paula.
problem.
I could
You
tell
think
Because
you
they're
to do
not
your
the
homework
same.
on
They're
and
not.
bro. I go to the range, bro.
that is the problem. You think
Like,
it's so
no.
much harder when it's not.
Okay, what I am saying again, if someone goes to, and this, I'm using your own analogy. If someone goes to a basketball court, can go shoot 25-foot jumpers, and is good at shooting 25-foot jumpers, that person has experience shooting jump shots, correct? What I am saying is that the person that shot that gun has experience using
No,
that gun.
hold up.
Now,
Let me give you the analogy that
to
actually.
whatever level you think he's good at, I don't think he's. I never said he's like a military trained assassin. I'm not
No,
saying that.
no.
Y'all see what y'all
Hold
do to
up.
the conversation when y'all do this stuff?
Let me give you
Oh my
the
god.
analogy that actually fits. So it's like going to the basketball court and seeing somebody shoot one shot from 25 feet, it goes in, and you make the assumption that they're a professional at shooting. No, you only seen one shot go in, and
Can
just
I
because it went
can
in
I
all
ask you
net does
something?
not
Can I
mean
ask you
they were a
something?
good. Go ahead.
Can I ask you something, bro? Because I actually go to the range. I've been around people in the military. I got my girlfriend, brothers in the Air Force right now, and like I have the example. So for you to have, it's a lot of factors in when you're shooting a gun. Have you shot a
Mhm.
gun before,
Yes,
bro?
I have.
Have you shot like a AR?
Yes,
Like when you shoot a
yes.
gun, it's a lot of variables in shooting a gun. When you're shooting in a crowd like that, it's you have to account for wind.
See,
You have to
and then
account for. Hold on, let me finish, bro, because
my
I'm
God,
finna
this
enlighten
is
you
so
on shooting
dumb.
a gun in a crowd of
He
people.
was a sitting still target. What are we
Holla,
talking
please
about?
That
don't
doesn't
go back and
matter. It's
forth.
wind
Please
about
just
for
let him have
200
it.
yards, bro.
Please.
He deserved it.
200 yards, bro. Like that ain't nothing. That ain't. I want you to. Do you know how far 200 yards is, though, bro?
Yes,
Let me.
it's two
Bro,
football
do you
fields.
know how
Yes,
fast a bullet travels,
exactly.
gang?
That's what I'm like.
What the fuck are we talking about
Y'all.
right
Please
Y'all
now,
don't
bro? Let's
get
understand.
calm
off
Y'all
the
don't
down,
bullet,
understand how
man.
guns work.
please.
Okay,
Because there was
we'll get off the
another
bullet. We'll get
topic
off
that
the.
was
We'll,
better.
okay,
For
Jackie, you say what
somebody
you
to
got to say.
even
Jackie,
have the
Jackie, you say what you
balls
got to
to
say.
take that shot is
Oh,
like that. It don't. One small screw up can like they could have hit the wrong person.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
don't
you're
think
saying
y'all
you
understand
cannot
how
justify. It's like just because the
y'all
outcome
trying to say
happened.
an amateur took that shot from
just
200
let
yards.
him
Boy,
have it, Holla.
Okay, go
Let
ahead,
him have
Jackie.
it.
Jackie, go ahead. Jackie,
Let
go
him
ahead.
have it. You right. You got it. Better topic. The what we were supposed to be talking about was the guy who said we should have some type of sense on like how someone just got killed for like free speech or something like that. And I don't know if you haven't seen, but half of the timeline, a lot of the timeline is talking about the number one thing I've seen is a bulletproof vest wouldn't have saved him. Security wouldn't have saved him. The only thing that would have saved him was gun control. And that's where a lot of people are going. And like, it's not half of the timeline is jokes, which I support because it's only been a day since that nigga is dead, and these jokes need to get got. So, but the other half is like a lot of people are worried. It's like we need gun control. A lot of people are trying to make that conversation, and a lot of Democrats in the Senate right now are trying to say like gun control because nothing would have saved that man except for gun control. A lot of people are celebrating his death, me one of them, because it's fuck him to the day I die. Um, but a lot of people are saying like trying to make this about like what it really is, which is like three shootings happened in the last 2 days. I think two or three shootings. Gun control needs to happen. It's not just about freedom of speech; it's about gun control.
School
And we're
shooting.
lucky that that man just wanted. If we don't even know the man ain't even been caught, that man just wanted to kill Charlie and not everybody else.
My whole point about it was I don't like the fact that people are saying he deserved anything. To be honest,
That's
it to
good for you.
me to, to me it was fuck him while he was here. It's gonna be fuck him now that he gone. I don't care, but I don't think nobody deserves to be murdered. I can't one brother get mad at people saying that people like if from our community deserve to be murdered, but then champion the fact that that somebody else deserves to be murdered. People are being two faced, being
There's not
disingenuous.
one person in this world or who has passed that deserve to be murdered.
Murdered?
Yes.
No.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That's a big topic.
So pedophiles don't deserve to be murdered. Rapists
They
don't deserve to be.
they
I
don't
think
deserve
they
they
do
don't deserve to
deserve.
be.
I ain't gonna
I
lie.
don't. I think you meant something. They don't deserve to be murdered. They deserve to go to jail and get an election chair, but
That's
that's technically
murder.
not
That's
murder.
just like
Murder.
state murder.
Murder.
That's
But
just
that's
like
not
agreed
murder.
What
murder.
the fuck
That's
are
not the
we
person on
What
the
you
talking
street.
mean?
That's
about
not the
right
person
now?
on the street murdering somebody.
Okay.
So
I
they
think
should
he's
go.
more talking about vigilante justice. There
Yes,
shouldn't be vigilante justice.
because at the end of the day, that means if we say, oh, he deserved it, just because you oppose somebody else's views, you could do it too on just on the street, pop somebody, and then you straight. If we're gonna justify that, we could justify
That's not.
any of
That's
it.
I,
not. That's
it's
not.
not.
As
Yeah.
much as. Go ahead.
We can say. I'm like I can say he deserved to be murdered, but I also say the nigga who shot him should go to jail. I'm not saying like, oh, he deserved it and then free that nigga. No, he murdered somebody, so go to
can
jail.
we stop
But
saying views too? Views is somebody voting for the different a difference in voting. Like there's a difference from views and spread and hate and
I say
pure
this
like
this nigga was mini Hitler, and we're talking about different political views now.
yeah, like that's
He
that's the
worked
thing
in
that's
that.
pissing
I
me
don't
off
think
You're
he
too.
was
still
mini
you're
Hitler,
you're
man.
still
And
Yes.
The
Hitler
amount
He
of
not.
killed
false
He not.
people.
Wait.
equivalencies.
Hey,
You can
you
sit here
can't
and
just
say
call
he
niggas
was
who
mini
talking Hitler.
Hitler.
He ain't get nobody killed or nothing yet.
Yeah,
You
that's what
can't
I'm.
just be
This
saying
is
that.
why
Are
people.
you sure
Wait, but
about
that's
that?
not wait, but that's not true. That's not true. I
Bro,
Right.
wanna
what are you
I
saying,
haven't
bro? What are you saying?
I haven't spoke for a specific reason just to let people get it off. Again, I think that there are some people who are less researched in these conversations that are having these
100%.
conversations. If you're talking about, I wouldn't go as far as say mini Hitler, but I've heard D. Taylor speak. I understand that that's him being hyperbolic. I don't think it's fair to say that he hasn't gotten anybody killed when he is championing legislation that is actively getting people killed. I wouldn't go as far as to say that either. I think that's just, hey, I don't know as much about who he is and what he's done and what he's put into ideology and stuff like that. Like I think it's the equivalent because I've said the thing about him being a politician before or not being a politician, but he also has been somebody who's been championing legislation. If he is somebody who has led to policy
And
being
manifesto.
passed, yeah, well, let me get to that. He has led to policy about ICE raids going in and how aggressive they need to be with these ICE raids, and those people die. He is a part of that. But even if you are somebody who aligns with the ideology behind ICE raids, he has been acknowledged and mentioned and championed in two manifestos in regards to mass shootings. So I don't understand. You literally cannot say that he has not been a part of lives being lost. That's not true. It's just not true.
I'm saying that in the same turn, in the same way as Hitler would took a part of lives being
No, I
lost. Though
understand.
But
Hitler,
I
but
want to
also
clear. I
you
want to
have to take
clarify.
even if you say many hit. Nobody's saying he ran a Holocaust, but Hitler didn't
Yeah,
start.
I'm just saying in the rhetoric he's
Hitler
saying.
exactly. Hitler did not start when he became the dictator of Germany. That's not when Hitler started. He started by writing books, doing speeches, and basically the same thing.
But it's a hyperbole.
There's
We don't even
people
have to
Yeah,
on
go
the
it's
down that
app
rabbit
yeah,
that
hole.
were saying that he was going to be an elected official one day. That's what people on this app were saying.
So Omar, you're saying that a school shooter put him in a reason for why he did a school shooting?
Not a school shooter. You remember in Buffalo when that man went into the
I was just
grocery
gonna say in
store?
New York when he
Oh,
went in and
okay,
killed all
okay.
them black people,
Yeah, and they
like
were like,
Charlie Kirk
"Yo,
was in there.
my boy Charles in charge. That's why I'm in this thing, doing this thing." But he was in that manifesto. And then there's another one. I think the other one is not in this country. I think it's in New Zealand. But he's at least been cited in two manifestos about mass shooting. I think what people and this is the conversation that we were having last night. I just want to, but this is a quick aside. People really don't understand the impact that the internet has had. It's one of those things where like okay, the common cold. We now have hundreds of years of data about the common cold, and we can give like pretty accurate reporting about it. We haven't had the internet, especially in its like stages today. We don't have enough data to really prove that. There are going to be people that have so many mental health issues that have been galvanized to do X, Y, and Z based off of some of these polarizing voices, and he is one of those polarizing voices.
Well, can't you
So
put this blame on the parents though? Because they should be looking at what their children are looking at. I think this is a parenting issue
The
as well.
parents
it's
are
grown
watching
ass men doing
him.
this, bro.
well, hold
What
on,
are you
hold on,
talking
hold on,
Parents
about?
are
hold on.
Well,
watching
no, not
Grown
him.
ass men over here
necessarily.
doing
No,
this.
y'all don't.
This
Wait. Y'all don't have to jump and do all this other stuff. That was just a super false equivalency. You don't. It doesn't really matter who I put the blame on. One, two. These are also like 25-year-olds. So I can't say that the parents should have to look at this 25-year-old's computer because when I was, well, I actually think I was still living at home at 25. But nonetheless, my mother didn't have the responsibility of looking at my computer. But at the end of the day, all of these people, the community at large has to blame. Why is this something that is allowed to be platformed on places like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram? Why is this something that can happen in his household? Why is he a person whose voice exists? Why is the government allowing this to happen? Why has the internet been deregulated for so long? I don't care who you put blame on. That's not what I asked you. I'm just saying he's a part of the pot.
And Omar, that's not even the best argument to what he said. The best argument is some of these people who do these things, their parents feel what Charlie Kirk is saying. Like
And that's true
you're
too.
thinking that these kids are just sneaking and watching this stuff. Some of these people, that's how they feel. They feel like the whole white replacement, white displacement. Like they believe that we are being they feel like they're being strategically targeted by the government to get rid of the white race in America. That's how they feel. So their kid being fed to that pipeline, and you're saying, well, let's blame the parents. They are listening to the same thing sometimes, most of the time.
Heath, I think you need to do a little bit more research on Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of stuff that you probably don't understand right now, but um, I would definitely just get some more research in about this guy because there's a lot of things he's done, which is why, like my friend yesterday basically said it perfectly for me, where it was like the way you leave the earth. Once you leave the earth, the way you're talked about is the impact that you left, and as you can see, this man has been. He's my main thing with the I would say the far right is that I don't necessarily have an issue having a conversation with people about certain topics. Now, certain things we just can't have a conversation about. If it's against me moving forward with my life and my people, no, then we just can't have that conversation. But there are some things I can come to the table and talk about. My biggest issue with Charlie Kirk was that he championed hate, negativity, and bigotry in everything that he in every message, and that was what is what's offended so many people.
So
Like for
do you think he deserves to die for that though?
do I think he deserves to die? No, I don't. I
So
don't think he
again, so
deserves.
my point was people there. My issue is not with people want to get their jokes off. You want to get your jokes off because he was a hateful person. I'm not even mad at that. But there's a large group of people celebrating and happy and saying he deserved it. I don't think anybody
And
Me,
I think
deserves
and I think when
to
me.
you
get that
speak when you
for the
speak
topic.
about when you speak
I'm one of
specifically
those niggas.
neg-
So
negativity, bigotry, the you don't want people to what move within America, and you basically champion the fact that you don't want those people around, and you want to make those people's lives harder, and that is the message that you spread. How can you and it may not be affected to you, but I'm speaking as someone as if it was as if as if he was talking against me. The way he spoke, I can see how people literally do not care about this situation at all.
But
There are
but that
people.
but that's not the argument. That's not the
And I
argument
don't
though.
think most people who say that they are glad it happened. I don't think that's necessarily what they mean. I think what they mean is what you did. I see this as the conclusion of your actions.
Thank
You
you.
you earned this outcome by what you were doing. That's what they're. I think
Also,
that's what most people are saying.
But but
but
but then
there's
words don't
people like
matter then.
me. There's people like me that's like, no, I'm happy he died. It's good that he died because I
We
did
no
not
longer
see.
have to hear that.
I don't. But yeah, I didn't see. I saw that he was a negative force on this world, and there was no change. There was no way to change that negative force besides death.
I
There
don't.
is,
I don't necessarily agree with that. I wish he would have lived to come back to see what the world said about him. Like,
but I
eh,
I understand what you're saying. But like at a certain point, because like I love
Holla, sorry to
I
cut
want
you off,
people.
Jackie, but Holla, he already knows what the world thinks of him.
hold up, but you say that, but most people, and you talk to some people, they talk like death can't happen to them. They talk about and to people like you can't die. Right? So when
And
people
that's
have
how he was
these,
talking though.
exactly. So once you actually have a life, if you ever met people like in the streets, some of them are the most respectful people because they know, like, I can go outside. So they're very respectful until they have a beef with you or something like that, right? But for him, he lived in a bubble where it's probably been safety, Christianity, blah, blah, blah. I can say what I want. So you have a situation where he gets shot at a public speech. That might cause him to click that thing in his head and say, you know what? If death is a rip, because people like Myron Gaines say, well, I could die for the things I say. So clearly, you know the consequences, but I don't think they actually believe it though. And an event like this would have gave Charlie Kirk the wherewithal to say, okay, this is
I
actually a reality that can happen. I was almost taken away from my children for saying these things. This person does exist. These people deserve what is happening to them.
I
Maybe I
think
should
you're giving him
change.
too
I
much
hear
credit.
you, but I fully doubt that would have happened. But I understand your
I
sentiment.
feel like I understand what you're saying too. But I think you're just giving him too much credit. I
I,
think
I,
that
I
would have
I was
came.
gonna say, Hollow, like it doesn't take for me to get shot at to know guns are bad, my nigga. Like
No, for you, but and some people come up in different. Just how some
But
people can, some people can't understand our perspective or anybody's personal perspective. Some people's perspective, they literally think they can say whatever because nothing has ever happened to them. Y'all all met somebody like that. They get
Yeah,
punched in the
but
mouth one time, and then it's this nigga start acting different.
see,
That's
that's not
true.
true. That's not true
I
because
mean, I
No,
it's a 50-50. Because some people get punched in their mouth and continue to be like, I'm still gonna talk this shit and I'm still gonna try it, and they do it until something permanent happens and they can't do it no more.
no, you're right.
Some people
You're
get punched in the mouth and be like, I learned my lesson, but some niggas get punched in the mouth and be like, I ain't learned my lesson and I'm here to stay. And I think he was
But
one of them niggas.
Jackie, I just want to say at that point, you even if you continue to do what you was doing, you at least know at that point I can get punched in my shit for saying the shit I'm saying. So I won't change my beliefs, but I'll move different. You feel me? I won't
Yeah, and that makes it
do the
even
same
worse. That
type of
means
shit.
like
You know what I
it's
mean?
harder for someone to get to him. That means he feels even more untouchable. That means I can stay behind my camera and really make a mess. That
But
means I
so
can.
Hey,
y'all
oh my
y'all are
God.
just gonna gloss
I
Y'all
don't
are
mean to
y'all are
cut y'all
yeah,
off.
y'all are way too meta.
Y'all
Y'all are
gon'
way too meta in this conversation. It's killing me right
y'all
now.
gonna gloss over the point that just for his views, however you view them, there are people who believe them also. So just so y'all know, the people that y'all support that will go on YouTube, that go on these speech runs, if they get popped too, you can't be sitting there, but oh, they didn't deserve it because somebody believes they
Nigga,
deserve it.
honestly, if he's
It's,
spewing
it's,
hateful
it's, it
rhetoric,
goes it
drop him
goes both
off,
ways.
nigga. Drop him
That's
off.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like if nigga, you know what?
like I think there's a difference. There's a
Please let Akoma go.
Go ahead,
Please
go
let
ahead, go
Akoma
ahead.
go.
My bad.
This is too meta of a conversation. It's
Yeah, I mean, like I said last, can y'all hear me? We good on the audio?
Yeah, we can.
All right, bet. Yeah, like I said last night, I do think the world is a better place without him. Uh, it's unfortunate that his daughters had to see that, and they will see that for the rest of their lives. But again, this is the world that he wanted, and like he said it out of his mouth, he like somebody said he earned his death. He manifested his death for real. Like Nancy Pelosi's husband, when he got attacked, he wanted somebody to bail his attacker out. Countless examples of him basically excusing events like this. I genuinely think that he thought that it could not happen to him, and it happened. You know, like I think Chance the Rapper said it best. Like, don't never mind, it can happen to you. And I think like I think the conversation of celebrating it or whatever is counterproductive. I think at this point, like, all right, how can we prevent this from happening again? Because we know when it happens to them, it's gonna happen 10 times worse to us, and it has been happening 10 times worse to us. I don't think it can get much worse for us, but like, how do we prevent this from happening again? But and will they want this to prevent from happening again?
go ahead,
And
cool, bro.
I think like a large thing that people gloss over, especially the people who believe what he believes, they'll say he just wanted to talk to people. I would advise those people to ever find me a clip of Charlie Kirk saying, you know what, your perspective might be right and I might be wrong. Though people who do that are interested in having conversations. The what Charlie
And
Kirk
also,
was doing,
one more
go ahead.
thing, my fault. Like this happens a lot. Like the singer, the young lady, I think her name was Christina Grimmie. Like we don't even know what dude motive was for it, and like it just happened to Trump. Trump got shot by a Republican. Like who knows the shooter's motives? Like it's just this stuff. We just need to find a way to prevent it from happening again. Like we said, like we don't know if it was a free speech matter. We don't know if it was just dude had a mental illness. We don't know if like y'all having a conversation about the level of his target or like his shooting skill. Like we don't even know who shot him yet. It could
Coma,
be a
you
few.
seen that video of him running across that roof, blacked out? That nigga ain't had no mental illness. That nigga was a motherfucking trained sniper.
Let's not do this. No, no, no. Let's not go back here. Let's stay where we
Please
going.
let cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Please,
Let's
hey,
not do
hey,
that. But
can I say
no,
can I
I'm
say one
no,
saying
thing, y'all? I'm
no,
gonna shut up.
no, no, no. Please let cool bro go. We got an order. We got hands. Please let cool bro go.
All right, so I did some digging, like about like more of what Charlie Kirk said, and I think one of the most damning thing is that when Bronny had his heart attack a couple years ago, or his heart problems a couple years ago, he only had one tweet about Bronny, and that was it. and that was just to get his rhetoric off about being anti-vax. Do with that information what you will.
Go ahead. I think Heath was next, and then we'll go DM, and then we'll go Justin and then Pacer.
I heard Jackie speak on how this should be a reason why gun control should be a thing, and I personally disagree with that. I think we should have guns, just because guns do not do anything. Like owning a gun helps you more than it helps anybody else because it's your last line of defense. Because gun laws don't do nothing but help criminals out because criminals are still going to own guns. They just are. I've seen it happen.
Gun gun
Every criminal I know has a gun.
gun control gun
So
control gun control does not mean taking guns away.
no,
Yeah.
I
I'm
agree.
not a
I think
and
there
not
service.
and
should
not
you
only
should be
that.
able to, but here in Tennessee, you have to be able to pass a background test before you can get a gun. Now,
Hold on,
can you get a gun
legally.
other ways?
You should be
Yes,
able to do
you
that.
can.
You should be
But
able
you
to do
also have
that
to take into
everywhere.
account that 90% of
Of guns are not
illegal gun
registered. I know.
ownership comes through legal
I was
ownership.
about to say, Heath, like a good example is like I live in Illinois. It's a bitch and a half to get a gun up
Same.
here. But you
Yeah,
could
I
you
got
you
my.
you could literally
It's a
walk.
bitch to get
But
the
that's the point I'm
No,
CCL.
trying
no,
to
no, no.
make. It makes
But I'm
it.
saying you could literally walk to Indiana and I could pick up a gun and walk back. Like
Exactly.
it's and that's why crime is so bad, especially in the west and south side or the east side, because
Well, I think that's because y'all have less strict laws on crime. Here in Tennessee, there's a three strike rule.
That's
You do
That's
cap.
something
not.
the same thing
Heath,
That's
three
that's
not.
not
strikes,
true.
you're
What?
gone for a
That's not
while.
how that
Heath,
works.
that's not true. I muted. I had to mute that, bro. That's not true at all. I want you to do your homework into our governor, bro. I'm from Chicago, from the South Side, and the crime has actually been doing very well since our new mayor has taken over. Like we're not like you guys get up in these on Twitter and in the world. Y'all not from here. Stop speaking on shit y'all don't know, bro. Like please stop doing that, bro. Please, I beg, do your homework. Do your homework before you get on here saying anything. Our governor, bro, I have a CCL. You know how fucking hard and how long it takes to get a CCL in Illinois? Like, it's people around here crying because our governor is so strict with gun laws. There's people getting the guns illegally, like bro said, but at the end of the day, they hold you accountable. That shit isn't true. With guns, you will get held accountable here. The laws are very strict. Very strict. It's just we're in a bigger city, so it's harder to catch people. But if you get caught, you're going down. So please stop with the bullshit y'all see online and hear from people. Actually speak to somebody who lives in the heart of this shit.
Well, I can argue y'all do the same thing with sundown towns in Tennessee and
Bro,
shit because
I'm a
there's
fucking truck
literally none.
driver.
But
I'm a truck
No,
driver.
the
I've been
fuck
through
we're
I've
not.
like bro, like y'all get on here like I've
brother,
experienced
I
a lot of
live in
this.
Tennessee, dude. What are you talking? I live in one of the smallest towns
I've
you can live
driven
in
past
East
sundown
Tennessee.
towns and
Name
Confederate
one.
Plain. That
Wait, wait,
shit
Name
wait, wait,
one.
is
wait,
real, bro.
wait,
Name
wait, 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 wait,
You
one.
wait,
can't
I've
do
wait,
this.
spoke
wait,
to
You
other
wait,
can't do
wait.
truck
that.
Hold on,
drivers
lover,
at
hold on,
truck
lover, hold
stops
on, lover, hold on,
that's
lover, hold on, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. What you just did, Heath, is irrelevant to the conversation though, because you're saying y'all a sweeping generalization. The lover has not made that type of statement in this space. You're speaking to people who aren't in this space. You're speaking to for all intents and purposes, like a theory or a hypothetical. Like we have no clue what you're talking about. Now, what you just said is something like you factually said in this space. So if you would like to address the person that specifically said something about sundown towns or whatever in Tennessee, because that hasn't been the conversation at all, you can speak to them. I'll give you the floor right now. Speak to that person who said something bad about sundown towns in Tennessee right now. Go react.
Who, me or?
No, you. Yeah, you were the one that brought up y'all do this for
Yeah.
sundown
So
towns.
y'all do
No,
it.
no,
I hear
no, no,
people
no, no, no,
online.
no, no. That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you that. I didn't say what you heard online. Speak to the specific person in this space that said something about sundown towns in Tennessee. Go react. Speak to that specific person.
it's quiet. Okay.
I can't vouch. We can. Nobody can vouch and defend other people that aren't in this space that said something that you heard once. I don't know what they said. I don't know the context behind the conversation. It's very hard to do that. But if somebody said something specifically about sundown towns in Tennessee or whatever you're saying, if they said it in this specific space, speak to them now. Them specifically. Go ahead, speak to them.
Well, I don't know who said it.
Because nobody said anything in this space.
Hold up,
Well, yeah, I know, but you guys. Oh my goodness. I
Who's
hear
you
people
guys?
all
I've
the
never.
time.
Hold up. I don't
I'm
think
not talking about you guys specifically.
hold up. So
But
I
I'm
that's
just
what I'm
saying,
saying.
you
What's
guys
the
will sit
point?
here. No, my point I was trying to make is that he said something about how people who don't live in Chicago or Illinois talk about how the things they hear and see, and all I said was, well, you guys do the same thing
But
about
what?
hold up.
But
Wait,
what
wait,
we're
wait,
Tennessee
And
wait.
and
I
saying.
spoke
sundown
from
towns.
my
Hold up.
experience.
I think the difference is a lot of people who talk about Chicago have never been there. Most
Mhm.
people's account of the sundown town, I don't think Tennessee is even on the list of the states in the South that people recognize as having sundown towns.
It's
But
not.
a lot of it is
Not at
because
all.
from personal experience that people had. People from the North, black people in the North and on the West Coast, they don't even know sundown town still exists because
Mhm.
they don't take the rhetoric from us. Most of the people you hear speak about it have a experience with it. But most of the people who judge Chicago have never been to Chicago.
And
That's
that's
the
another
difference.
thing, Holla. My reasoning for responding to that was because he made a bullshit statement that wasn't true. So that was the only reason I responded because and I responded to your statement, Heath. Even though Meezy, I know, like you say, nobody here is saying it, but I responded because I experienced it personally by me being a truck driver that was regional and got to see different parts of the Midwest and some South. I got to see that there are those exist because I've there, like they say, there's black people up here in Chicago that don't even know that shit exists. But I
'Cause
got to witness firsthand.
And I want you to tell me what city it was. That's all I'm
We can
asking.
say Forsyth, Georgia. I know for facts because
Well,
once
that's not in Tennessee.
Well, I don't know. I
Hold up,
haven't been there.
Heath, like I just told you, I don't think Tennessee is one of those places that happens. But I can tell you when I was
I'll
on
be
my way to
honest with you.
Gatlinburg. I was on my way to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, right? And when you cross from like Knoxville to Gatlinburg, right, where that strip of highway, we stopped at a 78 marathon or a BP or something like that. And my friend with his girlfriend she's like she could pass for Hispanic, white, I don't think black, but that's what he say, right? And they had an interaction with the clerk inside trying to go to the bathroom. And we stopped there probably like 6 in the afternoon. Now, was that like a sundown town worthy? No, but it's not something that they've ever encountered before. And that was their experience walking away from that. So that was a personal experience they had in Tennessee. But I'm not saying all Tennessee is like that though. But it was at least coming stemming from a situation that somebody actually had. Now, if you've actually had a situation in Chicago about illegal gun possession, you could let us know, right? But I think that's the difference between the two sides is sometimes people will take these perceptions about Chicago and take them as fact because people told them. When the sundown conversation is mostly word of mouth, like, yo, guess what happened to me? Because most black people don't even know they exist because they don't frequent these places.
DM, go ahead, and then Justin, and then Payson.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to ask two questions. What's going on with the false equivalency of hate speech and free speech in regards to Charlie Kirk? And then question number two, why is there being another false equivalency being made as if he was in some way innocent or someone who was oppressed in some way, as if why are we making it seem as if we don't know the identity of the shooter, if that shooter belonged to the groups that Charlie Kirk explicitly spoke negatively about, explicitly worked towards oppressing, why are we why are we saying it's bad for the oppressed to kill the oppressor? If we're looking at it from the shooter's perspective, if they're the oppressed, I guess, yeah.
Big purr. Somebody answer.
Can't nobody answer it, mama.
I mean, I don't think the person who said it is up here anymore, so
Nah, I
that's
know
why
they got
nobody
up out
else
of here
said.
Yeah,
fast.
anybody acting like Charlie Kirk is innocent is very, I want to say, for lack of a better word, ignorant to the whole situation.
That's a fact.
We don't have to. We don't have to harp. The person on here isn't in here anymore. Go ahead, Justin.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So um, I don't know. I kind of feel a few different. First of all, I don't give no fuck. Racist man dies. I don't give a fuck. But I gotta say two things, right? That I'm kind of just looking at this shit a little different, right, y'all? Number one, we don't like a few people said it already. We don't know the shooter, right? We don't know what the motivation was or whatever. But I know, right, within these next few days, a lot of different shit's coming out, right? You know, today we got different angles. We got the dude celebrating the white nigga in the front, celebrating. We got the black nigga grabbing the MAGA hats and giving them out. In college, I learned we was learning about Orientalism. It was like an art history class, bullshit class, trying to get some credits. Let me get to my point. In one of our classes, we learned about Orientalism and we saw a fucking documentary. And in the documentary, they explained about how, almost art imitates life. Hollywood and Washington, D.C. is brother and sisters, Ava Said said, who's like a huge Orientalist painter and whatever you want to call it. My point is, I think in these next few days, like bro just said, they're going to come out with some narrative, whatever the fuck they want it to be. We on this motherfucker arguing about, well, this was the reason. We don't know the reason, y'all. And it's up to them, AKA, you want to call it Washington, D.C., the media, Israel, whatever you want to call it. These motherfuckers have agendas to push. They got laws to pass. They got legislations to push. So I think this is simply a play on that. Simple. Now, what are going to be the description of this shooter when this motherfucker comes out? I don't know. But I just think we got to remember that, y'all. I just wanted to say that. These motherfuckers have laws to make.
Don't forget
That motherfucker,
money to make too.
law, exactly. So that's what I think. I think when this shit comes out and it's all said and done, this shit is about to be for a push for law and legislation. Simple, y'all. So we can come up with all these, well, it was because of this. That motherfucker was a racist. Stop saying a difference of opinion and political facts is racist. It's not the same thing, y'all. But it's a play here. So let's keep having a conversation. But you feel me, this next week, we gonna see the different, terms and shit come out about, oh, this person was this, and maybe he was LGBT. Just watch. It's a play in here, y'all. Y'all gonna see it in the next few days.
That started before he arrived at the hospital, though. They started the
Correct.
agendas
Bro, listen, when
way before.
I done seen niggas get shot. This not me bragging about it. But this how I knew it was gonna be a bunch of agendas and stories because these niggas tried to pretend for a whole hour he was alive, y'all. If you ever seen somebody get shot, and rigor mortis, he died instantly. My bad. But they tried to make it sound, well, he's still alive. We telling the homies in the GC like, y'all, he dead. But then Donald Trump comes out and say, well, our great, now niggas believe it. Y'all got to start seeing shit for what it is. Don't let the media tell you what it is. Don't let some motherfuckers that's trying to push agendas tell you what. Look at these fucking videos. Look at the different angles. Look at what's going on. Don't let no fucking talking heads or no fucking president tell you anything. It's up to you to be doing this fucking research. It's up to you to understand this shit because they gonna lie to us. If they got an agenda to push, they gonna lie to us. This the same nigga that said if his daughter was raped, he'd want her to keep the baby. They have agendas to push, no matter how fucked up it is, no matter how many people they gotta kill, no matter how many. It's an agenda that this motherfucking nation has to push. Simple, y'all.
Go ahead, Harold, and then I'm gonna close it out.
So earlier someone said, why are we pretending that Charlie Kirk was innocent and stuff? And I would just say because he was actually innocent. And I don't know everything he said. Maybe you guys claim he was a racist. I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But in this country, at least, if someone has committed a crime, what happens is that they shouldn't at least get shot in the street. Okay. What should happen is that go through a court of law and they get tried and punished accordingly. So I would just ask anybody who is saying that, why are we treating him as innocent? What exactly was his crime? And what court of law convicted him of that crime? And why does that make it justified to get him shot in front of tons of people and kids, his own children and his wife? I'm just worried about, you know, violence, especially as portrayed. Um, it seems like we're using it as a blood sport. Um, and I don't think that's healthy for our country. I think we need to tone it down and just look at this as for what it is, which is a man with strong political views that many people disagree with was shot gruesomely in front of the country. And that's unacceptable. And we can't tolerate that. That's not good.
Can we stop?
Man,
Can
boo
we
hoo.
stop doing this?
Can I go
People,
before you go,
I was,
Omar?
I was
he
about to say we bombing niggas
he is
overseas. We
not.
killing
You are just,
children.
Boo
Like
boo
bro. I
hoo,
don't even
nigga.
want to
Go
do
cry
this
a
to
river
you.
somewhere else. Ain't
You
nobody.
are you are
Omar? Can
just
I go before
uninformed,
you close
gang.
out? My fault, buddy.
You hold on, wait. You said yourself when you came up here, you didn't know whether he was a racist. You didn't know what he said. You didn't know. So I'm gonna tell you this. He
It might have delayed mute. I do hate when y'all do this. Courtney's taking the appropriate approach. I'm not a problem with that. If we're trying to cultivate a conversation, like I'm fine with having conversation. I'm not always into like let's jump on them and shit on people and stuff like that. So it's unnecessary. Go ahead, Courtney. My bad. I think it delayed mute.
I was just saying, dog, you just not informed enough. And I understand your sentiments. You feel me? He didn't go through any court of laws. You know what I mean? He wasn't prosecuted by any state attorneys, district attorneys, any of that. So you don't feel as if him being shot in the street was necessary. But what I want to say is when you have cultivated a following, when you have put out as much hate and people have this much distaste for you, you feel me, you reap what you sow, in my opinion. Now, do I think people celebrating it are a little wild? Sure. You feel me? But at the same time, I don't believe you could tell someone how to feel about a person who has spoke ill of them. He has spoke ill of multiple communities, multiple disenfranchised communities, multiple, like, these people aren't able to give their own opinions, not to the level of Charlie Kirk. So when they feel like their only option is to get rid of the person that they feel is causing harm or is spreading these lies to people that are causing harm to their communities, it is what it is, gang. Fuck it, fire the blunt up, bro. We just gonna spark them like that. Just, and I don't feel like that's a bad thing, in my opinion.
Harold, you
Can
can
I
I'm
just
just
respond.
gonna
respond to
spot.
that for a moment,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, yeah. You can
So
you can
I
respond. You can respond.
appreciate you being respectful about it. What I would say is reacting like this, that like, oh, it's deserved and stuff, is actually doing the very same thing that you're decrying, which is sowing hate. um, that's what I would say, is that if you really think that Charlie Kirk was sowing hate and destruction and maybe he deserved it, you shouldn't be saying that and celebrating it, because you're actually doing the very same thing you're accusing him of doing.
Hold on, let me respond to that, because I responded to that earlier, which is why, when I've been begging him to have empathy for well, not millions, lots of kids have died overseas here in school shootings, and I've been begging everybody around him specifically, to have empathy and be like, hey, it's not right. We should do something about it. And don't make fun of it. Don't make fun of George Floyd. He lost his family. I mean, his family lost him. His kids lost him. But then when it's time, when it happens to him, now I'm supposed to dredge up this empathy and start feeling bad. And
Yes,
now I'm
you
supposed to
are.
turn.
Yes, exactly, because you don't have
But
to do
I
how
did
he does.
no,
You
but
follow
I've
your
done
own
it.
standard, not
I'm
his.
saying, like, I've done it. I've begged. I've been there. I've done it. I've asked. And now you want me to have empathy for a man that would never have empathy for me and would probably be worse to talk shit on me.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
that's not how that works. Like,
Because
you can't.
you need to follow your own rules, not his
No,
rules.
no, no, no.
You're
That's not
begging
how that
him to
works.
do something, and then
How
when
many,
it's your
okay,
turn, you don't
yes,
do it.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But how many times am I going to be smacked in the face before I say, like, I can't do it no more?
I,
Well,
That's
he
that
was the one
Bible
that was
turn the
smacked in
other
the
cheek
face.
rhetoric.
He
It
was
was
the
Love
one
slap
your
that
in
was
the
enemy
smacked
face.
in the
rhetoric.
face.
That's what that is,
It
dog.
literally is being slapped in the face. He was a pro. I'm a black woman. He believed that I wasn't smart enough to have a job, like a black women weren't smart enough to have a
Exactly.
job over a white man. He believed that black people were just lower, inferior people. Like, this is the stuff he preached.
Where did he ever say that?
He
He
said he
definitely,
All
said
he
I
definitely, well,
he
he definitely
he,
said
We're
that if he
going
goes
do
on a
not
post time
know
the
plane, he'll
reply
Charlie
be
Kirk
for
a
it.
little
Char-
bit
Charlie Kirk
suspicious of a
said,
black
if
pilot.
I walk onto a plane and I see a black pilot, my first thought is, I hope he's qualified. If I have a black woman that's working the front desk, if she's working as the RN or something, that's fine. But the moment she pulls out a scalpel, I'm like, is this person okay to operate on me based on nothing but the color of their skin?
They have a whole
That's actually
video.
not
They have
true
a whole
though.
video of the man
Hold on,
literally
hold on,
saying
no, no,
that
no,
the
no.
Second Amendment is
You
Hold
said
on.
you
important.
What
didn't know
part
who
of
he
what I
was,
just said is
Harold.
not true?
Wait, yeah, so I'll go into that for one moment. So, what he said, the reason why he was saying that in context
Oh, it
is
doesn't
because of
matter.
affirmative
No,
Bro,
action.
no,
oh
no.
my
Oh my
Please,
God,
god.
y'all, let him
y'all.
go.
Y'all,
Let him go. Let him, please.
I promise y'all, I promise y'all, I'm about to drop a lot of y'all off
Hold up,
stage.
Omar. Let
Jesus
him go. Let him
Christ.
go.
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I am talking about the people who are rebutting in this way when we're having a conversation. I promise you, I'm about to drop y'all. I've been avoiding going to the gym. I'm staring at the gym for a long time. I have stopped going because I thought we were having a conversation that is productive. I will drop y'all off this space. I promise you. It just does nothing for the conversation.
Go
It
get on the
literally does
treadmill,
nothing for the
man.
conversation.
No, but Harold,
Go
so
ahead,
what he
Harold.
said in
Please
context.
finish.
Okay,
Please finish.
from my perspective, and I don't know again everything he said. I'm sure he said stupid shit. We've all said stupid shit in our lives. Okay, but my personal opinion is, words are just words. Actions speak louder than
Wait,
words.
Harold, you were gonna tell us
Yeah. Okay.
what you're
So
yeah,
I
you're
think
telling us the
I think I've seen that video about like a black pilot and stuff. I personally don't feel the same way, but I think the reason why he said that was because of affirmative action, and that
wait,
some
have you
people.
seen the
Oh, no, no,
video? Have you
no,
seen
Omar, Omar, he's
I
almost
understand. Holla. Hold on. I got it. Have you seen the video? I just want to make sure. Have you seen
I
the video, Harold?
I think I know what he's talking about. I've seen like clips just on TikTok
Yeah,
and
no, no,
stuff,
no. Because Harold's
and
right. He is saying it based on DEI, but that's the
yeah,
problem. That's the problem. Because
but
we can say,
he would
hold on,
decry. Oh,
Harold, hold
go
on.
ahead.
We can say if black people were walking around saying the same thing, I don't want a white doctor, I don't want a white pilot because of nepotism. Because these people like they hired their son into the financial banking system, so I don't think I'm gonna put my money in this bank when I see a white like nobody does that though. Nobody's running around saying that rhetoric. We just base things on the experiences we have with the institutions.
So
But instead,
I would
you're a
argue
big
that people actually do say that about nepotism and white people, and that doesn't
where
mean they should be shot.
hold
Okay,
on,
that's my
no,
point. Is that they can have stupid opinions that we all disagree with, but the fact is that the man was shot in front of
Harold,
his
I'm
children.
not saying he should have been shot because I don't think that's
So then
what
what are we saying? Because that was
I
my
don't
only
think that's
point.
what happens. But sometimes when people tell you to err on the side of caution of how you interact with the world, is because there is somebody who will do it. It don't matter what rules we set. People will exist out there that if they feel the harm is close enough to home, they will take it upon themselves. Mind you, we fought a whole civil war in this country
Hey,
because people felt like their rights were being infringed upon. I don't think there were casualties that hundreds of thousands of people died because people felt like, hey, the South, I feel like we should run it this way. The North, but nobody is telling people, yo, take it out of schools that we had the Civil War because there's no reason we should be shooting each other over. People say, yeah, this is what had to happen. But when it has to happen for a group that's not the predominant group, now it's the problem.
Hey,
Do you
Hal, I
see the
want you to check the jumbotron. You see, this is what Charlie Kirk stood for. You got universities having to close down HBCUs because of the threats that they're getting. Like this is his effect, bro. Like people want to sit up here and be like, oh, he didn't mean this. Like this is what he stood for.
yeah,
Like this.
but Harold, so the Civil War, do you think all of those people were unjustified for what they were doing?
You asking, buddy? I don't know. Is he still up
Yeah,
there?
I want to see if he says all of those people who died because of the Civil
No,
War.
he just got off stage. This is what I want to. This is truly what I want to say. And again, I I don't want to come off as mean or anything like that. When we're having conversation, some of y'all are the worst, the absolute worst in the conversation. Some of y'all are the absolute worst with the way that y'all go about doing these specific things. Here he's coming back up. But just know, like, the way that y'all have input on these conversations is actively bad. It's some of the worst shit in the world. Please just stay muted, especially when we're having a civilized conversation. Everybody doesn't want to feel like they're dogpiled. And I actually think that we can have progressive conversation. We'll know quick, fast, in a hurry if we can't have actual conversation. But this idea of like if somebody says something, everybody like that's not okay. Like it's I promise you it's not okay. This person hasn't said anything too crazy so far. We'll be fine just having a conversation. Harold, you can respond to what was being said though. I think that's progressing it a little bit better.
Well, I probably couldn't respond to it because I dropped out. I don't know what happened to my app. So
It's Twitter. Sometimes Twitter do that.
yeah, sorry about that. Maybe like just give me a quick
Okay,
summary.
so you were like, based on his beliefs, there was no justification of him being shot the way he was, and I said that's correct. But the reason why some people will do it because if the rhetoric that you were saying is so close to the home of certain people who feel like now that their reality is in jeopardy because that they will take action upon themselves. And then I um, made the analogy to the Civil War. We fought a whole Civil War in America because there was a group of people in the South that felt like things should run this way. There were people north of the Mason-Dixon line that said, hey, no, it should actually run this way. And for that thing to happen, hundreds of thousands of people died. So we cannot say in America, this isn't what, because this is how things were solved in the past. And I'm not saying I want it to be back to let's do Civil War two, but you have to understand this is kind of what is built in this country, right?
So I guess you and I agree. He didn't deserve to be shot for his beliefs. We don't like violence. I'm not sure what we're debating in that respect.
So
Then no, because what I was
There's not
responding
a
to
such
was
thing as belief, so bro. Like
well,
what he
just
stood
one
for
second,
is
please. 1 second. Let me finish my thought. What I was responding to was someone was asking, why are we pretending he was innocent? And well, I believe in innocent until proven guilty. Okay. I want to live in a society that believes that, especially when the man was just shot in cold blood. Like his body is not even cold yet. And we're questioning whether or not he was innocent. Like, there's really nothing there. He shouldn't have been shot with because of his beliefs, and I think the previous speaker actually admitted that. So, I mean, if people disagree with that claim, I would be very curious to hear why.
so
Because
I
so hold up. Do,
disagree
do
with
you
that
do, do
claim.
you disavow everything that happened with the Civil War, all the generals that participated, all the people who were forcing people into um, combat, especially in the South, that they didn't even count as people all the way? You
I
disavow
mean,
all of that too?
we could spend like maybe 24 hours talking about the Civil War. The Civil War was, a crazy historical event.
Uh-huh.
Tons of people died. Ended up in abolishing slavery. So like it's very complicated. It's a quite a different subject.
Yeah,
So
but
I love talking about the Civil War. Maybe we can talk about it later,
yeah,
but
but I would just
not
say
super
like the
relevant.
lead up to the Civil War was predicated with actions and verbiage that we're hearing today. The divisiveness of the things that people are saying led to those things. That's why they say history.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also to World War II and many other
Yes.
wars. And that's what I'm worried about is when innocent people are shot in the streets, that's how these things start. And when people start celebrating it, that's how these things start. Okay. And like maybe it leads to a good war, maybe a quote unquote good war, maybe it leads to a quote unquote bad war. Who knows? But
But
I don't
I
want
think
it.
let me say this, and then Jackie can respond to you because she was the one that you're actually responding to. What you're also missing is, granted, there was violence that led to these things, but there were also words. There was also galvanizing of people using words that got people to the point to say like, okay, it is time to do this fighting. So if you are, and mind you, I'm not even saying that you're pro what he said because you don't even know what he said based off of what you just said to us. You don't even know what he said. But
Correct, because I don't believe that it's relevant to whether or not a man is innocent. I believe in free speech and that, yeah, people should be able to march in the streets, whether they're trans activists or they're Nazis. I do believe that as long as they are peaceful, they should be able to say whatever the fuck
And
they
that
want. That's
and
the
listen
First
and
Amendment.
listen, but listen to what I'm saying. And if those people, because to an extent, I agree with you. I don't agree with the concept of free speech caveat, like government coming in. That's different. But like in a public space, free speech doesn't exist. It never has existed. It shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be able to go anywhere and everywhere and say anything and everything. For violence, that's where you got me. But with that being said, though, if his speech did lead to him stop, correct?
Yeah, if his speech directly led to the incitement of violence, I'll give you an example actually, which was Trump's speech on January 6th. I'm very center of the road. I really just look at case by case basis, all of these things. But it did seem like you could actually make a case that he was trying that like that was incitement of violence, for example, because you can look up something called the Brandenburg case. It's from the Supreme Court, and basically they said that speech isn't protected if it leads to incitement of violence, and it has to specifically lead to direct subsequent violence. So it can't be like a couple days later or something like that. And it also has to be intentionally causing violence. So you have to be like, hey, let's kill that dude. Let's sick him. That would be incitement of violence.
So
You
But
there
let's,
hold
but
on,
there's
let,
hold on.
very
but
well
So
let, but
so
established
so
case
holla,
law
holla,
on
holla,
this.
holla,
It's called
holla, holla, holla,
Brandenburg.
holla. Hold on. I'm just asking you a question. It's a very specific question. I don't even care about the legality. I'm asking you as just like a person to a person. If you
Yeah.
felt like this person and it's been documented and all that stuff that hey this person's words have led to violent acts happening, you would feel like we should probably stop that person even if you didn't feel like it was death,
Well,
like
what do you
maybe you
mean by
felt death was
stop?
too far.
Yeah, what do you mean
Like
by stop? Like they should
yeah, they should
probably
they
just be
should
tried under the law. Like I hope our society is just enough and cultured enough that we can try them under the law. And
but
that's why
I
actually
want you to
Brandenburg the
wait,
Ohio.
I really want you to answer, my question. So again, I asked you not about legality because we know that there are certain ways that we know that things can be wrong but also still legal, right? Like from a moral perspective.
Right,
I'm asking you as a
correct.
person.
Correct.
I'm asking you as a person. If there was somebody who said we're incited by the definition, but
Hey, Mees,
You
you
cut
they're
you
lagging,
cutting
actually
out.
your
bro.
quoting
phone
it.
is
You cutting
cooked.
out. You cutting out, Omar. Hold on.
I think
That
you
boy,
came back though.
he
You
about to
want to try
Can you
walk
hear
again?
me? Can you
outside.
hear
He
me?
breathing deep.
Can you hear me
We
now?
can hear you.
Yes, it's better. Yes.
Okay.
Good.
If there is a person whose words incited violence, didn't fit the legal, but the people who are committing the acts of violence are saying to large masses, I use his words in order to get my violence off. Would you say that should be stopped?
So it's really a tricky question to answer because it's not something where like
You
You're
gotta
you're
move
like
your hands
underwater.
Harold,
closer to
you're
the speaker.
muffled.
Yeah.
You're muffled, Harold.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is like who says he incited violence? You say he incited violence. Billy says he didn't. So it's like, okay, how do we
No, no,
settle
no,
this
no, no, no.
question?
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. The person who does the act of violence says his words are the reason why I am violent.
Right, but can
What
you
say
believe that
you
even
then?
that person? Like, usually these people are actually psychos, anyways, and will blame. Like, I think the guy that shot Ronald Reagan was saying that he wanted to do it to impress an actress or something. Like, usually those
Yeah,
people are crazy,
Jody
anyway, so you
Foster.
can't really believe them. That's
Jody
why we have a
Jody
system of laws.
Foster.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
wait,
Hold up, Harold.
so with that being, so with
Go ahead.
even with that being said, let's say it was one person. You're absolutely right. That one person is psycho. What if we upped it? Let's just say two people did acts of violence, saying, "Hey, this person is the reason why I have done violent things." You would still just chuck it up to these people could be crazy. Let's still not like
I
take
would,
into
you know what I would
consideration
do?
that
You
this
know what?
person.
I would report it to the law and be like, yeah, this is suspicious. I'm not going to judge completely. I don't know. Again, innocent until proven guilty. So I would rather see all of the evidence. If it's just like two people and they're just telling me it's just this testimony, I'll like give a percentage of it. I'll be like, maybe. I don't know. I would have to see the entire like evidence. And from there, I would be able to make a judgment. But that evidence usually comes out in a court of law, not really in any other situation.
Harold, do you think like in America you have the freedom, you have the liberty to do
We
what
don't
you.
have to harp on Harold. Rick also believes some of this stuff as
I
well.
just want to ask
So
one more
I
question.
just want to be clear.
Do you think that there are people who commit acts and are willing to take the consequence that comes with it, whether they do a cyber crime? It is their right to do that. You can do that, but you will face the consequences of paying your debt to society by going to jail.
Could you rephrase your question? Like cybercrime is not a right. Like I'm trying to
Well, you
understand your
have
question.
you have in America you can do what you want. You just may have to pay a debt to society for what you've done, right? That's how our laws are. You can do it, but you will, this law has consequences behind it that you will have to face after the fact.
I still don't quite understand. Are you just talking about justice? Like, do we have justice or not in this country?
It don't. We can let the other. I don't know how to phrase the question, but we can let Rick say what he got to say.
Well, Pacer go, and then we'll continue down this path of hands real quick, and then some point I do gotta work out. So go ahead.
What's good, Omar? I'm gonna keep it short and quick for you, brother. Uh, Look, at the end of the day, I feel for his family, love to his family. You know, I do feel for the kids. At the end of the day, we can't forget that there are kids that are lost their father. At the end of the day, so I give him that. Everything else, R.I.P. Bozo. I don't want to hear nothing about no legalities of free speech and all that. No. He put this upon himself. Ain't nobody, and I don't even know what y'all talking about. Y'all over here trying to have a conversation with this white dude, Harold. I don't even get it. Like it's trying to understand where he's coming from. Y'all the same niggas that was going off with some dude because he was friends with Hulk Hogan. Like I remember that conversation. We wasn't going for that nigga, but for some reason with this Charlie Kirk situation, it seemed like we trying to get this white engagement.
That's also not true. I was trying to have a conversation with the dude
Ah,
who was friends with Hulk Hogan.
okay.
That was other people in the space who was he's a jobber. I don't even know what a jobber is. I don't dick rod wrestling. So let's not paint that narrative either.
Okay,
Please stop.
okay, brother. All I'm saying is that
Hey, respect wrestling.
at the end of the day,
I promise you I don't
you're right.
care.
You're right. At the end of the day, though, this doesn't matter for us as black people. We should be on it. We should really be on some King Von shit, dropping diss tracks, all kinds of stuff. Nigga, like it should be a good day for us. I don't feel no type of no type of nothing for that whole side because that's the other side. At the end of the day, for me, y'all have fun with that.
Um,
All right, go ahead. Hold on, Jackie. Hold on, Jackie. Go ahead, Akoma, and then Justin, and then Jade.
Well, I mean, I don't know if dude's still here. Harold, I don't know if he's still speaking, but my whole thing is we got to stop saying justify. Like, again, nobody up here thinks like, if the shooter gets arrested, nobody is thinking he should be free. Nobody is thinking he should be, whatever. Uh, but it was only a matter of time. It was like, I can't believe it ain't happened sooner. When you going into these public forums, like again, our president just got shot. Like it can happen to anybody. So again, that doesn't justify it. That doesn't make it right. But it's a matter of life. Like for black people, for that's our everyday life. We all have thought about like we got to watch the way we move daily. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We're like it happens. This is again. This is the country that Charlie Kirk wanted. He literally said gun violence is necessary. So hey, it is. It is what it is.
That's not what he said.
He did.
What did he say?
No,
What did
Go
he
ahead.
say, Rick?
Go Go ahead. Wait, hold on. Go ahead, Justin, and then we can
Oh
start
yeah,
going
shit, my
with.
bad.
Go ahead.
I ain't know I had my hand up still. I don't know who it was, but bro just kind of said what I was gonna say, so I'm gonna concede. Like I just felt like that white dude. I appreciate this space because I know y'all ain't on bullshit. Y'all trying to have real convos. Ain't nobody being disrespectful, calling nobody out their name. So I really appreciate that. But that Harold cat, he was up there, he was playing semantics. He was talking about legalities. Y'all was asking him straight up questions, and he's like, well, somebody got to rephrase the question. Like those type kind of people, like we let them people up in the forum to speak, and it's just BS. But like I said, I appreciate it. He was just playing bullshit. He knew exactly what y'all was saying. And then he initially said, "Well, I don't really watch him like that. Why are you even talking then? Why are you talking?" But like I said, I get it. We having dialogue. I understand it, but That was just some bullshit by Harold, straight up. Like that was some bullshit. He playing, bro. He playing. But I'm done.
Yeah, can I respond to that?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shut up.
Um, so I actually wanted to like hear the question. I just didn't understand it. So maybe I'm just stupid or something. I don't know. But I wanted to like actually address the question. I didn't understand it, so I asked to rephrase it. The only thing I came up to here to say was that I heard someone say that we should stop acting as if he's innocent. Okay, and in my eyes he did not deserve to be shot. Okay, and that's it. That's my only claim, and I said that because I heard someone else say that he did. I think we were going to
That
go
was
to her,
me.
but she didn't. Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. I don't believe when people are saying he's innocent, you're so focused on the court of law. We're talking about him as a human being. We're saying like, did he put good into this world? When we're saying like an innocent person died, we mean like the kids that die at school shootings. Those are innocent people. We weren't talking about innocent in the court of law. We're talking about innocent of like what they did and what they put into this world. And he put nothing but hate. And he's a terrible person. Well, was a terrible person. So that's what we mean. He wasn't innocent. Like people are confused. They're like, why are we so celebrating? Like, why are we celebrating a man dying? It's because he was a evil, terrible man. And it's like when um when Irish people celebrated the Queen dying, it's because she was a terrible person. They don't. I'm like, we don't like him. That's why we're happy. That's why we're celebrating. We're not saying he is innocent, like he committed a crime. You're so focused on crime and law. We're talking about morals and like what kind of person he was and what he did to this world and how he affected and shaped people's lives. That's the type of innocence we're talking about.
Okay, okay. I like this route you're going down. So, I am approaching it from the point of view of law and like actual innocence. But if you want to go down the moral route, I would just say that none of us are capable of judging another person like that unless it's obvious where they have actually committed horrible, heinous things. If he's just saying words, I don't, and those words actually aren't causing violence, I don't think that's something he
But
deserves to
see
be
that,
shot for.
yeah, I understand that, but you don't like the guy said, you
And
can't hear.
actually, sorry, I just want to add another thing, which is, and the reason I say that is because you don't follow Charlie Kirk around all day, every day. You're not there all the time, so it's hard to judge someone morally if you don't know all of their crimes. Which is why many religious people say that what you're talking about is something that needs to be judged by God, where God is there all the time looking over you, and you will be judged by Him at the end of the day.
I understand that and I get what you're trying to say, but when it's most important, the rhetoric and the message he puts out is hate. So maybe in his personal life he is like putting out love, but when it's time to get in front of thousands and millions of people, he puts out hate. And he like, you are talking about him when you came in here and said you don't know much about him, but there's people like me who have had to deal with his rhetoric affecting them. So I know much about him because his rhetoric has affected me. And it's people like me, brown people, uh whether it's Mexican, black, Palestinian, or just Muslim, we know a lot about him stuff because his rhetoric has affected other people to treat us terribly. So I'm telling you, he is a bad, like, he's like, you don't know. And I'm like, maybe you didn't hear it. He's been quoted in two manifestos of public shooters being like, I watched my big dog Charlie and he was right. And I need to like, and one was in America, one wasn't in America. So he has led to, and I'm like, you want to say like, oh, those are crazy people. Okay, the crazy people listened to this man put out hate and they decided to do something about it.
What I would say is that he can say hateful, horrible stuff, and I would say a lot of people like saying that he deserved to be shot for saying something is also not great morally. Okay, and but I don't think that means you should be shot for it. I think that means you just need to go off and think about what you're saying, all the stupid shit you're saying, and hopefully you'll change your mind, and that's it. But
Okay,
it doesn't
so
mean he should be shot for it.
I'm like I agree with you 100%. But
So
what
then what
it's
are we
no
arguing about?
because
If you agree that
no.
he
Listen,
shouldn't have been
let me
shot for what he
finish. Let me
said.
finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
I agree with you 100% to a point. If that person does not change, how long do I have to wait? How long do I have to suffer the consequences of his speech before I'm like, I want him to die? Like, I get what you.
Forever. Forever. You have to wait forever. You shouldn't want anybody to die.
Okay, so I have to suffer consequences and I have to eat that as a black person in America because
Well, he just ate it. He was the one who
no,
actually ate
no,
it.
but yes, and you know what? His consequences ended that day. My consequences are still going on today because the stuff that he was preaching, the stuff that he was saying is gonna get passed down to somebody else. So it's not like I get shot and I die and it's it. It's every single day. It's things that I don't even know whether I'm going out for a job, whether I'm in a store and somebody doesn't like me, if somebody it's things I don't even know that could be happening to me. His consequence was being shot and that's it. It's done. My consequences is for the rest of my life. And you're saying I should sit here and eat that shit pie over and over and over and just be like, well, I guess that's life. Like I can't be happy somebody who literally thinks me as a subhuman is dead. Because morally, because I'm moral and because like I have to be perfect. Like I don't like how you deal in like 100%, and that's not human and that's just not realistic. We're not 100% moral. We're not 100. No, nobody is 100% perfect. But if we're trying,
Exactly.
okay, but like
Not
That's the
this,
everybody
point.
100% moral.
That's the
okay, but
point.
like
Yeah, that's my point. Exactly.
okay, but we base things off, and yes, no one's 100% perfect and no one's 100% moral.
But
We base
but
things off
can
of how people are trying to be, how people or what people put into this world. Somebody can do like 9 things that are like great and then one thing bad, but we still be like, okay, he was doing like he tried, and I understand.
But
But
you can't know everything about that person. That's why I
but
like
I'm
it's not
saying
really
yes,
for
I
us to
know,
decide these
but
things if it's not obvious and not in a court of law or anything.
okay,
At
but
the end
like
of the day, he's judged by his maker.
what he wants us to know is nothing, is everything negative. Like if he
that's
wanted
not
us to
true.
know some
That's just
positive,
not true.
if he
It's
wanted
just
us to know
you.
some, okay, so what's the positive stuff? What's his positive rhetoric? What was the positive stuff that he
Well,
was putting out?
I saw a
The
video.
positive rhetoric was family first. The positive rhetoric was following Christ, which was his religion. The positive rhetoric was numerous. There were certain things you can disagree with, but the reason you had the First Amendment was so that everybody can speak freely.
No, the
That's
First
why people
Amendment
are
is
focusing on the
for the
legal
government,
side.
Oh my god.
That is it. No, I mean that's what this country was founded on. Like
but no,
that's why you
no,
kicked
that's
out
for
the
the
Brits.
government. No, that's for the government.
That
The
No,
First
no, it's not. It's
Amendment
for the
is
can I
people.
speak,
It
please?
No,
was
it's not. No, it's not.
instantiated by the
No, it's not.
people
No, it's
Can I
not.
for the
No,
speak,
it's not.
people.
please?
It
If you keep
was.
Yeah, it's a protection against
wait,
The
but
Bill of
like
Rights was made.
hold on.
The Bill of Rights was made to protect the people of the land from a tyrannical government, from the government taking over and basically dictating like kings and queens or monarchs and all of that stuff. That's what
Exactly.
the
It was
Bill
to
of Rights is
remove the
for.
Brits, of which I am one.
can we go back? Can we get back to like the moral and like
No,
criminal
we don't. No,
thing that we talked about
we
earlier?
really don't have to, because even you and Jackie like have conceded in both points that like this is the side that you stand on morally, this is the side that she stands on morally. Trying to convince somebody to have a different moral compass based off of like this one specific thing, I think is a little futile. I think that even both of y'all would
I
agree.
agree.
Like it,
Where
Yeah.
would you like to move the conversation?
Jade
Well,
had a
I
Jade.
actually think we were. I actually think we ended up in agreement that he shouldn't have. He didn't
No, we
actually
didn't.
deserve to be
No,
shot.
we didn't. Like I know you keep hearing, like you hear what you want to hear, but let me be 100% clear.
He
I
deserved to be
think
shot.
he deserved to be shot, and I'm happy he is dead. That is it. We made
Okay,
a
so
we I
let
don't
me
care.
just
No, no,
follow
no,
up.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. I don't want to argue with you. I don't We have two different opinions. We sit on two different sides. And it is okay. I respect you
No,
as a
no,
human.
no.
No, 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 no.
Hold
I
on, hold
respect
on.
you as a
You
human
were
being.
talking for a while. I just wanted to follow up for a
No,
moment, please.
I just want you. Okay, but I want to end it here. You can continue to say whatever you want to say. I respect you as a human being, and that is your opinion. But I think he deserved to die, and I'm happy he's dead. Whatever you say after this has nothing to do with me, and it ain't gonna change nothing about what I feel or anybody who feels like me. And that's it. You go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. Say
I
what you
would
want to say.
I would just say by your own, you're failing your own standard when you say he was being spewing hateful rhetoric and all of these things by saying that he deserved to die and I'm happy he's
Bro,
dead.
Harold, let
That
me
in
ask you
itself is
something.
hateful.
Let me
Agree to
step
disagree. You
in.
have a
We
good
don't,
time,
brother.
sir.
I promise you, we don't have to like push back into this specific portion of the hero conversation. Jade, please, go ahead and go.
Take the wheel.
Hi. So I've been listening to what, the conversation, and I like have some things to say. Harold has said that he wasn't familiar with Charlie Kirk or his rhetoric or anything he's ever said. And yet you
No,
can't
not
see
not
how
that. I didn't say that. I said
you
not with everything he said.
so not with everything you said, and you said that you've only seen a few clips. So you're essentially going off of things you see, like half clips and like things that are not the full landscape. So you know who Charlie Kirk was before this incident?
Yeah, so I had watched his podcast on the Cambridge Union. So he gave a debate on the Cambridge Union,
Yes, yes.
and I'd watched several of his podcasts. My point was that I had not seen everything he has ever said, and none of us here have. So it's very
Right.
possible you could find something that he said that I think is stupid or heinous. But that still does not detract from my point that he did not deserve to die for saying words.
So I'd like to ask you a question. So your profile picture is you, right?
Yeah, it's me and my son. Although I have thought about taking my son out of there because, and my wife at my banner, just because people say
Okay.
some really crazy racist shit about my wife and stuff. So, I don't know
Okay.
what.
So I'm going to deduce that you're a white person, right? So here's my thing. When when you're somebody who's white, right? With You can disagree or agree with me, some innate privilege that you will not have to be affected by Charlie Kirk's words, like his words uh, uh, against black people,
I mean,
right? And
I don't
you are
like playing
coming
these
on this
personal
space.
games just because we could go back and forth. You guys would attack me for maybe stating that I have an immigrant wife and my son was born in
No,
Colombia.
not at
I
all.
don't have
But you
America
feel,
for
Because
hold up,
me.
Harold.
Charlie Kirk
We
speaks
speak
against
Spanish in
these
the
people.
household. Like, I don't want to get personal about these things when,
Right,
like,
of
we're
course.
just
I didn't
playing,
bring up your
trying
wife.
to score
I did
points
not
about,
bring up your wife.
our race or our background and stuff. Let's
But
address the
these
actual
things are
points.
important, and they
Yeah, but I just rebutted all of, like, a lot of what you said. I'm not black. I'm not Latino,
right.
but my
So for you
family
to sit
is.
up here
My
and
extended
tell
family is.
somebody like Jackie how to feel when Charlie Kirk has
I
said,
didn't tell.
"Oh, did she not say that she feels this way?" And you're like, "Well, you shouldn't feel this way. I feel like like we
No.
should do this." Okay?
He never said
Yeah,
that.
I cannot art.
He didn't tell anyone how to feel.
So then, what is his point with the whole moral
The
the
point
moral
is that no
argument?
matter how you feel about somebody, they should be allowed to say stuff. I completely respect your desire to
Right,
speak
but
about
if it's
anything
harming,
and
if
would
it
defend it
is
to the death. And if you were
okay,
shot, I would view that as a tragedy, no matter what you said.
right, and it can be viewed as a tragedy, but people who feel like he deserved to die, they like they are not necessarily incorrect about their feelings,
Right, and that's the
because when
central
No, they're
point
somebody
of
not
the
says
correct
that's
about
the
their
something
central
feelings,
point of
but
the
about
disagreement.
you and about your culture and the things that you've been through, it's very, very hard for you to be like, yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm fine. Like Kirk has been quoted to say that he doesn't want a black lesbian operating on him in the hospital.
I'm a black woman.
Yeah, and
He
in
has
that
said numerous things about black
that's not
people
a correct thing to say. It's not
in
a
his
kind thing to
do,
say. But
it
but we don't. But we're not. The point we keep making is
so
that the
so these
foundation
are
of a country is allowing disagreement,
right,
and like
right,
that means
right.
that I can
And
despise
for
somebody's
you,
opinion without
these are
wishing
just
them to die.
words for you. These are just words
No,
for you. They're not. These are not, like
there's all kinds of actions that you receive in different ways, but we're trying to say that it's foundational to the principles of your country and the things that I respect so much about America, that you get to come here and know that unlike Britain, you can tweet what you want, and then other people can tweet what they want, and they can post back and
right.
forth, and they can
But
have
we can both
debates.
agree that words have power, correct
Of course we can,
or
but
incorrect,
they are
right?
not how. But the
So
reason that we disagree is should be discussed, not ended with shots. That's the central point we keep making.
I would just say that.
right,
Go ahead.
and
So
violence.
Rick,
Oh, oh,
I got a question for you. So there's a side of that Turning Point USA, the rhetoric of the white replacement and blah blah blah. And there are people in that group that are spewing these things. They're saying that these people must replace us. We must fight for our country, do whatever necessary for us to exist, right? Basically stoking the fear, and those people may go out and do things like not hire people, not just based on what they're being told, right? At what point, or what is the reaction that you feel would be justified
yeah.
from
I'd
those
like to know
people?
what should
What
the
I'm so
reaction
impressed
be
Not
what I'm
for
so
shooting,
black
not
impressed with
No,
is
no,
murder.
this
no, no. I'm
space.
not. We don't have to go to shooting. I'm just
Okay,
asking.
Jay.
So
But that's
don't
what
jump to.
happened
I'm
on
asking
the
you a
plane.
question of where you're like.
I,
What do you think is a justified
I think what
reaction?
you're doing here is fantastic, right? You're hosting a debate, and there's a whole bunch of people who disagree with each other, and you're doing a fantastic job, and you're growing your audiences, and you're putting your ideas out there to push back on ideas that you disagree with. So I'm just observing as a guest in America here. I'm just fascinated as somebody who like respects the American Constitution more than my own British Constitution, and you have deep issues with how some of the Turning Point members are acting, and you are able to use your voice to push back on them and you disagree with them. And I think that's fantastic.
But Rick, would you agree or disagree that if Charlie Kirk wasn't shot yesterday, do you think you would be in this space?
no.
I'm in this space because I'm trying to learn, and I don't know, I don't follow any of you yet, but I will now.
Yeah, but
I'm
And I
interested.
feel
I'm not saying that as a justification for him. I'm just saying like a lot of the rhetoric that they are is very the power dynamic in which those forums are had aren't balanced. Jubilee isn't really balanced. Their personal um, turning point. Now you can say, "Oh, I gave them the right to say what they wanted to say," but if you actually watch them, you don't give those people the time. So these rhetorics are blowing, and a space like this would really have no impact. And if that thing just kept bubbling, where is the line of the next? What is the next reaction after? Okay, the spaces aren't working. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. What's the next reaction after that?
Go ahead, D Taylor.
Who you say, Omar? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
D Taylor, D Taylor,
Oh.
D Taylor, D Taylor. If D Taylor isn't there, then I think Justin was next.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to say what it seems like from these two guys, bro. It just like they're like, well, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't harm anybody physically. So in the court of law, they didn't do anything to him. So like I don't know. Y'all go ahead. I just don't understand where they're coming from. Like a nigga is out spewing hate, saying if his daughter was raped, he would make her have the baby, saying black people don't deserve this, gay people don't deserve this. But he didn't nothing happened to him in the court of law. So I don't understand what you guys' problem is. Like, that's just
I can I
crazy to me,
can I
bro.
can
That's crazy.
I
Go ahead,
can
Well,
mama. Go ahead.
can I respond because he's probably addressing me?
yeah, but
What I would just say, what I would just say is, did he deserve to get executed in public for what he said? To Justin, that's a question to Justin.
You say, do I believe somebody should get executed in
No,
public?
no. If Charlie Cook, Charlie Kirk, for what he said, he should be executed in public. Do you think he deserved that?
Do I think he deserved that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna concede into a few more minutes.
I can explain.
I
Well,
don't think he don't deserve it.
let
Can
me.
I speak? Can I
I don't
speak?
think he
Okay,
don't
yeah, go ahead
deserve
and
it. You
speak.
keep asking, does he deserve it? I mean, does he do not deserve it? I mean, you keep like it's just life, bro. Like
I
you
want y'all to
like
know this is
that
like
really
the
doesn't matter.
nastiest circular argument over the past,
Hey, hey,
like,
hey,
Yeah, because
can
I
I break
think the
us out?
argument is
I just want
circular.
to.
It
Can
doesn't
Listen,
matter
listen,
if
I?
he
listen.
deserves
I
it or
can
Hold on.
break
not.
us out. I can
I just
break
want to
us
ask a
out.
couple questions so we can try to at least further this
we don't.
conversation.
I don't know if there's.
Rick and Harold, we can agree that both of y'all believe that words are harmful, right?
It depends on the situation. Not just like if I say I love you, that's not harmful.
Okay, do you believe someone spewing hateful rhetoric can be harmful?
Yes, and that's exactly my point. By saying that he deserves to be killed, you're failing your own standard.
Again, so you believe that rhetoric can be hateful. Cool. So do you okay, so we agree on that. We the fundamental disagreement has been agreed upon that the disagreement is in emotions. People are you one side is saying people are right for feeling the way, one side is saying people are wrong for feeling the way.
No, that's
What
not the
I
disagreement. It's a fact based statement, which is he did not deserve to die. He was innocent. If you look
but
at it legally,
that's I honestly feel like that's an opinion because the groups of people that his rhetoric has harmed or has led to harm to, even I don't know if I said that sentence correct at all, but those people can say he deserved to die.
I mean, then at that point, you can just walk around saying random people in the street deserve to die because I feel that way.
No, you
And you're
cannot.
wrong.
No, you cannot. No, you can.
Just real quick. We're gonna continue the conversation, and I'm gonna let Spam close it out. If you are on the stage trying to convince these two or anybody else that somebody deserves to be murdered, it's not going to happen. I promise you, there's no clever way that you have to say it that's gonna make it happen. I just want you to know. If you want to get your shit off in a vacuum, that's also fine. But I just want you to know that's not gonna happen.
Wait. I just want to say this one thing.
And Jackie's gonna try to do it. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I promise you. Jackie, Jackie, come on now. And you know I fuck with you.
Now,
Jackie,
why are
please.
you impeding on her First Amendment right by
No,
being a statement?
hey, listen, this is gonna be the craziest thing in the whole world
No,
right here.
I wasn't. I
Man can't
wasn't
get
gonna do
no free
that. I
speech in
wasn't
this
gonna do that.
motherfucker.
Like
That's
I gave up
crazy.
on that. Like I wasn't even gonna do that. I just wanted to say
Was that
because
your
I was.
intention? Was that your intention to get them to like say, oh, you know what? People do deserve to be murdered. Was that your? I just want to know.
Nah, I just wanted to say that that's an opinion based take to some. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like he deserved to die,
No,
so we can't.
Even
No,
Jackie, was your
We
intention to
can't
do
say
that?
that's a factual
I
statement. Like
no,
some people
absolutely
will say
not.
different.
He just seemed confused, and I was like trying to explain to him the train of thought that would lead there, but he didn't understand that train of thought, which is fine. And I'm like, I understand his train of thought, which is that's just who he is, and that's cool. I'm not gonna try. That's why I said like I respect to him. What I wanted to say was for all the black people in the space, because a lot of black people are coming up confused and not understanding why two white people um aren't understanding about getting like hit in the face like I think it's like a inherently black or just like minority thing that we understand that some shit may get you hurt and that shit is how it is like
That's
we
not true. That's not true.
no hold on, listen to me. I'm saying like we've grown up in a place where we've seen things happen to people and like they said something like whether it's uncles, cousins, uh aunties, or just like somebody said something in our family or just like around, and then they get smacked in the mouth, and then like everybody's like, well, you shouldn't have said this shit, and then like we just talk about that story, but like remember when Jamal said that shit and they smacked the nigga in the mouth. I think like we inherently understand that, and like I've seen a lot of white people be like, it's not right. Like he could just he got they shot him and all he did was say some words. Like that's not, and it's like I think minorities we see that and be like, yeah, like the only thing stopping us is a piece of paper. Like some people don't care about that piece of paper and will smack you in your fucking mouth. Some people don't care about that piece of paper and will shoot
But
you
it's
in your.
it's not just a piece of paper. It's an entire system
Yeah, and
that is
some okay,
built.
I understand that, but it's not something physical. It's not something that
It
stops.
does become
No, no,
physical when the
no,
police
no,
come
no.
knocking
I
on your
understand.
house, and
Okay, yeah, but
the piece of paper bubbles up to
I understand
consequences.
that,
That's
but
the
it's
whole
not
point.
something physical. When I put the gun, if I had a gun right now and I held it,
Absolutely.
if I had a gun right now and I held it up to someone's head, that that whole that paper that the police ain't stopping me. I'm
No, they
shoot.
aren't.
No, they're not. They're not
No.
here. Like I can literally pull a gun out right now and go shoot my family. They're not stopping me. They may get to me after and they put me in jail, but nothing is
Yet.
stopping me. No, nothing is stopping nobody from doing
But
stuff.
that's why we have a
I
set of
understand that, but
consequences for
I
actions.
understand that, but you need to
Yeah.
understand that there's people out here who do not care about them consequences and will
Totally.
shoot you and smack you. So I hope you know, like your words, you like to say like these are just words, but your words can get you hurt. You and like I understand we live in a civilized world, and like I agree with you, we are civilized people, but every once in a while, there's an uncivilized person that be like, I don't really like what you said, and I'm gonna shoot you. I don't like what you said. I'm gonna smack you in your face.
Hey Rick, can
And
I ask you a question?
and
Of
the only
course.
thing that's gonna stop me is me going to jail. But before I
Hold on,
go to
Jackie. Let
jail,
me let me ask
I'm
him a
putting hands
question.
on you.
Let me ask him a question. So Rick, say for instance, somebody comes up to your mother, or you're outside and somebody just says the most outrageous, outlandish shit about your mother, and the next minute somebody shoots him in the street and you're just there. Are you gonna feel sorry for him, or are you gonna be like, well, in the heat of that moment, what do you think your feelings would be?
That's a fantastic question. I think that when you have a street dynamic, if they get within 6 feet of somebody, that's a bit different. But I think it's a good way to flip reverse the question. Um, I think that if those words are published as a video, that's interesting. I think that um, screaming in the street could lead to escalation, so that does change
No,
the
I'm not
dynamic a
saying
little
you
bit.
escalated. I don't think you want to. Let me rephrase, because I've
Okay,
had this.
I'm
I've
listening.
had somebody say something very disrespectful about a family member of mine over the phone, and he
Mm,
died in a car accident a couple
sure.
weeks later. And what you're doing to the black people up here on stage, I had somebody try to do that to me and tried to guilt trip me, and we're no longer friends due to that, because I stated this man said some of the most harmful shit about people that died, and you expect me to feel bad for him. So that's why I say it's kind of you have to understand where the black people are coming from, because we are black.
What
We
are we doing?
feel what he's
Hold,
saying.
hold, hold up. So the person who got in a car accident, do you think he deserved to be in that car accident?
No, but I didn't feel bad. I
But I
mean,
think
if
that's the
I'm
difference
keeping
with.
it 100, I was like, oh well, fuck him. If you want me to keep it 100 because of what he said about people that died, like he said some of the most vows, some Charlie Kirk type shit about my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, my sister. So when he died, I was like, man, I said, man, you put hateful things out in this world, it returns. Kind of like how we're doing with Charlie Kirk. Now you can say, man, it's kind of fucked that he died, and then the way that he died, I mean, it's like the universe works in certain ways. What you put out in this universe is gonna come back to you. And you can't get mad when other people don't feel the same way that you feel, or feel that kind of
But but but
vulnerable,
but
oh,
listen,
because you don't know the experience they've had with that.
but they're
I
not
know
they're
my
not
experiences
asking
with Charlie Kirk.
they're not asking you to feel the same way. They're just saying, do you think that this person deserved to be this thing? And again, I promise you, the way we're having this conversation is like super bad. It really, really is. they're not asking.
I feel the opposite. I feel like we're at least being respectful to one another.
No, no.
No, not
Well, I
that,
think
not
we're
that.
agreeing, but I think
He's
we
talking
should
about
actually
the
move on
line
because
of
we are going in
the,
Okay.
circles.
and I
And
Yeah.
also
I do
think
have a question.
I think there's a thing people have gotten too comfortable with saying what people deserve, but won't be willing to do it themselves. If you aren't, me personally, I think if you weren't willing to do it, you can't say that they deserved it. Because if they deserved it, you would have did it. So
Yeah.
I think people are making a leap when they say that.
Holla.
When they really are saying like, I really have no remorse for what happened. But
Facts.
I think people to say this person deserved it, I think there has to be a level of you would have did that then.
I totally
Holla.
agree. And
I'm
it
not
sort of is the
for
same thing where
all
you
right.
talk about Charlie Kirk's hateful rhetoric or whatever. If you're saying that he deserved to die, you're sort of doing the same thing. I think probably it would be better to just be like, well, if you feel that way, I do personally feel remorse. To answer the question that someone else asked about if like someone said horrible shit about my family and then they died in a car accident, I would feel horrible. That's how I would feel. Okay. And now you guys might tell me like, get off my high horse and stuff. But like again, I would just say my wife is an immigrant. She immigrated recently to this country. I lived abroad for many years. We had children abroad, and then we came to America. And I hear people all the time talk about immigrants and how we need to deport them all. Whatever. If that person dies, yes, I will feel horrible. And like again, I think it does actually come down to a little bit morals. Personally, I am a Christian, and Jesus does say that you need to love your enemies. So that is actually how I feel about the situation. You guys can shit on me all you want about getting off my high horse and stuff, but that's my genuine response to your question.
Spam, please take it. Please, please, spam, please. Uncle Spam,
Oh my
go.
my bad, my bad, my bad. Honestly, we don't have to keep talking, but I just wanted to ask Harold a really quick question. Um, if you incite violence or if you incite actions in other people that causes harm or like death, do you think that person has any sort of responsibility morally to those deaths? So, for example,
If it's literally like if for example it passes the Brandenburg v. Ohio test, yes, I would say so. But that's a very specific example where the incitement was directly led, like saying like, "Hey, let's get that guy." Yeah, obviously that's a horrible thing to do. They should go to prison.
right.
But Charlie has never done
So
that.
Wait,
if
there's
I
no.
well let
Oh,
me let
go
me
ahead, go ahead.
if I begin to spread propaganda, let's just say for example about white people and say white people are taking all of our jobs, white people are the reason that black people are oppressed, white people need to be removed. Do you think that is insightful? Do you think that incites violence against white people?
I don't think they should go to prison. I don't think they should be
No,
punished
that doesn't
for it.
pass the test.
Wait, yeah. So I wouldn't say they don't need to be punished by anybody for it. That's just my personal opinion. They're going around saying
If you
stupid
said
shit.
if you said I'll see you at this block at this time and bring the guns and let's go kill them, that's incitement to violence. That's
Wow.
passing
Yeah,
the
but
Okay.
test.
he's asking more on a, and I would say even on a moral basis, I believe that if you say stupid shit and you're not actually harming anybody, you say this propaganda stuff like you said, like deport the immigrants or whatever it is against white people or whatever it is, and there's lots of people that say this stuff in this country, probably millions, okay, millions. And no, I don't think they should be punished in any like physical way where they go to prison or get shot or maybe the way they get punished is that they get shamed in front of other people, with more words. That's the way I view it. Is the way you fight bad speech is with good speech.
So okay, so just to be clear, if someone is spreading propaganda that causes hatred towards another group of people and even violence towards that group of people, but because they didn't say, "Hey, everybody, let's meet up with the guns at 123 Rainbow Road and shoot everybody," it's okay.
You use the word incitement, but incitement has a very specific definition. That wouldn't be if you're not doing something direct and like
Oh,
very
influence.
pleasant, then that's not
Let's say
incitement.
influence. We can play semantics. Let's say influence.
Influence. Okay, so they're influencing. I wouldn't support them. I would go out and speak out against them and try to use words of love and words of convincing
Okay,
to
but
to
you're using those words of love yet he's still influencing people to harm others. All the while you're using these words of love, nothing is changing, and he's
If that's
still.
the case, if the people really follow him and the people really love that person and it causes chaos and the
But
society's probably dying anyways because the
no, no, no. I
people
think
are
the more
corrupt.
broad point is no is
Hold,
Whoa!
hold,
people can
hold, so Uncle
disagree
Uncle Spam, I got
It's
a
so
until they
question
go to
for
fucking
their
you,
grave.
right?
ridiculous. Omar in the space,
Hold,
bro.
hold up, Uncle Spam.
I am because y'all
So
are
there
playing
was
the
a
same game. Oh my god, we've been playing the same game for an hour.
hold on, Uncle
No,
Spam,
I'm
I got
done.
a
I'm
question.
done. After he said that, I'm done. I don't have
Hold on,
anything
no,
else
no,
to
no,
say.
Uncle Spam, I got a question though. So if there was a Israelite, we all know them, right? You know what I'm saying? White devil, blah blah blah, whatever rhetoric, cause something going on in the city, and somebody took it upon themselves to roll down on their little setup they have on the sidewalk and hit them with a car. Would you tell people that person deserved it? I think that's a better way to bridge the gap, is at least from your perspective, because they can see that you would be consistent in.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't. Again, I'm not on in the side of whether or not someone deserves it. I'm just trying to get Harold to understand why somebody would have a different perspective. I feel like Harold just doesn't understand that.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay.
But wait, I don't understand what. People are angry and
I
don't like
promise you,
Charlie
we don't have
Kirk.
to do it. We don't have to. We don't have to.
Yeah, yeah. No, like
We
I
don't
said,
have
after
to.
you said,
No,
yeah,
but
after you said,
spam, leave it though. Just leave it. That's what I'm
okay,
saying. Just leave
okay,
it.
okay. Yeah, after he said that, there's nothing else to say.
After I said what?
Hey, Harold, so
I,
at what voltage do you think the contestant of the Milgram experiment is responsible?
Man,
What?
we
Nigga,
don't.
what?
I promise you, these are just like we don't have to keep doing this.
No, no, we
Well, I
can't.
got a question. Harold, you be watching.
Jackie, oh my gosh. Is it you or do I need to kick Harold? Which one is it? Like I really need to
I was
understand.
just gonna ask if you watch Pop the Balloon.
No, stop.
Okay,
Uh,
my bad.
oh my god. If I go to Quinn DM or Pacer and y'all have come up here to ask the same question, I'm gonna do the same exact thing.
Well, I wanted to talk about the topic.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, my thing is, there's a lot of different responses to have to this event. Um, many of them valid because it's all based on perspective, right? Um, the thing that I'm not understanding is how you don't understand the rhetoric that he pushed enabled this. I mean, we've been in this climate since like COVID, really, but what he's been saying, and really just what both political parties have been saying in the public sphere, in the public lexicon, has been kind of building to this moment. You can't really hide behind it's just words because words turn into legislation pretty quick. A lot of things that y'all said was just words ended up becoming executive orders, ended up becoming actual things that people are living through right now. So to sit there and say the things that Charlie has said and try to mask it as just words when we know that's not really what he wants. Um, and then be upset at people that are going to be negatively affected by those words is a little insane and frankly fucking retarded. I'm not saying he deserved it. I am saying he's a part of an environment that has been that has enabled this. And just 2 months ago, we had two Minnesota lawmakers killed by a Trump supporter, and nobody said shit. Quite literally, nobody on this app said shit. So I'm not really trying to hear this kumbaya shit. Everybody engages in this. Everybody loves seeing the other side get dunked on. Everybody loves demonizing whatever group they got beef with. And you are surprised that this is where we're heading. You look at what happened to Trump. Look at what happened to those lawmakers. Look at what happened to Charlie now. And I'm sure there's going to be some kind of retaliation of some sort. So this is what y'all wanted. This is what all these clicks and rage bait is for. It's to get people pissed off, regardless of how you feel about it. So the question I have is just kind of like, where are we going to be as a nation? Because you can't keep pretending like you don't know what you're fucking saying or what you're engaging with. You've got people on this app now. We've seen the rise of what I call black degeneracy porn fetishizers who have been engaging in this content, trying to oversell black degeneracy because that's all their algorithms are full of. And on the other hand, you've got people engaged in all this rhetoric that immigrants are doing XYZ, and it's just becoming these self-fulfilling echo chambers that people believe is reflected in real life. And now Charlie paid the cost of that. So my question really is just the nation needs to find its fucking soul and to find its fucking spine, because you're all engaging in this shit and you know what you're doing. And you know what your algorithms are giving you. And do you know these companies, they track your fucking eyeballs. When you look at this content, they measure how long you stayed on that fucking post. And the next thing you know, you've got a three or four similar posts in your feed. The next thing you know, you've curated an entire fucking reality, because we all live on our phones, right? We all live on our smart devices. So um really step outside and really think about what we're gonna do. Because this isn't gonna get better, bro. People aren't gonna learn anything. They're just gonna want to respond and keep one upping the other side until it gets out of hand. So that's all I'm gonna say on it. I'm gonna let y'all keep talking.
So I actually agreed with 95% of what you just said. And I'm actually curious what you guys think about where the country goes from here. Because political assassinations, political violence, these are things that happened, I think, in like the 1930s during Nazi Germany, where there were communists constantly fighting with the fascists in the streets, and they would shoot at each other. And nobody was just like, what are we doing here? Um, the rage bait and clicks, it's 100% right. And I hope that there's just something. Usually the thing that terminates these things or unites a country, unfortunately, I think, is like war or tragedy, like national tragedy, which is a horrible thing. But I don't see any other way out of this political strife in this country. And it's horrible because it's sort of like just sports, like my team is the Red Sox, your team is the Yankees, we hate each other.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
agree. Do you
Yeah, that's
think?
where
Do
we're
you
at.
think?
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Do
where
you
we're at.
think divisiveness is like being intentionally divisive is evil, Harold?
Divisiveness is profitable. That's what it is.
Definitely profitable. And
It's
Harold, to answer your question, right? Because actually, I think that's a better conversation. I think we all have our own
Yeah, it is a
opinions,
better.
and we
Yeah.
and we and we know what we kind of stand on. So that's a better conversation. Harold, I think personally that once it gets to the point where people such as Charlie Kirk or such as Donald Trump are getting shot at, I think that the amount of money they have to actually put into security for it to actually be like seen as secure in the future is just basically going to grow expeditiously to the point where they can't even afford that. So I think it's gonna move into at least not open rallies and things of that nature. It's still gonna be racist rhetoric, in my opinion. You may not say that, Harold, but I think racist rhetoric between these two parties. But at the end of the day, I think it's at least going to get to the point where it's like it's going to be too expensive, too risky for them to be pushing these big moguls or big mongols out here, or idols, whatever you want to call them, and it not be safe, basically.
But I think
Yeah.
that's why I think y'all think it's gonna get worse to war. I think the opposite. I think the fact that it's gonna be so hard for people like these people who really thrived in the COVID era when people were trapped in their house looking for voices that were saying what they were wanted, how they felt, right? It's going to be so hard for them to go out in these public forums again because of the security issues. And I think that's going to force people to have those conversations. And I think most people are going to realize they don't have the heart to do to somebody they just see and not this big figure. Like it's easy for you to do it to somebody who you watched 500 hours worth of content, like you're boiling with rage when you see them. It's going to be a lot harder for you to want to do that to a random person that you may hear talking in a park or something like that.
That's a
So I
fact.
think
And to go
I
and just real quick, right? Because I just wanted to say this too. The only reason why I was thinking about this because Myron and Sneeko, I know we don't really like them, but Myron and Sneeko, they just had a conversation about this yesterday. Because Myron, he does the same thing basically what Charlie Kirk does. He goes to different colleges and things, and Sneeko basically asked Myron like, "Buddy, I'm kind of fearful for your safety. Do you think that this is something that you should be doing?" And Myron basically said like, yeah, I'm gonna have to start thinking in the future about my safety. I may not be going to different places as much, and that's what made me even think about it. Like, damn, these people really probably gonna have to stop doing this.
So I would agree with the gist of what both of you guys are saying.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? Harold, shut the fuck up, man. You've been saying nonsense for the last 30 minutes. When the hell is being when the hell is being racist all of a sudden become political? He was just a piece of shit. What is the difference
I
between
think that's
him and
off
David
topic.
Duke?
We were going down a good
Hold
route.
on. No. What's the difference between Charlie Kirk and David Duke? The only difference is David Duke decided to pick up a white robe and a white fucking hood. It's the same fucking rhetoric that just gets repeated over and over. And because Charlie Kirk is the new white supremacist for the youth, right? And he dressed nice and he looks like your everyday white American that you think people think that his message is so. No, he's still a fucking white supremacist. He's still a fucking racist as fuck. He's not political. He's divisive. That's the problem with America. People think, oh, if he's racist, then he's political. No, politics and racism has nothing to do with each other. Like, what the fuck are we talking
Well,
about?
here's the thing.
Like, what
Here's the
the
thing, real quick, brother. I just want to address that. Like, it's cowardly. It's fucking cowardly to pretend like Charlie Kirk wasn't saying what the fuck he was saying.
right?
Say that.
However, he didn't deserve to be killed for it. Um,
Nobody deserves to get killed, but we live.
No shot. No shot. We are back here. I'm back at home. I'm making a bowl of spaghetti. No shot. We are back here. There's no way. How is that possible? There's
Bro,
no
bro. This
way.
is man. This is America. This is America.
Can we go down the other
I don't
route you were going?
want
yeah, I was trying to lead the brother down that path. Like, we understand what Charlie was fucking saying. To pretend he wasn't is fucking dishonest. But what are we going to do as a nation? Because this happens regardless of Charlie's political leanings. These
Look,
assassinations happen on both
look,
sides.
look, Quinn. I don't
What are we
know.
going to
I don't know
do?
how old you are. I don't know how old you are. But a person like Charlie Kirk, 25 years ago, would have got shunned. Right? Would have got ran out of society. He would have got
That's not
rushed.
true either. That's not
Yeah,
true
wait,
either.
No, he
wait.
would have.
He would have been Rush Limbaugh. He would have been. He would have been.
We were almost down a really cool route, and then we just started going back to this. Can we move
Okay,
on?
yeah, because you want to support the racists.
No,
That's
we
why.
talked about this for an hour. Maybe you weren't here.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Like I said, 25 years ago, a man like Charlie Kirk would have got shunned from fucking society and would have been in
That's
some
not
back.
true though.
He would
That's
not.
not
He would
true.
not. That is very much is true.
Where do you want America to be in 25 years?
So
Like,
so
where
so
would you like to see it go forward?
the
Shunning
fact that
people
we
like
could
Charlie Kirk for sure.
yes people that want to come out and have racist rhetoric and talk racist and be divisive, yes, shun those
What you're
motherfuckers.
saying is divisive as well. So he can
How
be
is it
wrong
divisive?
and you can be wrong. You're both
How
wrong.
is it divisive?
We've hold on. We've got to stop this both sides shit. I'm not gonna hold you. There is a
How is it?
level.
How is
There
it
is a
divisive?
level.
Man, I promise y'all, we were like
We were right
trending in a
here.
better conversation. We were in the midst of a better conversation to get back into he deserves to die conversation. Jesus Christ. I promise you. Again, if you want to scream into a void, that's fine. I don't know if this is that void. Actually, I think it's not. This is man, there was a better conversation we had. And we were having the better conversation. Do I need to
I'm in
add to
favor
it
of
to
that
the money?
conversation.
Not one person
I'm
said
in
he
favor of that
deserved to
conversation.
die. So I don't think you heard
I'm
one
Yes,
in
they
favor of that
person.
did.
conversation.
Yes, they did. I
Well,
promise you,
I
I
don't know
don't
what
want to
they
go down that.
said. I don't know what they said, but that's not what I said.
I understand what you're saying. And you've been I've seen you, so you've been here since we've moved past that conversation. We've
No, actually, I
intentionally
just
moved
got
past
in
that.
here. I got the invite to come in here and grab the mic.
No,
I've been.
I literally saw you. I'm talking about be in the listening portion to understand that we've moved past that conversation. That's what I'm saying.
So I wanted to go back to the thing about people being scared to go out and talk and all of that. Where we talk that's probably going to apply to the left and the right, which probably isn't great actually. One of the ideas I had was that what's the type of person that's going to go out and want to do these public events now, and it's either going to be someone that's very very brave or someone that's very crazy.
Somebody got an echo. Somebody
But
got an
no,
echo.
no,
That's
no.
crazy.
I
I
don't
do want
And
to say,
then
necessarily think it's.
sorry, I just
wait,
wanted to
holla,
finish my
holla,
point.
please,
I
please,
just wanted to
please, please,
finish
please,
this.
please, please.
So I think it's going to either be people that are very brave or very crazy that go out and do these things, but I don't think they're going to stop just because humans love being vain. They love speaking to a crowd. They love the attention of that, and it gets them lots of views. So I think we're just going to see more, probably more of this, not less. I know someone else was saying
Let
it's
me
going to
say
be
this. Let
less.
me say this.
No, when people start want to be
Let me say
racist
this. Let
in a
me
public
say
forum, they won't
this.
get
Let
shot
me
at.
say this. please let me say this. Yeah, I think that there is, and this goes into a little bit of like how much you know of some of these people. This isn't something that's applicable to all people. This is more so a conversation of like these political commentators, and I'm calling them political first because they speak about politics and they align themselves with like political commentary. This is more of a conversation for these political commentators who intentionally polarize the way that they speak in order to draw audience. It's been reported on numerous times, and you can even see when Charlie Kirk goes to different platforms how he ups his speech based off of how many views are there, how many eyes are there, et cetera, et cetera. What I mean by that is if he's in a room of five, and other people do it too, Myron does it too. If they're speaking to a room of five, the way that they speak is going to be different than if they're speaking to a room of 50,000, right? So the real conversation would be how do those people go about doing these things? People have died in like political spaces quite often, but most often like somebody who is considering themselves conservative doesn't have like a heightened level of fear because they're going to speak to the local I don't know, county's 4th of July parade. Somebody who is like a Democrat who's left leaning doesn't have any more heightened concern. Those people don't speak in a way that is meant to polarize the topics that they're talking about. But for these specific people, they do intentionally speak with a tone and all these other things because they want to entertain at the end of the day to draw in the bigger audience. Those are the people that have to worry about, okay, well, if I do go to X, Y, and Z, do I need to change the tone in which I speak? They have and Myron is one of those people. He should have real fear.
That's a
I don't
fact.
That
even
makes
think those
sense.
people.
But
I
I
don't
would
even
just
think
say
those
that
people will speak like that anymore. I think there will be regular conversations like people are getting back into sporting events, going out to like bars and diners. I think though clubs and stuff, or I think conversations will start to be had there, and people will realize this fear that they had since the COVID era of look what's out here will kind of start to fade away, in my opinion.
I like your optimism,
What do
and
you
I
mean?
hope.
Hold on. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
For example,
Like,
like I was there's an episode of Explained on Netflix. It's called Brainwashed. How when you're like in a environment where you feel like you're being excluded or your existence is being demeaned, it can heighten your anxiety levels and stuff when you respond to things. And I feel like the internet in that COVID era, everybody was forced like in their phone. What are people talking about? Am I gonna go back to work? Will I make rent? Will I be able to pay this? There was this big heightened emotion in trying to find out what the blame was, right? Now that people are like integrating back into regular life and this Charlie Kirk thing happened, we don't those figures that were the Joe Rogans, I think we'll see a decline, like the Myrons.
I think I figured that's where you were going with this. I don't see that
But
because these people that you're talking about already existed prior to COVID, and they already had massive fan bases before
yeah,
COVID.
but they didn't have the
What COVID did was it exploded their popularity, and it put them to a level that they're like where they're at now, but they have even political influence. The difference is though, I don't believe that this is going to be something that's going to stop that. Why do I think it's not going to stop that? Because the president of the United States put out an AI video stoking this same rhetoric even further. So I don't think that the notion that they're going to have is we need to recalculate. No, I think it's the notion they're having right now is that they're going to go harder than they were
hold
before.
on, so
Yeah,
we
He's
have
I
already
already
tried to
videos
implicate
of
people.
people
That's a
like I
great
think
point.
somebody mentioned it earlier how much security they're going to have to continue
Thank
the
you.
things they once had, right? So if those increase, you're going to see a decrease in the amount of those type of videos you see out. Will Joe Rogan still have a platform? Yes. But if you watch the recent Joe Rogan interviews where he's kind of running out of the circle that he's in. He's starting to interview other people more. I'm not gonna say more intelligent, but people who are willing to push back on what he says. There are people are going to see
Bro,
those things. They're going
Well,
to see
bro,
the.
bro, big hollow. You don't think that it's an issue that people need high security so they can push racist rhetoric? and
Yeah,
you don't have to
it's not
be.
going to change.
Yeah, but
Bro,
that's
hold on,
that's
boy.
what
Hold
I
up, what,
that's
hold up,
what big
hold up.
go
What?
ahead,
No,
my
no, no.
fault.
What did you understand from what
Yeah,
I
because
said?
that's not the point. That's not,
No, because you talking about Myron, like fuck Myron too. Like Myron a piece of shit
you're
as
But
well.
that's
absolutely right, brother, but that's
that's
Like,
not
not.
the point.
But what you're
like,
saying isn't relevant to what I was saying though.
like,
So
come
I'm asking, what did you understand from what I
on.
said?
Like
What did you
these people
understand
are
my
just
point to
pieces of
be?
shit. Like, we need to stop giving them a fucking platform.
Oh,
How about
brother.
What did you understand my point to be? That's what I'm asking. What do you think my point was?
man? Fuck them people.
Nothing.
I'd like to
The
address your
point,
point.
the point he's making is that it's going to be harder for them to do what they're doing. So it's going to
Good,
steadily
good.
decline
I'm
over
glad.
time.
I'm glad. I'm happy for that.
So
Like because
Happy for
it's
That's
going
the
to have less
point.
effect. He's assuming it's going to have less effectiveness because of how like difficult it is for them to be able to do
Well,
this
so
no,
this
not
this
even
as
so
not
let
no
me
no
make
no.
the
It's not
case
even
that
about
it's
the
not
less
going to be more
effectiveness. It's
difficult.
more about how much it's going to cost. It's just the fact that let's just say next year, right? In 2026, we got 5 different
Go
political
ahead.
influencers that just die all of a sudden. Over time, these agencies or these people that are over these people that are making money off these people are going to be like, hey, we might need a different strategy here. Our big money people keep dying. That's it's just over time, it's just going to change. I'm not going to say it's ever going to stop,
Why
but
you
it's going
mean
to
that's
start
true.
fucking
changing.
Because
swamp
even if
buster?
you look at Dean Withers was not crying because what happened to Charlie Kirk. Dean Withers was crying because he tried to monopolize one side of this thing that was going on, and
Mm,
he see
Yeah,
that being himself if he keep talking the way he do
talk that.
behind these screens, is going to cause people to think twice before they go do the things they do and say the things they say.
oh, oh
So
yeah,
I
no,
would
of
I
course,
would say
but
I could be
go ahead.
convinced of that argument that things are going to be harder for these influencers to say all of this crazy stuff. But let me just make an argument against that. I'm not 100% on this, but here's how I could see it going, which is you end up scaring a lot of just people that would be these sort of influencers, but they're not bold enough because people are getting killed. So what you end up having is people who are even more bold, people who don't give a shit about getting shot, people who really just want to get the attention and who really just want to get that power and are willing to die to do it. I think you could
I'd
end up
agree.
getting more of those
Well,
people.
Yeah, and you're
Americans,
not incorrect. It
I'd
will.
agree.
Go ahead.
I'd 100% agree.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Americans is not. Americans are too pussy for all that. Or I'm
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
I don't.
Americans are push. Oh, hold on.
I'm sorry, what?
No,
Americans.
no, no.
No,
But
he's no.
what
Are
Hold on.
Harold's
you
just
high
trying to
as
Hold on.
say
Hold
fuck?
is
on.
that
American.
what it would do is that it will basically weed out all the pussy ones, as you say. It will weed them out so that it will basically idolize or amplify the people that
No,
actually still want to do it.
what I'm saying is that the public forums and the public speeches, that shit over with. They're gonna go back to hiding
I don't
behind
know
the.
about that.
I don't agree. No,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know
agree at
about that.
all. Actually.
I think there's a level of charisma that's needed, and there is a level of intelligence to be able to
It's
capture an audience
I
like
don't know
that.
about that.
And I don't think just because somebody's bold enough and they don't care, we all remember the jock ideology. Nobody really follows that person though. They understand the archetype of the person, but I don't think they will be able to captivate not caring like that. That's why you have some of these influencers. They get on a mic, they scream, "Yo, this is our last time talking." They will never ride because it takes a level of conversation and charisma that I don't think those types of people possess to do that.
Yeah, I think those people, those bold people that don't give a shit about dying and will die for their quote unquote beliefs, are very charismatic. They're probably the most charismatic among us.
I'd agree with him. Looking at like people, I don't think this person is particularly like charismatic, but a lot of people, but he still has a massive following. Would be Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is far worse than like even Charlie Kirk, but he has a massive
But Nick,
audience, and he's a psychopath.
but Nick don't. But Nick don't
Nick
come out. So
doesn't
a lot
go
of
on
people
public. I
are.
understand that. I understand
Yeah,
that.
Nick don't come outside.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people are missing in this conversation too, though, is well, at least my point is that I'm not saying that they would avoid these things. Well, I think from a public perspective, they would avoid it. That space and that niche was already like, I don't want to say dying, but like what happens for these people is that they usually just well they run it dry. So they people have done this type of content to the point where like it's not interesting to even their followers anymore, and so then they look to pivot into something else. Myron, if you've looked at Myron used to go on the campuses and used to do the public stuff a lot, but it's run itself dry. He's also pivoted from like some of the extreme talks to be a little bit more milder, especially in tone and temperament. So I think that that's one of the reasons why they'll go away from this. But also, I think that they know that like people are sniffing out that they're too extreme, and now you're adding to the fact that it could lead to harm in some sort of way. They're gonna get away from this. Not maybe
Well,
not
well,
because of all the reasons that people think,
And
but
not
they're gonna
only
get away
well.
from
that,
Could I
this.
ask
not
a
only
question?
that, it's
Could I
going to
ask a question?
become less profitable. You don't think there's a company that's sitting back that's saying, you know what, we want.
No, no, I don't.
What was I about to say?
No,
What was I about to say?
no. Essentially, you're saying that what is you? Yes, you already stated this. You feel like is there the companies that are back and never going to be like, oh well, I mean this. I don't know if this is good for our long term future because if our biggest people keep getting killed or getting threatened, so it's not something we should
Yeah, so
keep
you don't
investing
think a
in.
company says
That's
we
not
don't
real.
want
But
to?
but no no, but it's not. I know how this shit works already. It is not just companies. It's literally just like people, billionaire
Investors, yeah,
lobbyists
investors.
who push these things. And the thing is to allow them to continue to do the things that they do. So the thing is, even if these niggas kept dying, this will get somebody else. They're not. It's not a business. It's not a business like thing where it's like, oh no, it's a bad for our brand. It's not about branding.
No, no, no,
It's
no.
about
I'm not.
getting.
No, no, no.
Ho-
Those lobbyists that you're talking about, they do not pump as much money into these creators as privatized
And
public companies do. They
yeah, the
don't. It's not even
KKK,
close.
the KKK is just going to pivot and find somebody else that's less that's more like another Charlie Kirk. They've been doing this
But
shit.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
not
yeah.
look.
Okay,
I
Bro,
don't
look,
like
Wait, wait,
look,
broke.
wait,
look.
wait,
I don't
wait,
like.
wait.
hold up.
Listen.
My
The-
bad. Go ahead.
Wait,
You
wait,
are
wait, wait.
talking
Can I
about
ask? Can I ask who y'all think? Can I ask? Because we know who do y'all think is
the
giving them money?
KKK, bro.
No,
The
what?
KKK,
No,
bro.
nigga,
hold,
Bro, they're gonna
Nah,
hold
bro,
up,
nigga.
Are
that's
hold
we
up,
nasty,
hold
Bro,
up.
serious
bro.
right
stop.
now?
Bro,
It's the
stop. Stop.
Nazis,
First of
bro.
That's
all,
come on.
Bro,
it's
stop.
it's not
Bro,
the
stop.
KKK. Most of them make their money
come
from
on.
going direct to
Come
their
on, yeah,
the
it's the
people who support
bro.
them.
What are you talking about, bro? Just because they
It
ain't
is
got no
not the KK.
just
No,
because
The people that
just
go
because
to his rallies, for sure.
hold on. Just because they're not riding around with hoods and burning crosses on your fucking yard does not mean
no,
they're not the
no, no,
KKK.
no, 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 no,
Hold
no.
up,
Here's
have
here's
you?
the thing.
No, 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 no. The
Okay,
people
go
who
ahead.
are paying them the most money, their form of income is directly to the people they talk to that buy their merch and corporations who run ad dollars behind their content.
Oh,
Those are their
That's a
two
fact.
that's
biggest
That's
cool.
a
forms of
fact.
income.
That is
Yeah, that's
true. Yeah,
cool. That's cool.
that
Who
is
do you
true as
think is at
well.
this corporation?
So if those corporations say,
Whether hold on, hold
"Yo,
on, hold on, hold
am
on, hold
I
on, hold on.
going to?"
Like, who
You're
do you
not
think
you're
is
not
at this
arguing.
corporation?
You're not.
Wait, wait, wait. Let me say this because everybody's saying, hold on, hold on, hold on. Like we actually have on film. What's the buddy that has the Scully on?
Simple.
Um, yeah, we actively have Tim Pool saying on film that like Russia gives them money. Like he said the Russian company. Don't do this sweeping KKK nonsense. No, like if you don't know, you don't know. That's fine. But like we've heard them speak on these things before, and I'm not even like super deep into the politics and stuff like that. But like we actively know who is giving them money to push certain rhetorics and narratives. They've admitted it. It's been documented like heavily. We don't. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? I'm
So,
super
we're
confused.
gonna push the Russian conspiracy theory now.
That is not
Come
a
on.
conspiracy.
It's
Come
It's
on.
not
not
a
a
This is
conspiracy.
actually
It's
conspiracy
not a
going
theory.
on in
conspiracy
It's
America.
theory.
literally been
This has been
directly.
going on.
It's
This has
literally
been
been.
going on. Hold on. This has
No, no,
been
no, no, no.
going
It's
on
not
in
about Trump. It's
America
not that.
for
It's not like a
a hundred
Trump.
and some odd years with different faces. Like, come on.
It's not. Hold on, bro. It's not. It's not like we're talking about like the Trump stuff. Even though that
Hold on,
kind of
hold
was
on,
crazy.
BG.
Yeah, I'm
I
about
want
to
to
say
I
We're not
want
Charlie
to
talking
ask
about
Kirk
that.
is one of
I want to
Trump's
ask
best
him.
friends. Like, what are we talking about?
Hold up, when Omar brought up that Tim Pool was on camera saying that there was money that funneled to their company from Russia, and you
No,
say it's
no,
the
no.
no
He
no
didn't.
no
No,
wait
no. That's
wait
hold on.
wait
That's
wait
not. That's
wait
not true. That's not true. He
wait
didn't say that.
wait.
He got exposed for that, and he went against that.
Either
That's
way,
yeah.
either way.
Yes, he didn't say that.
Hold on, wait.
No, he-
I'm just asking Drew a question. When you say, "Are we going to talk about that Russia conspiracy?" What conspiracy do you think Omar was referencing?
The whole the guy with the tempo saying that he got the money from Russia, bro. Like, come on. Like, do y'all
Hold
take
up. So you
everything?
think it? So
Wait,
you
wait,
think
wait,
it
wait. Let
wasn't
me
true?
ask you this: do you take everything at face
Hold
value in
up,
this
hold
country?
Drew. Do you think it wasn't true that Tim Pool was part of a conglomerate that was paid like $5 million to make content for 4 years?
$5 million? You think that's a lot of money?
Oh my god,
Oh my God, brother.
Wait.
Yes, I do.
No. Do you think $5 million is a
Yes,
lot of
for a
money?
campaign run, yes,
Yes.
sir. You can do something with $5 million. Yes.
Do you think $5 million is a lot of money
do you know?
for how much?
Do you know how
Wait.
much
Can I
$5 million
finish?
is to a regular nigga?
Can I answer? Do you think $5 million is a lot of money that these white to push white supremacist propaganda as much
For
money?
Tim,
There's a
hold on,
there,
no, no,
that this
no.
wasn't
Tim
this
Come on,
wasn't
Pool,
white.
bro. Like,
No,
Tim.
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. It was not white supremacist propaganda. What they were pushing was pro-Russia
Man, that's not
content.
BG.
I'm talking
BG,
about
please.
the Russia stuff. The Russia for the
I
Russia.
get it, but even just to him, yes, $5 million to this one singular entity is a lot
Definitely.
of money.
Yeah,
This is not like
yeah, it is.
I didn't make this up. You can find this stuff anywhere and everywhere. I did not
Donald
make
Trump
this up.
got
Yeah,
67 million for his whole entire like campaign run. Like, what are we talking about?
That's irrelevant. That's just a little
Hold
bit
up,
No, no,
irrelevant.
no. It's not
I just
irrelevant.
wanted
The reason why I say it is because 5 million, 67 million is a good percentage. So it's like, yes, $5 million is definitely a good
and
investment.
hold up, and 5 million was to one content creator platform.
thank
Thank
that's what
you.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. It's a lot of money. I'm just saying it wasn't. I'm trying to like.
No, not you, just to the person refuting
Hold
that
up, and
that
not
notion.
only was it to one platform, he made like 5, 6 times more money from Russia than he got off of his platform.
Yeah,
So
it's like
you 6x your income because of the Russia money from it.
so, and then Charlie
like all
Kirk.
he
And
had
wait,
to.
hold on. And Charlie Kirk made 50 million off of his platform. That's why I said 5 million is not 5 million.
But we're not. But he's not Charlie Kirk.
But
We're
That's
not talking
irrelevant.
about
oh
That's
my
Charlie.
irrelevant.
God, what I'm
That's
saying is
irrelevant.
that there's people out here
Where do you get the number 50 million that Charlie Kirk made from
off
his
of.
platform? I'm curious.
That's how much he made. What are you talking about?
I think. I
It's
think.
it's a
Oh, no, no.
I
guesstimation.
What
think
is
It's
he
a
it?
guess.
probably looked
It's
at
a
his
A
net.
guesstimation. He
niggamation.
doesn't have
He
it.
probably looked at his net.
He
Probably looked
does.
at his net worth. Probably. I'm assuming.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that number. He does not have that number.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think the context of this is Charlie Kirk, not like alleged funding of certain spaces
Well, that's
and
not. Well,
like the
No.
debate.
You're
that's
missing the
not.
context. You're missing the context.
Let me just be 1,000% clear. And I want just you can look this. This is not like anybody made this up. Tim Pool decided to take $100,000 per video for X amount of videos to produce content that pumped certain narratives and had certain voices and opinions be pushed to the forefront. When exposed to these things on camera, he said, and this is why when BG said, I was like, he said when on camera for these things, he literally said, "Well, isn't everybody taking that money?" And to which people responded
Oh,
to
you're
him,
talking about
"No,
that.
yeah, yeah." To which people responded to him, "No, everybody is not taking that money that you are talking about." So what I'm saying is not made up. I don't know about nothing else. Fifty
That's
million
a
dollars,
fact.
Charlie Kirk, all that other
Bro,
stuff. What I'm saying is
we need to
actually
stop.
true.
We need to stop taking shit that happens in this fucking country at face value.
But
Like,
I
come
don't.
on,
Okay.
bro.
But
I can't. I guess maybe I should. Maybe I'll engage with this a little bit. What exactly do you think is the deal with that then?
you don't even know about it. He didn't know about it until we just talked about it.
I understand. So I'm referring to
Who
you,
you
Drew.
asking? Who you asking?
I'm asking you,
You.
Drew. I'm
Yo,
saying
what was your
you're
question?
saying we're taking it at face value. So how should we take this
Come on, bro. Like,
in
if
particular?
y'all don't think these fucking whites, these hidden white supremacists has been putting fucking money into
N-
these fucking
Is that
into these divisive ass people,
that's
bro.
not that's
Hold
not that's
up,
not
but
hidden.
yeah,
Hold on, that's
yeah,
not hidden.
one,
That's
yes,
not hidden. We know this
yes,
already.
that's true, but that doesn't it it is a very small amount compared to the money that they make from ad revenue
Bro,
from public companies.
small amounts, bro. This country's built on that shit. What the
I
fuck
don't
you
agree
Hold,
with
talking
that
about?
no,
A
either.
no, no,
small
no, no.
amount.
Hold up. So, Drew, we'll take Steven Crowder. You can pick
Yeah.
a you can pick a
Am I talking to black people who are white supremacist apologists? Is
Bro,
that
we
But
what
what
you're
are
just
you
trying to
even?
have a
Drew. You
How
Hold
are
on, hold
like
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me, Tyler, hold on. We're not even like off basis. You're just literally choosing to not hear what people are saying intentionally. We are literally saying these people are taking money to push narratives and propaganda. What else? What else are do you think we're missing in this conversation?
Drew?
It was a long mute. But if that's the case, then let's talk about how these motherfuckers out here getting paid off of these people. Let like come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
You're not even,
Like I
but you're not even listening. You're
But
not
hold
even
up, Drew,
attempting
Drew,
to
hold
like I
listen.
up,
said,
Drew.
like
Like,
I
this
said,
is
Question.
wait,
I
hold on,
guess,
Hold,
but
Dre.
no,
but
no,
I
no,
see
no,
where
no.
you're going.
Drew, my question is: do you think these influencers make more money from the white supremacist group, or do you think they make more money through ad revenue?
I mean, think about this, right? Think about this. What ads, what companies behind the ads are actually supporting this? So yeah, they might not get it directly from a certain person, but that company behind the ad is still pushing white supremacy.
Do you know how much money it costs to run like YouTube ads on a platform like ones that get millions of views?
And who's providing the ads is what I'm asking you.
Exactly. So if you're telling me these secret white supremacy groups have more money than billion-dollar corporations to compete for ads
Oh, so you
for
don't think the
videos
people? You
that
don't
get
think the
billions of
people?
views?
You don't think the people at the top of these corporations are white supremacists?
Okay, so even if
this
they're
is
100%,
Holla,
Yeah,
please,
what are we talking?
Yeah,
please
I
go
don't
on
know
to
why
Heath.
we're
Please go on to
entertaining
Heath.
this.
Please go on to Heath. Please go on to Heath. Please. Heath, you got your hand up.
Yes, so I have a genuine. So I left earlier. I was in here earlier. I went and did some research. But I have a serious question. Why is because of this incident, no one really trying to protest any politics in general? Just
What?
with the research I've done, there's been a lot of political violence. I would just like to know why people aren't protesting politics as a whole instead of
Because
just pointing to one side or
Well,
the
this
other,
ain't
because
because
there's
political
been
politics.
violence.
violence on both sides.
I can
There's
answer
been
this for
violence
you.
on both sides.
I can
So
answer this
like
for you right now,
I'm not
actually.
trying to take one side because I don't do politics at all. I'm not on anybody's
Well,
fucking side.
well,
I don't even
he
Heath,
vote.
need to
Heath,
stop. He need to
I can
stop
answer that for
calling
you.
a
I can answer that
racist.
for you.
A
Hold
racist.
on, Drew, hold on. Every aspect of of our existence is politics. That is not something you can just not talk about. You have to talk about these type of things. That's just part of our existence. It's not something you can ignore either.
so I
The
think what he's
difference is
asking though is,
he's asking about divisiveness. I understand that. No, I understand.
That's not
but
what he's
But
he
my
asking.
point be,
That's
I
not
think
what he asked. What the
the
fuck?
answer
is
to
that
your
what you're asking?
question is people aren't protesting it because most people like you just don't participate in it daily. They don't care about it. It happened because of political reasons. Most people are going to go back to their regular life today because they don't feel like politics really affect their life, even though they do. People feel more affected by eggs being $50 than some politician dying. That's just how people are. So
Uh,
that's why you're not going to
look,
see
let me
the.
just say this. Tell you this, right? Y'all really don't know what political violence is until you go to until you go to a third world country. A racist getting his throat blown out is not political violence.
Thank you.
Go to a
No,
third.
actually,
Go,
I
no,
have specific experience around that.
no, go.
So I lived in Colombia for 4 years. Hold on. I can actually address this. I lived in Colombia for 4 years, and Colombia nowadays is relatively safe. It's actually getting worse. But maybe about 5 or 10 years ago, it was actually a very safe country compared to what it was 30 years ago. Now, 30 years ago, and 40 years ago, and 50 years ago, the way the violence started was actually political assassinations of Gaviria and Galan, and actually there was a civil war that was caused from the assassination of a president. So actually this is how strife begins. And it's very concerning because my experience in Latin America makes me think that America is actually going to look like Latin America. It sort of already is. I don't mean ethnically or anything. I just mean our roads are falling apart. We're very politically motivated. You go to Colombia or actually Peru or anywhere in Latin America, and you see murals of these politicians' faces, like just all over the place, banners, everything. People paint their houses with the face of a politician. And that's what I think maybe the earlier speaker was talking about, where we're getting too politically charged. Yes, we should actually pay attention to politics, look at it, but it's not a sport, and it's definitely not a blood sport, because you know what happens? That leads to war.
No, I agree.
Harold, can I offer
That
you
was
some
the.
pushback?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Omar.
Let me give Harold some pushback real quick. I think this notion that America is like so different from all these other nations in these specific instances is rooted in bad faith. Like there's still some rose tinted glasses that people are wearing. You're saying these things, and I've been out of the country too, so I've seen some of these things. These things have always existed in America. Like politicians have always been looked at as gods. And not like I'm trying to overplay whatever I'm saying. I'm being dead serious. Politicians have always been looked at as holier than thou and gods in this country. So I don't
Right, but we haven't
see
had this
the
type of political violence since the 60s, and we haven't had a civil
that's
war
not
That's
since
true.
not
the
That's
true.
not true.
1860s.
That's just not true. That's
We
just
had
not true.
politicians get shot at. We had Ronald Reagan get shot at in the 80s. So what are you talking about?
But we don't,
That-
and we don't even have to go that far back. People like journalists dying, commentators dying, pastors who get involved because we are still, as much as church and state is supposed to be separated, church and state is very much intertwined in the U.S. Political deaths and killings happen all the time in the U.S. They do.
That happen all the time.
The
Churches get burnt down because of something. I mean, and yes, we might not have the bombings and the open shootouts in the streets like they had in Jamaica in the 80s. Like we might not have those in America, but yes, political violence is still political violence.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
happened
Can
but
I?
I would.
yesterday?
but the
I,
only
Hold on, hold
thing
on,
I
hold on,
would
hold on,
point
hold on,
out,
hold on, hold on, hold on. But what happened yesterday is not political violence.
I disagree.
I
How
I-
you?
can,
That's
can I ask Harold?
definitely
Can I ask
What?
you a
political
question real
What?
quick
violence.
though?
That's a rabbit
I would.
hole. We shouldn't go there.
Go
Hold
ahead.
up, Drew. Can
I
you
would.
can you give me a definition of political violence that
Actually,
what happened yesterday
big
doesn't
holler.
fall under?
Let me? Because actually,
No,
that's
this
my
is
question too, right?
semantics. We shouldn't go
Harold,
there.
real quick. So, would you consider that? Would you consider the or where was it? The school shooting that just happened. The guy, I forgot where it was. The state that it just happened, right? Would you consider that a
Minnesota.
political, like, violent, or is that political violence in your opinion?
Colorado.
No, that's just
I would
American.
consider anything political violence, just personally me, anything trying to push an agenda towards one political viewpoint, I would consider that as political violence.
Right.
Just me personally.
And
But
Well,
and
also just
suppressing and
violence.
suppressing
Violence is on
another
the
and
rise in this
suppressing
country.
but I guess my
and
question would be
suppressing another one too, right?
Yeah, yeah, or suppressing another one. That's the
that
same
then
difference. Like
But like,
I
if
guess
do
you're
we call
using
it
but my
political
violence
question
to
violence or
push
not?
those types of
Wait,
things,
but
I
but
think
the thing
that's
is,
political violence.
but my
what
question for you
exactly
is my
what
question for you
exactly
is
was
yeah.
political? Was Charlie Kirk going up there and supporting one political party over the other?
Okay, can we
Yes,
No,
just
but
no,
call
I
no.
would
violence
argue
then?
everybody who votes. This is why I find voting despicable in a lot of ways because everybody finds their side. No one ever hears out both sides. Anytime there's an election, I will attempt to vote. I will hear both sides. If I don't agree with either side, I just don't fucking vote. And I think that's what people don't do enough of. They're not making their personal voices heard. Like, why are we talking about shit that don't pertain to regular Americans? That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, fuck all the violence. Like, I don't want no one getting murdered. I don't think anyone should be promoting any sort of violent act towards anyone. That's the point I'm trying to
So,
make.
so
Sure.
can I
If
actually answer your
anyone's
You know,
trying
you
question
to
know what?
push
directly? Wait,
violence on
guys,
someone else for their political ideology, that to me is political violence.
But
so you
my question
asked
about this, my
why is
question about
someone
damn it.
why do people care so much about these things? And I would say it's actually tribal. It's because again, people get crazy about sports. And they do actually do bad things because they want their sports team to win. And I think it's the same gene or it's the same tick in our brains which makes us just want to take a side and attack the other side. And
Well, then
Well, it's our
at
decision
that
though.
No,
point,
We
then I
no.
we
Can
think
I
you're
we
speak?
viewing it
like no,
wrong.
yeah,
You shouldn't
exactly.
pick a
We
Yeah,
go on the
side.
Actually,
other
You
side
should
of
yeah.
that.
hear everybody out.
yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
I
wait a
agree with you.
second.
I
Could I
don't
speak?
no, hold on. Actually, can I address something right quick? Uh, to your the thing about this is I would have to ask about this being considered political violence. We don't know the motive or the reason, so I can't ask.
Exactly.
So I don't think
You're right.
I
And
don't think
until well,
so
Oh
you're
the
man,
thing
come
is,
Exactly.
he
on
was at
now.
a
We know.
political
Come on,
rally.
brother.
That's where
no
I
that
would
no
say it's
no
political
How
violence.
no
is it a political? Wait,
that's not
wait,
what it
wait,
no
wait.
that's
Who
not
is
how it
just going to
works.
go out and
Yeah.
randomly
What?
kill a political?
Let me just
What
violence
political
at a
shit was he doing
political
there?
rally isn't. Hold on. I don't even want to fight about if this was a political rally X, Y, and Z. That honestly doesn't, do anything for the conversation. What would do more for the conversation is of just inherently speaking, violence at a political rally is not political violence, right? I think that that's something that's like a definite middle ground that people should be able um, to like stand in.
So what can somebody come up with a motive that's not political that would be the reason
Well,
behind it.
if
had
he was a
somebody
higher gun,
I can
if
answer.
he was like a higher gun, let's say from Russia or something like that, that wouldn't technically. I mean, still that would
Bro,
I would
maybe
guess be
motherfuckers just
political.
don't like the
I can
fact
give
that
you
he's
an
a
answer. I can give you
racist.
an I
Hey
can give you
y'all,
something.
would I be wrong
I
if
can
I
give you
say it's
something.
up to what the media says? We could all say
Yeah,
everything,
that's
but
true.
until the media come out and try to paint it as some transgender activist or some motherfucker from the Mossad, whatever, it's really gonna be up to the media. So y'all,
I
we can
agree.
argue all we want,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
gonna be
But
the
no,
media that's gonna come out
I
what
and say
Omar
but
was
what it
trying to
is.
say is that just
Regardless
because
of
he
but I
what
shot
could
people
answer your
somebody at a
question.
political rally doesn't
No,
mean
I'm
it's
with
political.
Omar.
That's what
I'm
he's
everybody,
saying.
100%
I
with
agree
every
with him.
Omar.
political
I
rally,
agree with
Omar
him, but I
not
can
wrong.
also answer. But I could also answer Hala's
Jesus
question.
Christ, yo,
When
it's a
but
fucking Klan rally.
hold on. Let me answer.
What
Let
the
me
fuck
answer
is
Hala's
this?
question. What is it? They talked about with the Trump shooter, the first one. They literally talked about. They looked in his past. He was a Trump supporter. It has not. He was just crazy.
but
It doesn't
Hey
But
y'all,
necessarily
that
my
have.
nigga was
my
also
my,
in
my
Black
thing is
Rock
this.
commercials
No, I
too.
got a
Yeah,
He was
question.
also
it
in
doesn't
Black
Sir,
Rock
I
I
just
got a
want to
commercials.
question.
say,
Wait a
I
minute. So
got a
you just
I
question
just
saying
real
want
he
to
quick.
just
say, I
turned the
just
I
want
got
TV
a
on,
question real
saw
quick.
Trump,
I
and
got
then
a
wanted to
question real
see him
quick.
because he was crazy?
I got
Harold,
a question.
That's
Harold,
what.
Real quick.
Harold.
That's
Does
what they
anybody
said.
know
No,
what
That's
brother,
that's
rally?
what.
no, bro.
What
This is
does
He.
no
anybody
offense.
know exactly what he was talking about yesterday to
Okay,
even make
gang.
this distinction that it's
Hold
a
on, Drew. Hold on,
political
Drew. Hold on,
rally?
Drew.
Does anybody
Hold on,
know what?
Drew.
Wait, but even just to answer it real quick, they were
Does
politics.
anybody know what he was talking about before he got shot? To even
his company is called Turning Point
Uh,
Gang
America.
violence,
the
gang.
To
fuck?
turning
He was
people,
talking about.
his whole campaign is about turning people on to the ideologies of which America should be following. That's the whole
He's talking about
ideology
huh?
it's
behind it.
conservatism. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
conservatism.
Christianity.
Yes, that's what he's talking about.
So
No,
him talking
It's not
about him
Christianity. It's
going up there and
conservatism.
talking.
Yo, bro, y'all just said like 50 things. I just want y'all. Oh my god. Nobody but Drew speak. Just nobody but Drew speak. I'll answer Drew because y'all are saying 50,000 things. Somebody just said he was a Patriots fan. Okay, Jesus Christ, be quiet, Drew. This is super simply solved. Like super simply solved. You don't believe that it was political violence
No, because
because of what? Like we
I'm
can make an
asking, what
inference.
exactly was the rally based off of? Right? What was the rally based on? Because for me, I just view him as another Klan rally. That's what I view him as. Because you cannot see him talk about
He
politics if you're in front of a whole bunch of white people talking about black people. That's not politics. That's not
Listen to
politics.
what I'm about. Listen to
He's
what I'm
in
about to tell you. Listen to what I'm.
Utah.
let
Right,
him
but why?
finish. Let
Yo, bro, please. Didn't I
If you're
just
in
said be
Utah,
quiet.
if
I
you're in
just
Utah
said.
with a population of under 2% black people,
Drew,
why?
Drew, 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 Drew. I can answer your question. I can answer your question. You're asking a question, but you really want to just get it off, and that's fine. But it just you'd ask the question. But let me help you. This was another one of his change my mind videos where he's pushing his
Thank you, Omar.
turning point organization where he talks about DEI, transgender rights, what's the I keep the deportation stuff, all political things that he has used to lead to like policy change and stuff like that, affirmative action, blah. So to act like, I think it's a little bit obtuse to act as if like this is so far fetched for somebody to be saying like, yo, this
Sounds like
was
a Klan
political
rally
violence.
to me. Sounds like a Klan rally to me. You put on
I
those.
mean, it,
The difference
I mean, it could be.
Hold
It
up.
could be
If it was
political.
a
I'm just.
hold up.
it's still
No, no,
politics.
no.
It's still
If it
It's
was
politics.
a
still
Klan rally, like you say it is, why would the slogan of the event be "Change My mind"? And why
Well, actually,
and
it
why
was
would he
actually
be
debate
talking
me.
to
It was
some?
actually.
Why would he be
Hold on. It was
talking to
actually debate me.
somebody about the mass shootings of certain groups versus other groups? If it was a rally of
Okay,
like-minded people,
so first, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Actually, it was actually called debate me. That's one thing. Second of all, it was about the fact that somebody asked him a question, and to get to start a conversation. It was about mass shootings, and then he said they asked him about transgender mass
yeah,
shootings, and he
yeah.
says, and they said, how many do you think it'll be? He
But
said five. He said 2 million,
I
and then they said, how many mass shootings do you think it was in total? And he said, is that including or not including gang
BG,
violence? And then he got shot.
We heard it. We heard it. This is politics. What are we
hold
doing?
on.
We don't have to
BG,
I
keep
you just
agree.
doing
hopped
this.
in front of a conversation that wasn't. We're debating. We are talking to Drew about if it
I'm
was a
just
political.
so
I'm
let
pointing
me
out
ask
what
you a
he's
question.
I'm giving him the context
Hold on,
because he didn't
BG.
know it.
BG.
I just
He
told
So
has
him
the
the
hold on,
BG.
hold
We
on,
have the
BG.
context.
So
I don't think he
what
has
I
the
just heard, I
context.
sat back and
Like
heard what you said, right?
explain it.
Because I really wanted to know what the topics were, and it
See, I
sounds like
told
to
you he
me.
didn't know.
Wait. So it sounds like to me.
Well, we just gave
Hold
him the
on, hold
topics.
on.
He
So
knew.
what it sounds like to me is he's talking about social issues and not politics. Because politics to me is talking about the budget. Politics to me is talking about what we're doing about war, what we're doing about this. He's talking about social issues. That's not politics.
Man,
That
that's why I didn't want nobody to speak. This is why I didn't want nobody to speak because I just told you he is talking about how ICE raids are happening in this country, and the stuff that he has talked about has contributed to policy change. You cannot refute that that is politics. There's nothing to even say after that, to be quite
Look,
Gun
man.
frank.
gun reform is politics.
Yeah,
Jesus
this is definitely
Christ.
political. I don't know why we gotta keep going. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is kind of just like
Yeah,
a
can we
moot
change
point.
subjects?
But then again, we don't know who the shooter is and the motives behind the shooter, so we can't call it.
This is an education
That's what I
skill
was saying.
issue,
Going
bro.
back to
I'm
what
not gonna
Omar
lie.
was saying, technically there isn't like for instance, if the dude shot him from 200 feet in his neck, you know what I mean, because he was sleeping with his wife, technically that wouldn't be political. So I get what Omar was saying. Just because you
Now,
got shot at a political rally, we need the motive to actually say it's a political yada yada. But I'm 99.9% sure this is a political thing, brother. Like we ain't gotta assume that.
okay, I'm glad you added that last part because I was about to.
And that's it. That should really be it. Like I don't even understand specifically from that talking point.
So, do you guys think just
What
generally
else?
violence and mental illness and all of those things are on the rise in this
I
country?
no, bro. Let's no stop this. Look, at the end of the day, right? th- these people are if they had a mental illness, then why aren't they shooting things like Elmo or other people
No,
on
no.
TV?
Sorry, I understand
what?
that that's a coded
I don't see
term,
the correlation. Wait, what
but
does that mean?
I didn't mean it in the coded term where like I think Republicans go out and say it's a mental illness issue, not a gun issue. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like literally mental illness, where you see people taking Prozac and all of those things and doing stupid shit.
Are you
That
applies to this shooter? Is that what you're asking? Or
Well, the
That's not
reason
what
I
he
ask
he
is because
asked
it
though.
could, like, maybe the person
Damn, bro.
is just
I'm
wacko
about to end
and
this
wanted to
bitch.
wear Jodie Foster's skin or something like that. That's possible. We don't know yet, like you guys were saying. But just in general, like you guys were talking about other shooters and other horrible mass shootings that have happened. Like to me, it seems that the way this is going, and Charlie Kirk is just another example, is that the country is actually getting more violent, more mentally ill, more isolated. Everybody's
More
getting
violent. Did
isolated.
you grow up in the '90s?
Sorry,
Did you grow up? Wait, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Yeah. You didn't
But
grow up. You didn't
I
grow up
don't
in.
think it's.
You
I don't
didn't
think
grow
it's
up in the
more
violent
violent.
America. You didn't grow up in the violent.
You just see the
You didn't grow up
violence.
in the violent America. The only difference is nowadays is that everybody got a camera and it's 24-hour news. But then again,
are we going
go-
violence for violence
yeah,
right now for
no, we're not
generations?
going
Like, what are
violence
we
for
doing
No,
violence,
here?
but
but
I mean that is no. This is relevant. This is
no,
relevant because
but
you
we're
said
not
it's
going
more
violence for
violent now. It's
violence.
not
But
true.
we got to stop this whole narrative that America's getting more violent. America's not getting more violent.
Eh.
America's not even as close to as violent as it used to be. Not even
Yeah,
half.
like you said, I
I mean,
didn't
it
grow up in the
depends on when
'90s,
you
so I really
compare it
can't
to. If you
even. I
compare
really
it to
can't even say that.
2008, I suppose it might be more violent. That was sort of my question. Do you guys think it is more violent or
No,
not?
no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. When America get back to open
I mean, we
shootouts in the streets
no,
and cities with 800, 900 murders a year, 1,000 murders a year, violent crimes up to 3,000
mm,
3,000 armed robberies a year in the city. Yeah, when we get back to that, then we can talk about how
but
America
I'm
being overly violent.
well. I mean, I okay. So to your point about it being like in comparison to 2008. I mean, I mean, we're in a point where we have a lot more people suffering. Of course, there's going to be. Of course, things are going to get worse. We're getting it. Where the country as itself is devolving. That's
Hold up.
the progression of these things.
Define suffering.
I don't agree with that.
What?
I, I mean, that's how it is.
No,
That's what we're going.
can you define?
Y'all bad for the
You said
space.
more people are suffering. Can you define suffering?
Where people can't afford their homes, they can't afford food, they're losing their job. We literally have more.
I
We
mean, the
literally had a
poverty
report come out
index
that
is higher.
we literally had a report come out that said we have less jobs than available than we have unemployed people now for the first time in like I can't remember how long it had been since that's been the case, but yes, it's been a very long time since that's been the case. Which literally everything is
Can I
devolving.
please can I please offer some middle? Can I please offer some middle? I think the
Mm.
middle was more towards what I think Drew said it. Drew, you gotta talk to Speak Gang. Your mic is the worst echo I've probably ever heard in my life. The middle probably exists more in the concept of like one, there physically is more people in the nation than there's ever been. So if you want to talk about this compared to like, I don't know, the 40s or whatever, I'd probably say that there was more violence. Now, just because there's like literally more people. But I think the things that Harold specifically is like attributing to the talking point have always existed. Like, do you not think that there was political violence in the early 2000s when the United States was in the Middle East? Like, do you not think that that is the
Oh,
case?
I think that's definitely the case. And I think that might even be leading to a lot of our problems nowadays. I think Iraq and Afghanistan destroyed an entire generation of Americans. So, yeah, I would say so.
I,
But so when I say that to say real quick, I just say that to say like this concept of more or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it does for the conversation because there's no real way to pinpoint specifically that. But I don't want to act as if it's like it's now on the rise type situation when these things have been happening. Maybe you just haven't been a part of the conversation, and that's not like a bad thing. Like I wasn't a part of the conversation either. I was also like 10 in 2008, maybe. I'm throwing a number out there,
Yeah, I was 10.
right? If we're just throwing out an arbitrary year, I was a child, so of course I wouldn't have been in the conversation. But these things happened back then as well.
Well, the reason I just bring it up is because you do hear, I'm not making the case, okay, but I hear a lot of people talk about
Yeah.
it in my personal life and also online saying, like, man, like America's really going down the drain, like we're feeling unsafe, all of these things. So that's why I asked the question.
Oh, because I'm gonna tell you this right now, Harold. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The reason why people are saying that now is
Yeah.
because there's more access to cameras, there's more access to phones, it's in your face, it's social media, it's 24-hour news. You didn't have all that back in 2008. So people didn't know. So if you live in your little bubble that is not violent, then you wouldn't know. But if you lived in the inner cities, it was way worse back then. Way worse. Way, way, way worse back then than it is now. You see
Okay,
what I'm saying? The
that's a
only
good point.
difference,
I
Yeah,
probably
especially if you're
agree
talking
with your
about from like a
point.
racial tension kind of way, for sure.
Yeah, I probably agree with your point that it's probably just more visible. But I guess then what I would say is, what does that do to our psyche? Like seeing Charlie Kirk get shot, that's like whatever you think about him, seeing a man, just let's say he didn't have a name, seeing that on your phone, everybody in the country sees all that bloodshed. What does that do to our psychology? And then we're
Hey,
all
It
thinking that this crime is
traumatized
on the
some, and some
rise.
are happy.
a
It's
lot
really
of
that
us
wait,
in
simple.
the
wait.
Okay,
a
It
well
lot
brings
of
let's
us
I'm
in
gonna
let's
the
tell.
say
inner
let's
city
say
You know
has
what?
seen that
It does
already. If you're
different
from
You
the
know
things.
inner
what?
city,
Hey,
you've seen
Harold.
that,
Hey,
brother.
Harold. Hey,
yeah, but
Harold. I'm
it's
gonna
not
ask you
good
this,
to
right?
see that. That's
Ask
not a
ask
good
the
thing.
people. Ask the people that viewed Waco, viewed Ronald Reagan getting shot, viewed the Oklahoma City bombing, viewed the Atlanta Olympic Park bombing. Right? Those are all visible. Those are all over the news or whatever. The difference is you can't just pull up your phone right away at the time and view it 1,000 times. That's the
And
only
then
yeah, you
comment
got
difference.
you
about
Yeah,
got to,
comment
that was
about
your point. So I was taking your point and running
Yeah.
with it, which is
but
that it's more prominent in our minds. So what does
but
that do to our psyche? Is that
so
even
here,
healthy?
so Harold, the conclusion is that there's going to be a generation of kids that know how to filter through these things, just like we were able to filter through the .com era, like our parents weren't, and our parents were able to filter through the TV era, like their parents weren't, and they were able to filter through the radio era, and it's just that's what's going to happen. But people think their perspective, fear is a thing of perspective. If I see it more, I believe it happens more. But that's not the reality. But that's why I think COVID kind of forced people into this box to see everything all the time. And as people get out of that box and they go start to reacclimate into society, those things will start to diminish.
yeah.
I would also like to say a lot of people did not have internet when internet first came out. As someone who is in a very rural area, I was not able to get accessible internet till like 2015. So this whole concept of everybody has been on the internet is just not true. Even
Wait.
like the access to internet I was able to have was through school, and you're not pulling nothing up
Wait,
on
what
that.
kind of what kind of backroads ass place you from? Because I
Yeah,
had
this nigga
internet.
live in
That's the
Idaho. Like,
point
where do
I'm
you
trying
live,
to
brother?
point to y'all. I live in Tennessee.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
American.
areas in
I live
Nah,
Tennessee,
in
go ahead,
Tennessee as
brother. Go
well.
especially
ahead.
East
I live in
Tennessee,
Tennessee, Harold. I
that
know.
can I'm gonna tell you right now, Spectrum was just able to get to some very rural parts of Eastern
Ah,
Tennessee.
makes
Like
sense.
there's a
Makes
lot of
sense.
people who are not used to this kind of violence being shown on fucking broad TV
He
or internet or whatever.
no, he's
And I
So
fixing
mean,
that.
there's a lot of people who don't know how to handle that type of
Yeah,
shit.
he's
Yeah,
fi-
y'all
and
he's
I
don't know.
mean,
Y'all
fixing
don't
and
know
that
when
by telling
broadband.
people
Y'all don't know when broadband internet came to this country for real.
that
That's the problem.
y'all
yeah,
gotta
because
remember
I
this.
because I
Like
This
had a
thing.
cable modem in
that means they be
'98.
ignorant then. That's
Yeah,
all I was saying.
I had a cable modem in '98.
And another thing about the whole mental health issue.
98. How old are you? Damn. No, let me stop. I'm sorry. I did want to just say this real quick, and Eli got his hand up. I do want Eli to go. Um, to answer Errol's actual question, the answer to that the question is that it would what it's going to do is bring people to reality. Because I think a lot of people sit on this side of like, oh, America is this, that, and the third and the fourth, and prop it up higher than other places and spaces. And in some places, you might like have that argument be validated, but for the most part, we're not really different than these countries that they've been conditioned for you to call like third world countries or are in political turmoil or whatever the case may be. A lot of like the elections over the past couple of years resemble a lot of these countries. You said you've been to Central America and stuff like that.
No,
I'm
no,
pretty
I haven't
sure
been there. I
like
lived there for several years. I had a
or
family
live
there
there.
and everything. Yeah,
But
and I would very much disagree with what
these
you're saying.
elections.
It's very
Oh,
different
you don't
down
think
there.
so?
Yeah, I love Colombia. It's healthier in many ways, but it's also it's just more dangerous. For example, you go to a school, and it's not like that where I am. I'm sure it's like this in some parts of America, but in the parts of
Wait,
America
wait,
that I have
before you
seen,
keep going, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say
okay,
this. I'm not asking you is it 100% mirror. I'm asking you does it resemble?
it's starting to resemble more and more, I think, than in the past. That's sort of the claim I'm
Probably
trying to
How
make.
can
okay.
you say that confidently if you just admitted that you were in an isolated bubble for most of your life with no access to the
No, no, I
internet?
never said that. What? Yeah, I think you're talking about someone else.
That wasn't him.
My fault, my
That wasn't
fault.
him. That was the other
That
one.
that was
I
Heath.
would still just I would still disagree. I would still disagree with a
The
lot of
other
what you're
one is
saying.
crazy.
But the other, he said Heath. What?
Keep on going, Omizi. What were you
You
gonna say?
said the other one.
Um, I don't think that's what
Okay,
I
anyway,
said,
Who
but
moving on,
cares?
moving
nonetheless,
on. Eli, go ahead.
what's it called? Listen to what I'm saying. That I would still disagree with what you're saying. And mind you, it's kind of semanticy at this point. I don't want to get into like
No, I hate
you
semantics.
yeah, in Central America there might have been 150 deaths. I'm gonna point to the fact that there were probably like 10 deaths in the US in '08, and then we're gonna say like, well, see, it is different. I'm just pointing out to the fact that a lot of people think that like America is absolved of these things that go on in other countries. That's the way that we've been conditioned. When in reality, like political corruption exists here too. It exists like it does when they set up elections in Kenya or Nigeria or wherever the
Right.
case may
Okay.
be,
So let me just go with that
Central
for just a
America,
moment.
wherever the case
So
may be.
political corruption, that's a really good example. I would agree with you that political corruption is present in America, but its character is totally different. Its character is big bucks. Okay. So you have these super PACs, and it's completely legal too. Whereas in Colombia, where I lived, it's small bucks, and it permeates throughout the entire society. You can bribe, for example, the guy at the DMV. Okay, you can bribe someone at the you can bribe a police officer, you can bribe a soldier. Okay, these
Do you
things
live in
don't usually,
America?
no, but you can't in generally, at least in the America I grew up in. Okay, and we all grew up in our
That
own
says a
version
lot,
of
brother.
America.
What's the
You couldn't
But that's
bribe,
what Omar is
you
saying.
couldn't bribe the DMV
You're
person.
operating
Okay.
under the aesthetics of an ideal world that you thought you lived in. But I mean, you're talking about you can bribe the police officers in Colombia. Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's actually a pretty prevalent American issue.
See, this is
Well,
Cops
okay,
having
why
in
you
parts
can
of
you can
Chicago, I
Eli,
think,
do you
but
think
the
that the
point is,
average person can bribe a police officer in America?
no, they cannot.
That is
Absolutely
a
not.
typical
there's
Not
practice
all
in
situations
throughout
where
the
that
Colombia.
country.
happens.
What are you like?
There's literally a situation
A,
in
you
my
see how you
city
said a
where that did happen.
situation, but that is regular over there. That's the difference.
The
No,
Yeah,
you're
average
not.
it's
person,
You would have to
the
be some
You're
average,
type of
being
political
you're
influence to
running off of
actually
us.
bribe a police officer and get away with it. You know what I mean? Like over there, it's
Oh,
more
that's the I
well,
don't
prevalent.
know
well,
if
all
I
that's
right.
mean,
true,
Let me
Maybe to
just
but
get
give
away
let
with
me
it, but
just
that's
make
my
my
maybe
point
This
more
is not
clear,
it.
which is that over there it permeates the entire country, not just certain cities or certain.
why are
It's
y'all
from
niggas acting
exactly.
like
it's from
the
every single
statement was a
small
direct
town.
mirror though?
It's from every single small town to the big cities, and everybody does it. And it's not like, oh man, like you did that or this. It's a big scandal. It's part of life. It's part of the culture. Okay, and that's not traditionally our culture here. Now it's changing in some cities, and that's actually my point. Is that I think we're headed that way.
I don't. But this,
yeah. I would still
So
I,
Harold,
Can,
so
can,
Harold,
Eli. We're on the same page. It's just there. This is
so
semantic.
yeah,
It's a
like
so
semantic
it is
so
difference.
semantics.
hold
okay,
on, hold on.
Kenny, wait,
So
no,
can
because
I
I
say
was
something
literally
real
the
quick?
next
Drew,
dude.
hold on,
You
Can I
got,
say
Drew,
something
hold
real
on,
you
hold on.
quick?
got
Can
it,
I say
gang.
something real
Go
Drew,
quick?
ahead,
hold
go
on,
ahead,
hold
go
on, Drew.
ahead, go ahead.
Hold on. So
Hello.
You pass a nigga the ball, this
You're
shit a lag, gang.
This shit like
Go ahead, Eli.
Bro, I was just gonna say, before I even got to the point that I was making. I do think that it is a little bit of like Omar said, a nitpick for niggas to be like, well, that is not average, or that's not something that happens on average in America. One, I don't think that that's provable at all. But even if it was, I don't think that that disputes the point that it is something that does happen on a day-to-day basis in America. And also, it is not a new concept at all. I mean, the idea of somebody in positions of power in any government job taking funds from anyone, not just somebody who has power over him or somebody with more political equity than him, is a issue. And if it wasn't an issue, it wouldn't be governed the way that it is. It wouldn't be regulated the way that it is if it was a non-issue. So I think that, like Omar said, there are definitely examples of American life that for the past couple years that have been less than ideal, that have been largely ignored and are being hyper fixated right now because of the internet. But I mean, it is what it is. And on the other end though, I do think for and the more general point that I was gonna make is when you get on here and you say that like nobody wants to see political violence or anything like that. I do think that it is very, in my opinion, when you come out and you say I am apolitical, when you come out and say, or you don't have to come out and say you're white, like we see we see your headshot. When
I
you
never
are,
said any of those words that you said. I said so. I don't know who you're talking to, but it wasn't me.
so did one of you not say I'm not on either side of the political aisle?
that was
Not
Heath.
me.
That was Heath. Not Harold.
That was me. That was me. That
Okay,
was me.
so
That was me.
whoever said it, Harold, that's what I'm talking to, gang.
No,
But
it wasn't Harold that said that.
No,
That's
did
no.
you
what
just
that's
hear what I
that's what he just
said?
said.
I
That's what he
don't. No,
just
I
said.
That's
think
what
he
he
just
just
reiterated.
said,
Oh, okay. I
bro.
He's
misheard
Did
him.
you
reiterated.
just
I
hear what I
He
misheard
just
him.
said,
Okay.
reiterated.
gang? I said whoever said it. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, he
to.
was talking
But I
to the
do
other
think
one.
that it's a fair perspective because it's definitely a perspective that's closer to the average than our own. But at the same time, I do think that it's a particularly privileged perspective to be like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to see political violence. Well, yeah, if you are somebody that is apolitical, and for the most part, you don't think that drastic change has to come to this country, which a lot of people who on a day-to-day basis interact with things that you don't interact with do think, then yes, you are going to be less receptive to political violence. That's just how the world works. If you're okay with where you at, why would you want shit to change? Why would you want niggas to be put in a position where like things are going to have to happen that in an ideal world wouldn't happen if you're okay with where things are at. But I hate to tell you, but some niggas are not. Obviously, some niggas clearly are not. And that is not me campaigning for a world like mass assassinations or anything like that. That's just me saying that I don't know if you personally are in a position to state that. Like you're personally in a position to state nobody wants to see political violence. Who the fuck is nobody? Who is
Who
nobody?
said that? Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else?
He's
No,
talking to Heath,
bro.
buddy.
Whoever it applies
If you
to,
didn't say,
goddamn,
if you
bro.
didn't
that's
say
like
it, it
that
wasn't you,
Gov
bro.
clip where he like, nigga, fuck you. I'm not talking to you. This is like that clip. He's not talking to you, bro.
I would just argue that you shouldn't want to see violence regardless. As someone who has seen a lot of violence in their life,
Uh,
especially younger life, which is why I wanted to bring up the mental health issue someone brought up earlier. I didn't see who brought that up, but
that was Harold.
I am someone who personally suffers with a lot of mental illness. I have bipolar with psychotic features. I have conduct disorder, and I am someone who manages all my mental health issues very responsibly. Um, and so when I hear people talk about mental health, I get very, this is one of the very few things I can honestly get triggered on. I'm not very triggerable because I don't really care about a lot of shit. But I take that pretty seriously because it was a very serious issue, especially in my younger years, not really my adult years. But in my younger years, I had a lot of problems. I was institutionalized several times uh, through a lot of child detention centers. And if it wasn't for that, I would have not been able to found the help I needed. And so like when I hear people talk about mental health issues, I hear them talk about in the wrong a lot because they just don't have the experience. So that's just something that bothers me. And so, like, when people say there's like mental health issues involved in America, I agree 100%. But I just think they're not handled properly because there's not really a place, unless you're a child, there's not really a place where they take it too seriously.
Can,
And
Can
that's
I
the
can I can
problem
I
I
say
have.
this?
can I
Oh,
let
can
me
I say this
go
real
ahead,
quick?
Omar. My bad.
Look, you know what's we haven't touched on it. I do think it's very interesting, and this should be telling of who this.
Nigga got cut off crazy.
You
They
cut
cut
out
you off.
crazy.
They cut you off, bro.
Oh man, he's about to spill the beans,
I
brother.
do want to talk about Eli's point real
Damn,
quick before that
Omar.
nigga come back. What about the niggas that like aren't apolitical or do have a side and want to see change and they still don't want to see niggas get their cow peeled back? What about them? What about those niggas?
That would probably describe me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eli, Eli,
that
Eli.
describes me to a T. I'm just not going to say. Well, first of all, I think the did he deserve it kind of argument is more of a goalpost move.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody would ever say he deserves to die. Nobody deserves
Can
to
y'all
die
hear
their
me?
whole
Can y'all hear
lives.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
go
hear
ahead,
you
Omar.
now.
My bad.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, damn it, I didn't want to. I'm all over the place. The things at the top of the space where these schools have received threats in mass to the point where they had to shut down for the day. This isn't the only. It's not just God. It was a phone call. It was a phone call. It was a phone call. I got it. I got it. I got it.
I'm gonna say, damn, nigga, where you at?
I know. I'm in my. You know what's crazy? I'm in my room. Like I'm literally in my. I'm at home. But um, what's it called? Damn. What was I gonna say?
The
The
fact that
schools,
HBC,
schools.
Oh, the HBCUs. The fact that that tells a lot about who he is and what he represented and all the things that he said. If there are schools that feel the need to like shut it down based off of
exactly.
some
Based
of the
off of
verbiage that you put out.
white on white crime got HBCU shut down because of racism.
Man, oh my
Got his
God,
throat
Drew.
blown out.
Damn, Drew. Good shit, Drew.
Let's just say, let's keep it 100. White on white crime because a racist got his throat blown out, got HBCU shut down. That shows us exactly where we at as a society. Because what the fuck does white on white
I
crime
wasn't gonna
got to
say
do with with HBCUs?
I was just not necessarily as a society, but just the general concept of like if you didn't understand the gravity of his words or who he was or whatever, the aftermath should really tell the tale. And to people that are like, well, this if somebody were to go down on the other side and spew the same rhetoric, X, Y, and Z can happen. It's just not true because we just don't. We've seen these people die before, and the same things didn't happen, as opposed to in this situation where, um, it did happen for people. It did happen for Charlie Kirk.
I think
No,
maybe
let's
that's
just keep
because
it a
the right
bug.
wing
Let's
is
just keep it a
pretty
bug.
emboldened
Let's just
right
keep it a
now.
let's just keep it a bug. Why isn't a school that's in the
It's
same
a
town
bad
that's
thing though.
99% white? Why didn't they shut down? But it's three HBCUs halfway across the country. They got nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. They got to shut down. But the lily white BYU that's in the same fucking town is not shut down. That shows you right there where we at as a society that a HBCU, three HBCUs got to shut down because of campus threats of a white on white crime in Lily White, Provo, Utah, where the other school in Utah don't even get shut down because a white racist got his throat blown out by another white person, but so the HBCUs got to shut down because of threats. That shows you right there where we at as a society. That shows you right there who are the people that was fighting behind the people, and that shows you right there who they're looking to blame for white on white crime when they can't even look at within themselves. Let's just keep it a buck.
Well, it's because lots of racists supported Charlie Kirk. But again, that doesn't mean he deserved to die or anything, or if he was an actual racist or not, I don't know. But again, it doesn't mean he deserves to die.
Hey,
But
can
what I
I?
what I
Go
wanted to
ahead.
go back to was why is this happening and stuff, and like maybe why is it not also happening on the left? If you look historically, it has happened in the left, but it's not happening right now in America on the left as much. And I think it's just because the left is just not as strong right now. It's not emboldened. It's not. It's sort of on the back foot, whereas the right wing is really much like
When do you think the time period was for the left to display like levels of violence?
the
Like just
Soviet Union, Mao China. They murdered 50 million people. Come on
and
now.
we're talking about in the
We're
United
talking
States,
about the
man.
people in the
Okay, so
Huh?
I have a genuine question.
That was
What do
bad. That was
what do
bad.
y'all consider left and right violence?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm
Well,
trying to figure out.
Because hold on, no, because all I see is people on the right getting attacked, and I don't see no one on the left getting shot at. So like that's the
But I
point
have
I'm
to
trying to
ask,
make. I don't care
but I
Exactly.
have to
That's
ask you
if
this.
one of them was a former supporter. That shit should not matter.
No,
wait, 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 wait,
Personally,
wait,
but
wait, wait,
if
wait, wait,
but
one
wait, wait.
person
but
on
the
one
point.
side is getting attacked more, I would argue the political violence is that again, this is coming from someone who has
No,
no argument.
Gotta mute, gotta mute, gotta mute, gotta mute. This is bad. This is bad. This is super bad. The where the people on the aisle um that are getting attacked doesn't mean that, like, it's almost like you're insinuating that the other side is doing these things. I just want to clear that up and make sure that that's not the case. One, two, you don't see the left attacks. You don't even see any attacks. You really just described to us the fact that you don't see much of this stuff regardless. So that's their that's a point there too. And then three, again, I just champion you to look into some of these things. Like, you should specifically start looking into some of these things more.
So I mean,
And
I
I
do have
was
a
not
pushback
trying to
on
make
that though,
yeah.
I
because
was not trying to make the assumption that the left was attacking the right. I was not. I was just
Okay,
saying
that's fine.
that I only see people on the right getting shot. That's the point I was trying to make. I don't
By
know if
who
all
though? But
these
but
other
by
Okay,
who though? But
so
by who
so
though?
You
Did
talking
you
about like
see
I
did
like
the
you
political
see
actors?
Yeah,
did
but
you see
by
the
who though? Like,
representative in Minnesota and their partner getting shot in their bed about 2 months ago? Did you
I
see
don't
the Tree of Life?
well,
Did you see
wasn't that a Republican who got shot in Minnesota?
no,
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 just
no.
Okay,
no,
okay,
because
a
okay, okay.
right-wing
Then I'm
extremist
wrong.
went into their house and shot them sleeping in their bed.
And
just
even you don't
because
want
you're
to
a
hear
Well,
like
Republican,
the
Nancy
other
Nancy
argument.
I
Nancy
also want to
Pelosi
point
husband
out
got
that
hit too with a oh hammer.
this is Omar. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Just because you're a Republican or just because you're a Democrat does not mean that you're automatically on the right or doesn't mean you're automatically on the left. I lived in California. There is racist
That's the
fucking
point he's
niggas out
making.
there.
I don't think that's the point he's making. You're
That's
missing the point. I
definitely
don't
the
think that's
point
the
he's
point he's
making.
making.
And plus, we already know like
It's kind
politics
of
is a
obvious, I think.
spectrum.
I
It's a
Yeah,
I would
spectrum.
like
good
to
point.
also like bring attention to like how the last couple of assassinations, from what I think, from what I'm pulling from in my head, like Donald Trump's attempt, um, the 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 death of Charlie Kirk. I I don't know if, and then like maybe the Minnesota one was like done by another person who, all three seem to have been buying into the American like establishment politics and how we run things. And I think that speaks to something about how there is a large growing resentment right now. And I
That's
think
what I
they
said
need
earlier, but
to,
niggas didn't hear it.
and I think people need to really start really like looking at that part and not like fuck all that like left versus right shit, even though like you know who's in power right now. But at the same time, the right is not addressing they're not addressing their base right now. And I think their base is currently attacking back, or people who are buying into the American project are attacking back because they're frustrated. I'm starting to see that's a commonality. I see people with freaking American Eagle on his fucking t-shirts. Like a lot of fucking like Republican voting history. Fucking Luigi Mangione too was also wasn't he like he was like a wasn't he like a debate bro or some shit, like a tech nerd type shit.
Yeah, he
No.
was yes, he was. Yes, he was actually. If
He
you go by
said
his tweets,
debate, bro.
yeah, he was. If you go by his tweets, yes,
He
it would
was
give that
big into
it would give that
politics
energy.
and shit like
Man,
that.
what? What are y'all
If
When
you
I'm
talking
trying
about?
Luigi,
when
he's
I'm
talking about
trying to
Luigi.
say
Luigi, his
Brother,
energy.
if he wasn't live debating people, I don't
That
think you
no,
can
that
consider him a debate
yes,
bro.
yes, you can
He
actually.
was a
Being a debate
consumer
bro,
of good shit.
being a
bring
debate bro does not mean you're a content creator. That's not what that
but
means.
regardless of like the framing of like
Man,
the
what the hell
frame
y'all
of
talking
Oh, there
about?
you go.
reference, it's where,
He's
regardless of like where like frame of reference, there is a certain grievance that are people who buy into like the voting system, who are passive voters or whatever, and like only vote in like 4-year elections and haven't seen any exceptional changes. All of those people are frustrated right now. And I think
the more they keep trying to like thoughts and prayers away this shit, the more fucked up shit's gonna have to be. So I think the best thing we can do is just try not to like allow ourselves to get caught up in the what do you call it? Um the reactiveness of this current landscape that keeps us attacking each other.
I
They
don't
just
even know
want
where
to.
we were going with that.
Yeah, they just want
I
to.
don't know where I was
They
going
want to
either.
have
I was
they.
just talking.
But
They,
here's the
And,
thing.
and BG
like right.
co-signed it. Remember
Hey,
that.
I'm just
BG
gonna keep it a
co-signed
buck.
it.
I'm just gonna keep it a buck, man. Like, despite what happened
What?
yesterday and what I'm seeing on this fucking timeline, the closet racists got they fucking leader throat blown the fuck out, and they mad
Mm.
and they trying to make
You
this a
keep
whole
saying that.
political
That's kind of
argument.
AO.
I mean, hey, that's what
I
happened when he
mean, it
got
was literally what happened.
he got his throat blown out.
It's a
Like,
little
what the
AO
fuck?
though.
Like, come on, man. I'm sorry what happened to Charlie Kirk. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, but I
I
hope
mean,
these
you're
people.
clearly not if you keep saying his throat should have been blown
I
out.
mean,
No,
I'm
didn't.
just saying the fact. I'm just saying the fact. Like, I'm sorry that his throat got blown out. That's a fact. That's not speculative. So, but I hope the people that's following him and behind him and trying to push this whole. I see motherfuckers talking about, oh, we got to start a race war over this. Man, it was a white person that did that shit. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So I hope people that's watching this and seeing this and want to follow behind this rhetoric understands, like, yo, this shit might happen to you. Your own people might blow your fucking throat out. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, we got to, like I said, like we fall in a society where a person like this gets killed, and we got people talking about thoughts and prayers. 25 years ago, it was never no thoughts and prayers for a racist, no matter on what side
Yes,
of the
it
spectrum
was.
that
Why do
you're on.
y'all keep saying that?
25 years ago?
Damn,
I
this
don't
nigga
know
Mike
about
High.
that,
He said
brother.
35. He said
What?
35 years ago. He said 35 years ago.
Hey, 35 years ago, there would have been tons of thoughts and prayers to a racist. What are you talking about?
Where
And
in what America? In
Like,
what
there
America?
was that racism was way more prevalent 35 years ago than it is now.
You sure about that?
are you sure about that? I don't know about that, buddy.
Yes, I'm sure about that. I live
Man,
in the
you
South,
slow
Hey,
buddy.
down.
slow down my
Yes,
Twitter
How
I'm
old are
feed.
you?
sure
Like,
about that.
I
How
don't know
old are
about
you?
that.
Come on,
I
man.
am
Come on,
How old are you,
25
brother?
years old.
you're
I'm
I've
How do you
25.
know?
listen,
He wasn't even
listen.
How'd you
alive
know
when
Well,
that
that?
hold
shit
on.
How'd you
No,
know
happened.
hear
the,
me
that?
the
out.
best
You
shit
know
I
you can
before
have
you
say
were
is a
born?
piece of
He
seen
paper
wasn't
back in
even
the day.
because
alive.
See this on
because
a daily
hold on. No,
basis.
hear me
He
out.
wasn't
Hear
even
me out. Hear me out.
He,
alive.
I
he,
have
he, I'm not trying
seen
to hear you
people
out. I'm
be
afraid.
He
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
racist.
alive.
I have
You
seen
wasn't
people
even
be
He,
alive.
he,
racist.
he,
You
he,
wasn't
he,
even
he,
And
he.
alive.
We all
nowadays,
have.
people
Let me,
get
We all
let me
have.
ask.
punished.
Oh my
He,
God,
let
this
me
I
ask
have
him
nigga.
to tell you
Just
something.
hold
okay,
on.
but
He,
you
he.
have not seen a white woman get stumped out by 5 other white women because she called a black person the N-word. I've
He.
seen that.
Well,
No, that's called that's not
I'm
racist. That's
F
confused. I'm
segregation.
around.
confused.
Yeah, it's called
And
I'm confused.
that's
What's the
segregation.
difference
justice
That's
to
then?
proven.
me.
That's,
You
that's
shouldn't
proven
be
to
out
be.
here calling people
He's,
out their name and then be
I don't
surprised when
understand what the,
someone puts their hands on you.
I don't
So
understand the
let me
purpose
ask you this:
of that
what happened
statement.
yesterday?
Actually,
So
I think he
in your
just proved
eyes, what
BG's
happened
point.
yesterday? You're saying
Yes.
that's justice, then?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
but
see, I
that
don't
shit
see.
gets punished out here. People don't tolerate that shit.
But y'all
And
got to remember,
sane people do not tolerate that shit.
y'all got to remember.
I have
Okay.
seen people lose their
Hey, so
jobs
then,
over racist
This is,
comments. I've seen people get their
20
ass
justice
beat over
principle.
25
racist
years
comments.
ago, 25 years
25
ago,
years ago, they wouldn't have fucking agreed with you. They wouldn't have.
25
I've
years
seen
ago.
where,
that.
Listen.
where do you think
They
we were
they
at
they were
25 years
on.
ago?
They came on the
I
Yeah.
mean, I
open.
was in my mama's pussy 25 years ago, if
Yeah,
you want to be
right. So you
honest, but
wouldn't.
like
So you wouldn't
fucking
know.
All right, chat.
In the space, bro.
And I've
In the
been trying to
space.
end the space.
In the space, bro.
This has been the Out the Mud podcast. Yeah.